great laugh. Thank you so much. We hope you guys enjoyed the quiz. Let us know if you got things right or wrong. Feel free to tweet at us. Who cares? We're having a good time here. Now, it's not just us. Of course, you know your casters. It's MDF. It's Jacob PR. Let's go see what they're up to.
Yeah, but this one is going to be a good weekend. I love that quiz already going to show what we have in store for you guys today. But let's take a quick trip around memory lane. Our last 5 FNCS majors that have rolled around through this competition. And you can kind of see how the point gap has closed each and every single time. Outside of 2025 Major 1, Peterbot takes over 339 and then another 79-point win. Acorn returns with a close 14-point win, then back-to-back wins by 11 and 3 points. Monster, this is just going to show how close each and every single one of these majors have been.
Yeah, this is a really fun graphic because you can see the gap just shrink down so fast from 25 into, of course, the new year. But what's really interesting and my favorite takeaway from this is like every Major 1, if you think back at Acorn in specific, he has just had that Major 1 magic, and he is at the top as a favorite for this season here, of course, coming in. And it's really fun to see him kind of come in a little underperforming, under the weather, it seems like, in the heats and whatnot. But when finals comes around, he's just like cold, right? He turns up, Jacob. He does what he has to do. And Zeke, I'm sure you guys have a lot more to say as well about these teams.
Guys, first off, it's great to see you guys. You look awesome. Yeah, there's so much to say, right, MDF? I mean, this is an absolutely packed lobby. Why don't we go ahead and bring up page 1 of the lobby list, okay? So there's so many names, and we only have so much time to talk about all of them. Why don't we go ahead and start, though? Acorn and Bolts. Obviously, I feel like we can safely say, hey, these guys are likely going to make a top 13, right, and qual for the summit. My question would be, do we think they could go all the way? Could they earn themselves the Axe of Champions?
Oh, without a doubt. And it seems very appropriate that we do take Acorn as the first duo that we're talking about with Bolts, because as we heard our casters say, Acorn has won the last 3 Major 1s, and if history is going to repeat itself, we might see that again this weekend. And when it comes to a tournament meta, he is one of the smartest players to be able to kind of download and develop his own strategy based around that meta, and more importantly, teamed up with Bolt, who has time and time again proved himself as a solo competitor, even winning the solo game for Heats. This duo just excites me, and I cannot wait to watch them compete today.
Yeah, some of the big talk in the town was kind of like this new era of Fortnite, where we're kind of taking these experienced IGLs and kind of pairing it up with these new guns, right? These younger generational players here. That's going to be Bolts, of course, in this situation. We didn't get to see a lot of this duo though in the heats because of that solo clutch from Bolts, but I'm sure we'll see a lot from them today.
Acorn and Bolts, let's go, dude. We're gonna continue the talk. Let's talk about Curve and Veno. You know we can't not talk about Veno. I mean, guys, I would go ahead and say he's Fortnite's greatest villain. And I love to hate him, and he's probably my favorite of all time. Don't tell him I said that. Where are these guys landing? What's their situation looking like?
Well, luckily, we have a map right here. They're landing north Battle Boulevard. Yeah, they've been landing here. They've been having a great spot landing here. Veno coming over from EU, kind of halfway through the chapter so far, joining up with Curve. And honestly, once again, we're talking about these veterans picking up these newer players. And this has been an incredible pickup. A lot of the success that we've seen from them during heats was from early eliminations due to having Boulevard. Obviously, we're not too certain of the situation that's going on right there, so I think that might be a big question mark on how they're going to be handling kind of Storm Surge, because they've had a strategy in mind so far. But Vivid, they do still have some contested teams to the northeast of them, and it's Veno, it's Curve. If anyone can figure out a solution, it's them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure they were kind of thinking some stuff up, especially throughout the day, trying to figure out what they were going to do. But we just kind of found out, or at least I did, Veno, the player with the most wins throughout FNCS. So we cannot count this guy out. And again, one of those duos that's kind of finding themselves in the hat of names that people are kind of predicting in the community to go ahead and win this FNCS. So would not be surprised to see them doing well throughout the day.
Dude, I'd be so down if Veno won. That'd be sick. Okay, all right, let me calm myself down. Let's go ahead and talk about another duo, Cold and Rapid. These guys are landing over at Dark Dominion. So again, I guess to pose the question, do we think they can walk away with the Axe of Champions? I feel like a top 13 is a no-brainer, but where do we think they're going to end up on the leaderboard?
I just have to know how Cold woke up this morning. I feel like understanding what breakfast he ate will give you a better answer onto how he's going to perform compared to any kind of stats we could bring up, because he could literally not play for 3 months, load in for one tournament, and still walk away in top 5.
And as you guys can see here on the map around them, we try to throw up some numbers of how many teams are going to be landing in spots around them. We want to go ahead and preface this because, the early game, it's so important getting Storm Surge early and not taking damage. But one of the best scenarios for kind of doing that is picking on some of these early game fights, right? Obviously, these guys are going to be running around shambles, no real builds, no opportunity to kind of, settle themselves in. So Cold and Rapid, they have plenty of options kind of around where they land to kind of, go out and attack some of those all spawn fights. Wanted to go ahead and show this social post right here from Cold. First game on, first one off, lab in Grands. I love Cold so much because he just takes so much pride in being the player that is just so happy to play the game the absolute least. He was like, listen, I want to jump on, I want to win the first game, I want to be done for the day, and immediately posted it on socials where, usually, Kelly, we have this conversation where it's like, wow, maybe some of these teams in this format don't actually want to win one of the games because they want to play out, they want to get more practice. Cold, nah, he will take the early win every single day.
And it's crazy too, because if you watch this game, they all, by all means, should not have won it. They were below Storm Surge in Zone 7, Rapid revived Cold in Zone 8. But when you have both of these players on the low ground and they're able to get refresh after refresh, elim after elim, it is only a matter of time before they walk away with the win. So Cold and Rapid right now, with those 4 FNCS titles, all under Cold's name, Rapid looking to add his first one. And doing it from Dark Dominion, Zeke, they might actually do it.
That's so sick, man. Center of the map. It's looking good. Okay, let's bring up that lobby list one last time. We got to show you page 1 and show you kind of the first half of that lobby as we flip on over. We've got one more duo to highlight before we get to some other news. It's Agers and Ritual over at Sandy Strip. I mean, look, we are all Ritual stands. We are all Ager stands. Seeing these guys come together has been a dominant force. How do we expect them to perform here? Obviously, the heats and even play-ins, obviously different context. In finals lobby, though, what are we thinking?
I mean, since the start of this chapter, Agers and Ritual have been one of the most, if not the most consistent duo, with their worst performance in a Div Cup Finals being 10th place. They are constantly in the top 3, and more so, they're constantly leading the elimination leaderboard. On average, they have more eliminations than Peter and Poyo when it comes to the Div Cup Finals. And we know that eliminations are worth just a little bit more in the grand finals, rewarding their playstyle of being consistent and also getting eliminations. When we look at duos, Vivid, we tend to kind of see them favoring either consistency or these pop-off games, but Agers and Ritual can do both.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, we know Ritual had a lot of the limelight last year, but Agers also had a very good year as well, right? First, fifth, and second in FNCS finals for him. So yeah, this duo kind of coming into this we looked out for, and that refresh heavy style game.
Let's go ahead and get into it. We talked about this back in heat number 3, and that was a rivalry. Clix versus Peterbot. We got a snippet, sneak peek back in heat 3, but here we are again in the context of finals. Talk to me about this matchup. You guys have a ton of information to share with the Fortnite fam.
Yeah, I mean, we can say share, but it's something that we've all been following along since the start of the chapter. Honestly, even going back before the chapter, there has been a rivalry, a discourse between Clix and Peterbot. And regardless of how you feel as players and competitors, they have honestly been carrying North American Central as far as entertainment goes. And that peaked during the heats when we saw Peterbot during heat number 3 tweet out that he was going to be landing Wonky against Clix and Higgs. And Vivid, we saw how that worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, they were already kind of qualified through heats at that point, so they decided to go ahead and change drop spots, and it looked like they were going to be completely committed to it. They even went ahead, took some time out of one of those heat games, and made sure they put their initials up there on top. Peterbot and Poyo were very interested in kind of taking over Wonky in finals, but Kelly, that didn't really last long.
No, because as we would think, it's Clicks and Higgs. They're not going to be backing down. They're not going to be giving up. And so they posted themselves a tweet saying wonky in grand finals. And in fact, in a follow-up tournament that we got to see from them, we actually saw Clicks and Higgs go up against Peterbot and Poyo. And in the first few seconds of that, it looked like it was going to be going into the way of Pete and Poyo. Higgs actually getting knocked off the mountain and getting eliminated right away. But it is Clicks. He knew that this was it, do or die. If he was going to be holding Wonky Land, it had to be now. Getting the 1v2 against Poyo and Peter and claiming the spot for his own, sending them back to Squibbly. To me, Vivid, that is what Fortnite's all about.
Yeah, and you can see here the message was clear. We know what you guys did. Look at this. We're going to be putting our initials on top of the drop spot. C and H up there on top of it. So yeah, we are expecting Clicks and Higgs to have uncontested. Wonky and Peterbot and Poyo went back over to Squibbly. Big talk of the town though, right? The comparison between the two FNCS finals appearances is going to be pretty similar. The experience is going to be there. The FNCS titles is where we see the largest gap in this comparison. 10 FNCS titles on the side of Peterbot and Poyo, and then 0 on the side of Clicks and Higgs. But that's what he is all about right now. Clicks is worried about one thing and one thing only, and that is an FNCS win.
Oh my gosh, it's happening, guys. It's happening right now. I cannot believe it. We are so close. Man, to see these guys go head to head. I mean, I don't know. Do we think this is it? Do we think this could be the one, Kelly, Viv? We could finally see Clicks walk away with that title? Is it gonna, or is it just gonna kind of devolve and become like, hey, we have a tournament going on, but we're just gonna come over here and we're gonna fight it out every game, and then whatever happens in the tournament, whatever.
There's so much you can say about Peterbot and Poyo, so many accolades you can give them that we really don't need to kind of prove their worth, their abilities. We saw the FNCS titles that they have. We saw the appearances, how many times they're getting top 5. But for Clicks and Higgs, and they don't have that FNCS title, that is the big story. It is the David versus Goliath. Are they going to be able to take down the demons of North American Central? And I think as far as we have ever seen Vivid in the last few years of competition, as soon as this kind of rivalry has started, that this is the best that they have ever looked. And personally, over the last few days of scrims that we've seen, their adaptation to how they're holding high ground, even though it's early, and I know we don't like that, these kind of little adjustments that they're doing to hold high ground have really been impressing.
Yeah, exactly. They have been performing well. They've been putting in the time, the effort, the practice. I think they have the end game figured out, right? Clicks and Higgs, I think they're doing well, but I think Peterbot and Poyo, they've got something up their sleeve. I think that, they should be feeling comfortable towards the end game. I myself am worried about the early game. Remember, Peterbot had put on socials, hey, this is going to be like Boxy V2 this season. Do we remember kind of what happened last time we were in an FNCS online? Peterbot literally landed on somebody else in the last final 2 games to go ahead and win that FNCS by 3 points. If it's close again, man, the early game, it could be shaken up a lot. Peterbot has proven he's down to do it. I don't know if he's going to do it this weekend, but he's willing.
Oh, man, anything can happen. We have 12 games total, 6 today, 6 tomorrow. It is that time. Major 1 finals are kicking off, so casters, take it away.
Monster, I don't think I've ever been more excited for an FNCS in my life. The storylines coming into this major are almost impeccable. We have so many teams that can actually pull out that first place.
Yeah, that's right, and the tension is starting to heat up. Competition on EU has always been known to be phenomenal, but there's something about the aura on NA that the entertainment is literally peak, and of course it comes down to the rivalries and the bar Peterbot has set for the entire region. But now again, for others, it's about that legacy, right, Jacob? We want to see who, of course, is going to be the first Major 1 champ.
Yeah, will we see somebody return to their former glory, win another FNCS for their accolades? Maybe a first-timer like Clicks and Higgs could win, or maybe, Monster, maybe in a dream world here, one of our first-time finalists can end up with an FNCS champion. Either way, there's still more than that up for grabs because there's 13 spots for the Major 1 Summit LAN. And yes, you guys heard that right. The battle bus is ready. Let's get into the Major 1 finals.
This will be the most intense major one that we have ever had in the history of Fortnite.
Here we go.
13 teams will be going to a LAN event to try to fight their way for a global championship spot. And not only that, we of course have Legacy on the line. And what better region than NA to really be the cherry on top?
Yeah, I even got the history we were breaking down with Acorn in Major Ones. For some reason, the top of the season is the one for him. Peterbot and Pollo, not too different. I know we know them to land at Squibbly Shores, but they make a short pit stop here at the gas station. They get the instant slurp truck, so that way they can utilize shields later on in the game. Clicks and Higgs, no surprise contested fights for them. And honestly, there were a few teams for both Squibbly and Wonky Land that were kind of teasing. Maybe we drop over here. Maybe we contest. They have landed here through the play-ins and heats, so wouldn't be crazy, but it's glad to see our two top teams here uncontested.
Clicks and Higgs have quite literally gone through a Ferris wheel of emotions just to get their draw spot confirmed to themselves. For others, not so much of the same story here for Avenger and Sniper Dude. You can see they get a little bit of a contested drop, landing investing Drew here, and Chris, who we've seen had fair amount of success coming out of the heats as they were one of the consistent big game teams. But give that a second. Let's jump in with Ulk and Electro here. This is a pretty interesting fight at the Battlewood.
Yeah, and it was actually a huge moment for Electro at least, qualifying through.
Yo, what's good, Chief? Yo, what's good, bro? What's good, brother? I'm not gonna be talking as much because it's grand. But what's good, bro?
With the fashion in which Electro was able to clutch it out, but it never gets easier, does it?
I'm gonna talk whenever something big kind of happens.
Luckily for them, they're not necessarily fighting it out for the elimination. They're just simply trying to get loot, maybe some extra surge before they continue on with the rest of the game. But not all fights do end up that way. Skittler does get an early game Elim onto G Money, which kind of brings it down to a 1v1 on that side of the map.
We'll play for Skittles to go and clutch that one up and at least keep himself in the game here. Curve and, of course, Veno, though, eyes are on them to the north side of the Battlewood Boulevard. So already the story's unfolding. The drop maps teaser is true. There's roughly 3 teams in this area. Now, Battlewood Boulevard, if you have the northern side, is big enough for the 2. However, we will see most likely different clashes go down there. So we'll see how Veno and Curve kind of hold it down for Mako and Blinks. This is one of the more scary parts of the map, right? We've seen a lot of lurk plays in the heats here, so everyone's got to be careful.
Yep, they get that unstable molecule underneath, which kind of unlocks that rare chest there. Seeing it's going to get a little bit of a boost to his loadout, being able to trade that Twin Mag SMG for that assault rifle. Kind of give him a little bit more to work with. Blank Mako was a team that qualified with a VR out of heats. They went through a little bit of drop spot roulette before they made it here in the finals, but at least they're able to make it off spawn. Aegis and Ritual, a lot of our early game here, Monster, is kind of business as usual for Aegis and Ritual, uncontested over towards Sandy Strip. And the thing is about them is typically they would use that blob, launch themselves off to try to third-party somebody. A lot of the surrounding lands for Aegis and Ritual in this game, number 1, are going to be uncontested as well. It's going to be interesting to see how they get their surge.
Yeah, they'll likely have a really difficult time come the mid-game, but we'll see what they have sort of strategized to make up for that. And it's kind of interesting because everyone who's broken down their drop, looked at things from a high level, they all recognize that there could be a major problem with capturing damage. So surely they have a strategy and plan, as do Zen and Bucky here. You can see not too far off from them, right? Trying to play this high ground, but you talk about how desolate the general area is. There's no one relatively inside. Jumping back with Avenger and Sniper, though. They're trying to finish up the fight here. We saw that they took down Drew. Now it's up to Chris to try and survive the test of time, but it's not looking too hot here.
Yeah, Chris is going to do a good job here of stalling this one out, drawing time, but the more time it takes, the more resource you kind of burn through here, especially with both players just trying to spray their way into the box, getting you to use your material. Chris is still doing a good job of just all this time that he's wasting here for Avenger and Sniper, because even if they do win this fight, you got to start to calculate how much damage Chris was able to fire back, where that was Storm Surge, all the materials and resource that he did get him to wait. You know he's still not going to go down without.
Yo, what's good, man?
Unfortunately, no resource, no teammate, no chance to get back into this game.
And you put a lot of counter damage back on both sides. I'd be surprised if they come out overly positive there on the net surge damage. Blake and Preston on the other side here, also in a bit of a scramble. Minish and Hobby seem to get away with the advantageous exchange there.
Ready for tonight? Yeah.
With that
Yes, sir,
quick
brother.
disengage as opposed to fighting for the full finish. Meanwhile, Olsen and Scare see a little bit of that happening there.
Bruh, Clicks is winning this all day, bruh.
Stormy
Trust.
Go, though, Jacob.
Trust.
Really in a fight right now.
Yeah, Raven and Riley here were a good surprise, a pleasant surprise making the grand finals. It wasn't necessarily through a VR, but it's how consistent they were in a tournament in heats. See if they can keep it up here. It does look like they're doing a good job fighting against Dozier and Ishu, who have been consistently getting better week after week. They placed in the top of some of these tournaments, not necessarily first.
Yeah, Clicks does gotta win this. I think he got it, though. As long as Pete doesn't do something weird.
Kind of forcing Dozier and Ishu to struggle just a little bit is a good sign of things to come for a team that is this young, but you can kind of see a lot of what they have in the inventories from both teams' perspective. And for Raven and CDZ, they're officially on a clock here. Yes, they have gold. They could go south to the vending machine, but in terms of being in this fight, they don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, 2 of the 31 players making their first FNCS Grand Finals appearance here today. And CDZ and Raven actually opt to disengage here. Very smart play by them not to kind of do it here in the storm like you talked about. That clock, that timer is on. And the damage does tend to rack up. We'll end up catching back up with them. Back on over to Taki and Seek, though. This is of course, very...
Yeah, sorry, bro. I don't know any of those names.
Set lobbies.
Who are those?
And I think Kelly said it best at the top of the show. You know, it's been a few weeks, it feels like, since we had a real kind of representative set lobby of this caliber. So obviously leave it to Grand Finals to give us a real look at some top-tier competition. So far, you see a lot of disengages, Jacob. Players are treating this like a finals as we would normally expect. And the player count is showing it. 84 still standing here now.
Yeah, that just means that Storm Surge is really going to play an impact here in the early portions of the game. And obviously...
Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah, he was on this. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Escape your hands.
Anybody with wood is mine.
Vigil and Raids not too far away from their actual drop spot. Kind of center map, so they can kind of bide for their time, wait for teams to rotate in. But Acorn and Bolt, instead of waiting at the top of their mountain like we typically do see, whether if it's a Div Cup, Eval, or just in scrims, they made it a priority in this game to rotate off the top of that mountain and get as close to the center of the zone as possible. Just going to show Acorn plenty of tricks underneath the sleeve. This is going to be one hard team to read.
Yeah, and already Acorn kind of playing a bit of a split drop here just to get that continued kind of landscape coverage here. Now popping shots from the bush, trying to see if he can tempt someone to overpeak, maybe fire back and open up some exchanges there. Here we have Muzz and Sphinx. Same scenario, different setting though. Muzz up top, Sphinx down at the bottom, replenishing material here.
It's just going to be tough for teams like this. Sphinx and Muzz, Aviv and King, kind of two different smaller Surge bases over at Sus Studios. When teams see that in the distance, they're going to try to stray away from rotating in that direction. So yes, they might not necessarily get keyed by any teams that might be low on Surge, but getting those tags is going to be infinitely harder the more they're positioned up. But for Curve and Veno, already having that one elimination kind of eases the pressure up for their early game. You know, Veno's the one that kind of lurks around, replenishes the loadout, the materials. So there's a lot in trust in Curve here. Not only just today, but throughout 12 games to really build them that.
The only person that cannot win this today is Peterbot.
Put that on everything. To know that when he says it's time to go, you better listen or he's going to crash out. So we'll see if Curve can keep up, because now it's finals time, and this is where the pressure does start to set in for some of our younger competitors. Remember, we've been touting this whole conversation around this is the time for the new age. So we'll see who from the new guard's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, they could have won. They definitely could have won this, but
someone who is most notable for just showing up and putting in the work, regardless of what you might think of his practice regime offline. When it comes to finals time, he does not play.
I just think of Cold in that set. Practice? You talking about practice? Like, what is that? Like, he just gets on, plays the game, gets right off. And honestly, I could just see him winning this FNCS, logging right off, and just going to have a good rest of his Sunday. He has earned it, 12 games here. And you notice one thing in his inventory. They were able to get the mythic Chaos Reloader shotgun. Once you get that boss, it's not even a guaranteed chance. It's like a 33% chance. So already in game one, the odds are in their favor. And a weapon like that in the hands of Cold is just screaming, get out of my way.
This is a fun quick stat here. 78 players trying to qualify for their first LAN. We talked about how there's 31 players making it to their first finals, but 78 of the total lobby has never set on stage in a LAN environment, not when it comes down to the majors. That's a very interesting take here. Just shows you how much more there is to be desired for some here, and that has to reflect in the hunger and the preparation, of course, coming in. Peter Boya, what do you think about this? Playing the Storm right now.
I don't think it's not necessarily anything too different. They have the squibbly shores. There's a lot of extra heals. Yes, they're in the zone now, but they got the mending machine below them, uncontested drop. You got to imagine the gold that they have in their inventory, and if things do get worse, they could jump back towards squibbly shores. There is a lot of extra heals over there, plus they do have the Rift Power Penta, another one of the teams that kind of necessarily didn't know where they were going to drop to start the day, going over towards the
See, what I noticed was, how did the surge go to 120 to 500? Explain that.
And 37 damage above the threshold, and with the zone looking like it's kind of pulling towards the south side of the map, they don't really have to worry about much other than a max pull.
One thing you will notice is that eliminations are, of course, rewarding more points. So when you see players like Penta here racking up these elims, they are, of course, rewarded for taking the fight and taking on the risk of taking a battle in a finals.
Yeah, this surge this season is really weird. Like, how do you go from 100 to 500? That just doesn't make any sense. Like, I would be scared because I'm at 100 surge in the biggest tournament, and then I just rack up to 500 for no reason. If Peter and Boya win, I'm breaking my monitor? Okay, that's kind of crazy. Send the clip, bro. Send the clip, bro. I'm gonna have to see that clip.
22 above the damage threshold. You gotta imagine what other teams are going through in the same position. You can see CDZ Raven 257 below, trying to take the attack onto Must and the Liquid. Keep pushing them back. They're gonna be above the damage threshold, a little bit more control over their game, but they're just getting pushed, and they really have no choice over the matter. And for CDZ,
I don't think Peter and Boya win this, though. I honestly don't.
But once it does, every 7 seconds, 25 damage to either shield or HP, and it's going to hurt mid-fight.
Well, I can say this. They're doing the right thing. They're taking the fight early before.
So I can already tell you this team is cooked. They're 190 below. They might be actually cooked. They banned.
At least this team here started sooner rather than later.
Huh?
Finding that damage on time. You can see already the surge starting to do exactly what it's supposed to.
Oh, they banned someone besides Peter? I mean, same with Vino, though. Yeah, but same with Vino. Vino got a warning, so it's not just Peter. But I do get that, like why are some people getting bans and why are some people just... Yeah, this team right here is cooked. They're at 189 below. They're so cooked. So many teams are below right now. Yeah, this is not good for them. Yeah, they're dead. They just died. Yep, and then this guy right here is 230 below. This ain't gonna help.
In the next zone as well.
And you saw there in the side-by-side, Osid finishing up Blake and Preston as well during that surge exchange. So a lot happening here, faster than we can even watch everything unfold. For CDZ though, pressure is on. I do find it interesting that they went for leaving Raven behind the fight, and then CDZ trying to play for a position in the zone, but look at that.
I called it. They are dead. You know, that surge was too low. Surge was way too low.
Now finds a nice elimination there, and they're above the surge, so extra damage, giving them that little bit more cushion here, Jacob.
Now, I wonder if this Mythic Shotgun is going to help them kill people, or if it's just not going to make a difference. Like, I actually wonder that. Because sometimes it'll make a difference, but then some days it just doesn't. So, I'm definitely down to see this. Oh, this guy's almost dead. Yeah, he is low and 16 below. Wow.
16 below. Trying to say a prayer here to try to survive because they're right next to
35 above, like, they're above, but not for long, so I don't know why they're just camping, I'm not gonna lie. Yo, just subbed, I came from TikTok. Yo, thank you so much, bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you for subscribing, thank you for watching, thank you so much, brother. We're watching some FNCS Grand Finals, bro. It is insane. What I've already seen so much of is people just don't care for Surge right now, and people are just getting, yeah, he's dead, but he was already below on Surge. They're not they're not trying for Surge, and these teams are realizing you need Surge in this. Because already, I think 3 teams have lost to Surge, which is just crazy. And then some teams, you know, they're doing great.
Showing us that he is in this game, and they were also almost under the Surge, really showing you.
Now, what I wonder, like, this guy's 77 below. Like, I promise you, bro, this is like the 6th person I've seen below, but it's also because their teammate's dead, which means, you know, that takes 200 Surge away. But, yeah, they're dead. But I also wonder, where's Clix, Higgs, Peter, and Pollo? I see Clix, I see Higgs, they are in a nice position. They're getting Surge. Where is Pete and Pollo? I do not see them. Now they are showing Pete and, or Clix and Higgs, 212 Surge. That is really good. They're doing great. I'm not gonna lie. But they just haven't been showing them a lot, so I don't think anything's really happened. Besides, huh? Oh, that's why. And then I don't. Yeah, they just rotated perfectly together. They are super close to each other. That's a perfect rotate. I call that a perfect rotate right there. But I still don't see Pete or Pollo. I'm trying to look for him whenever they do the full cam, and I'm not seeing him. Oh, he's still in there? Oh, okay, my dad's seen him, so they still are alive.
Is just holding on to dear life here, grabbing
what I see happening is they're not going to show Pete and Pollo till endgame, because I don't see them. I mean, I see maybe Pete and Pollo kind of fight, but Clix and Higgs, I feel like they're going to try to make endgame, and in endgame they'll definitely cook up.
Gotta be careful.
Okay, so I still see Buck,
or Buck. The easiest chance you can to get up the map. See players
it's still, there's still a lot of great teams in here.
Depending where you're at in the Storm Surge leaderboard might not necessarily be a good thing.
See, the thing why I like Twiz though right now is because he has that mythic shotgun. He has literally the best loadout, and he's good on Surge. Like yeah. XX Clix and Higgs, I seen them on the rotate. They're doing good. No, I just seen them again. They're healing. I think they got whited, but it's all good. They're not showing. See, like, this guy is 60 below Surge. Like, they are just not caring about Surge. I don't know. Now he's getting some Surge. There you go. He's 15 below. Get a little bit more. Come on. I just seen Clix and Higgs there doing perfect. Let's go.
I'm curious why he's not just firing blindly at different boxes right now. He needs to get some kind of damage in.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm seeing all these teams are dying to Surge. Like, this team is, he has 160 below on Surge. And this other guy has 27 above. And he's super low and has no heals. That is just crazy. And he is dead, unfortunately. This guy is 100 above, but very low, so this is not going to help. He's trying to go after Muzz. He hits him for 30. I see XX Clix and Higgs trying to go for height. Oh, do they do this too early, or do they get this? I don't think they actually were trying to go for height. They might. Okay, they got height. I think they're trying to go for height. This is smart. Twiz is out.
On the rotate right there. Another favorite down here.
Twiz is out. Watch.
Of course, it is not over yet.
I think that's Twiz, no?
I see Rapid there in the distance.
Oh,
my bad. For a machine there, trying to get some extra heals to buy himself some time. And this, Jacob, is where all
okay, Bolts is in Storm trying to heal. He might not survive.
I don't hate that play at all.
Clix and Higgs have height. Peterbot and Pollo looking down there on the low ground. They are not trying to go for height. They're not trying to go for height. You heard that right, bro. They are getting lobbied a little bit. Clix and Higgs, like, they're showing this, bro. They have height like crazy. This is insane. Literally nobody else is trying for. Clix and Higgs won this? How do you know? You know? How do you know? Oh, it is? Clix and Higgs win first game? Oh my god. God.
Team employ in the Heat's
Okay, we gotta watch how they win this.
To just do the traditional tarping across, but Clix and Higgs using that very critical movement mobility here early to just conserve some mats. You gotta love it.
Clix and Higgs
already
actually
it's
won.
paying off, but look at this. Peterbot and Foyo on the bottom right.
Well,
have
let's
not
see how.
stopped. They're just
Well,
reign of
Peter and
terror.
Foyo are.
They're going
Oh, okay.
mid-ground. Meanwhile, Muzz and Sphinx find their
Oh, they have to win. Oh, you don't know. Oh, shoot. Okay, now this is even a big mystery. Okay, Falcon and Peterbot going after Clix and Higgs, but now they're going back down. Peter only has 80 builds. They are trying something. Clix and Higgs up in the air.
They said if you want high ground, come take high ground.
Peter and Poyo trying to get high ground. I do not think Peter has a lot of mats. Poyo's trying to go after Clix and Higgs. Oh, why do you switch it back down? Peterbot's out. Peterbot's out. Clix and Higgs. Poyo's almost dead. Okay, Poyo's 200 health. All good. All good. They might win. Xat Muzz has height. But Higgs. Clix is dead. Clix is dead. Higgs is doing good. Falcon Poyo is out. Higgs is on height. Trying to clutch as many points as he can. 52 points. This is really good for Clix and Higgs.
It's just a countdown now to see how long he can survive.
Yeah, Higgs did a good amount of damage on the Muzz, making him kind of second.
They are dead at 52 points, I think. Okay, that is not bad.
It was a 2v1 against Higgs, and
that is not bad.
beeline their way towards that high ground.
He's not bad.
He's gonna be the only solo left in this game.
Muzz might win. Muzz might win. Muzz might win.
He goes down.
They have the height.
3 teams left in one of the most chaotic starts to a tournament.
Gifted with a random med kit there. Still have a pizza in the loadout. They do have a win condition opened up. Muzz and Sphinx, we didn't see any white heals on them. So this is going to be an all-out filthy clash on the low ground. Braids and Visual still in the mix here as well. This is a team that has, you know, again, no strangers to Victory Royales in these set lobby settings. But look at this. High ground's got a bit of a disruptor coming up. Sinwar says, you know what? I'm going to go for high instead of low ground. But as he comes down, Visuals, Braids gets gifted with a little bit of a refresh. That might be just enough match that they needed there to stay in the game.
Yeah, Ruins and his duo going up, almost solidified the victory for Braids and Visuals down below. A good amount of damage on a Muzz and Sphinx, giving a huge advantage to Visuals and Braids. They even have the med kit down below. A possible heal-off win condition in the books for Visuals, but it's really going to be up to Muzz and Sphinx how they play this situation. Visuals, Braids, they're going up. They don't want to win by heal-off. They want to win it by force. Even tried to chop down the high ground, but we're going over recycled build, so it's not going to be that easy. But Muzz goes down first. It's only a simple knock by himself. I'm not sure who's going to get the credit as Sphinx finds the mending machine. Oh my gosh, how much gold does he have? Because that is going to be the difference for another pay-to-win scenario in FNCS Finals.
And although the med kit came out from Braids and Muzz's body was there, I don't think he saw where Muzz was actually fully landed. In the end, though, Braids got just enough gas in the tank there, Jacob, to go ahead and take that dub.
Yeah, just the difference maker right there from actually using the patch up and maybe getting some med kits out of it. But Visuals and Braids win game number 1 and start FNCS on fire, Z.
I think Clix and Higgs are around 4th or 5th.
Having another pay to win. This is a joke situation. Whoa, Visual and Braids come out with the win. To think in that situation, obviously, like, they don't know. But if they were to go back and say, like, oh, they were on that mending machine, they just ran out of gas. They didn't have.
So that was kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie, first game, kind of crazy. I think Clix and Higgs could have won that, but
that's huge, Kelly. That's the kind of momentum we need.
Yeah. And Visuals and Braids,
that
this
was
isn't necessarily new for them. It's a duo that we kind of frequently look over when we have so many big names in our NA.
Yeah, just like she said, like, no one actually thought they were going to win.
Consistently making it into the FNCS Grand Finals and consistently performing pretty well, Vivid.
Yeah, I mean, they ended last year with a couple of 4th places in Major 2 and Major 3, so placed very, very well last year. But I gotta tell you, that game from them was played so well the entirety throughout, right? Whenever we were kind of looking at the whole lobby in that zone, kind of making their rotates, people going crazy for high ground, Visual and Braids, they were just that duo that kept being in the exact same spot no matter how the zone was moving. They were on that front side of the moving zone, all the way on low ground. They completely dominated that position, and yeah, as all of the chaos kind of unfolded, they just kept it rolling, right? They were healthy, and when there was only a couple of duos left in their way towards the end of the game. They just kind of clutched up and got the elims, but Storm Sickness plays a part.
I mean, yeah, they always have
different.
they always have more opportunities, but this is probably their best opportunity just because, like, teams being eliminated, him, you know, being conned and then not conned made him practice even more, so I do think this is probably a better chance he has. And they didn't do bad their first game. I do think, you know, they gotta fight a little bit more, and if they're gonna go for height, they gotta realize, like, people are gonna go for height too. Like, Pete and Poyo shockwaved up and just kept shooting at them, and I think Clix dropped down, but Higgs was still up. And, you know, that separated them, and Clix on the low ground, you know, died. And then Higgs tried clutching up as many points as he could, but, you know, I think this is probably their best chance, I'm not gonna lie. I think he practiced more than he usually does because he was supposed to be conned. Like, he even said he practiced more than what he normally does. I definitely think he should have a better chance. I wonder when they're going to show the leaderboard and where Clix and Higgs will be at, where Pete and Poyo will be. I'm very curious about that. Yeah, yes. Yep.
For the one land, for Grands, it's the top, I think it's top 13 on NAC.
So it's top 13 for NAC, so not just first place.
They're going to say it here in a minute.
Yeah, yep. We'll take a listen. They're going to say it soon, or I don't know. They're going to probably talk, and I think they should show the leaderboard. I don't know why they wouldn't. I'm not going to lie.
NCS game number 1. I can't believe it, finals. Here we are.
Tell your dad I said hi. Jay said hi.
Okay,
let's take a listen.
Muzz and Sphinx. It was close. Came down to the wire, but ultimately Visual and Braids win out. As we prepare ourselves to kind of take a look at the leaderboard, game number 1 of finals was chaotic. I feel like we
leaderboard.
Right?
Okay, Peterbot 4th.
We got Clix versus
where's
Peterbot.
Clix?
We got soaring through
Clix
the
in
air
8th. Okay, not terrible.
I mean, if you actually rewatch our show,
okay,
open,
not
we
terrible,
actually
not
showed,
terrible.
High ground with Clix and Higgs going up against Peterbot and Poyo, and it was very reflective of what we just saw at the end of game 1. This is clearly a strategy that not only Clix and Higgs had in mind, but Peterbot and Poyo as well. They kind of read Clix and Higgs, knowing that they were going to take height early, and you saw that when they kind of went for height, Vivid, they didn't necessarily go for height. Instead, it looked like they were going for Clix and Higgs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right.
I definitely think that they knew Clix and Higgs were going for height. I don't know how they knew that, but
crazy. Like watching these two duos kind of go head to head for the high ground. It looked like you would try some of this stuff.
I mean,
like,
they don't
straight
always go
game
for
as
hype,
opposed to, like, an
though.
FNCS Grand Finals lobby for game number 1. Like they just
I don't
kept
know.
going up
I
and
was
up and up and
surprised
trying
when
again and again and again.
Pete knew
And you know,
that
listen, I had a
Clix
little
was
like
up
a
there.
shower
That
thought,
definitely
I guess you
surprised
could
me.
kind of call it after watching EU Grands and how kind of successful some of the teams were by not playing for high ground. And my immediate thought was, I was like, man, I kind of hope that Peterbot and Pollo are kind of like the team on NA that we see just not go for high ground and kind of concede it. Because if you take a look at the position that they were at in game number 1 before they went for high ground, they were so healthy. They could have just kept going with the flow, you know, playing their mid-ground layer. They had 6 eliminations. They were fine. And instead, you kind of get the situation where they go for height, they take the 2v2, and both Clix and Higgs and Peterbot and Pollo kind of, as the dust settled, neither one of them were in a good spot.
Yeah, I think they're both trying to fight each other, and it's
Just
both
terrifying,
gonna mess them up.
terrifying
Honestly,
visuals there
if Peter
from the
wanted to go
high
after
ground. But, I mean,
Clix,
you know,
it
I'm
messed
here for it.
Peter
I'm
up
here to
and it
see
messed
these kind
Clix
of-
up. Obviously,
two duos
you
go
know,
head
Peter
to
got
head.
more
That's what
points
I'm here
because
for,
of
man.
kills, but
Excitement.
it's
Also,
gonna mess
have
them
a
up if
highlight
they
there
keep
as
trying to do
well.
that. I'm not
I mean,
gonna lie.
Muzz and Sphinx ending that and almost winning it out, right? Storm Sickness kind of being the decision maker there. Love seeing this strong start. There we go. Out of Muzz and Sphinx. This is how I'm excited to talk about Muzz. Can you tell?
I can tell.
But excited to see them.
I mean, who doesn't stutter when we talk about Muzz? I mean, there's a reason why he's our international player.
Go!
But Muzz and Sphinx, once they had the high ground, it looked like it was going to be their game. But honestly, I think it's less of what they did incorrectly and more of
I
the
did
fact
think,
that we had
you know,
Braids on the
Muzz
low
was gonna
ground, getting
win,
some
but his
eliminations
teammate
from
shocking
that
him.
other team
They
down
should have
below.
just dropped
Obviously,
down
getting
together
shot
and
into
fought
the
him.
Storm is not gonna be the
I think
position
if
that you
they
want to be in
dropped
for
down
the
and fought
But
them,
Sphinx here,
I
you
think
can
they
see the
definitely would have
electricity,
won.
meaning that he is gonna
And
be
I
taking
almost
that
think
Storm
maybe
Storm Sickness. And
if he
unfortunately,
uses
that
gold
was
maybe
gonna be the
better,
difference
used it
maker
like
for that victory
not as
royale.
fast,
Yeah, that
maybe
overdrive grenade
I'm
might have
kind of
been
taking
the
a guess on
actual
that,
difference
but
maker
maybe
there,
if
right?
he,
If Muzz was
you know,
actually in
gave it a
position to
couple
go ahead
extra
and
seconds,
stop some
maybe
of
he
that
would have
kill
won
from
that.
visuals
I'm just
and
assuming
Braids
on
could've,
that,
you know,
but
helped Sphinx kind of
definitely
push that
maybe.
one up. But hey, first game of Grands, a little bit of jitters. Would not be surprised. Taking a look at the leaderboard here, though, our top 10, kind of what we expected, right? Cold and Rapid find themselves in 6th place right there. Didn't really see too many like highlights from them, but obviously made it into the end game, you know, far enough to still be placed up pretty high.
Cold and Rapid, sticking to the low ground as we know that they love to do. But as you were saying, not necessarily the game that they probably wanted from game number 1, but still getting things warmed up right now. We do kind of expect a little bit more aggression coming
Officially
out from them.
40
But I think
seconds
everyone was
until
kinda just
second
trying to
game.
feel
Here we
out
go.
How the low ground was being played right there, because there was a lot of chaos going on. And Cold, you know, he did what he could, and still, as a solo player, of course, he's getting elim and refreshes, but eventually that was going to stop, and still in the top 10 right now. Still, you know, game 1, Vivid, there's still so many more games. Zeke, you're freaking out right now. What's wrong?
Zeke, that moment, man. That's one of those moments where Cold was something like, yo, Rapid, what happened? He was like, dude, just don't.
Just don't.
Just don't.
No, just don't. Listen, everything's fine, right? That was just the first game out of 12, right? We have 5 more today to kind of cement ourselves and prepare ourselves for day number 2. So for now, we take a step back, we chill, right? But why don't we go get some more action? Why don't we go over to the casters for game number 2?
Yeah, we definitely want more action all over this. Game 1 proved to be exciting already. Clix and Higgs on the high ground. I didn't think too many teams would contest them until Peterbot and Pollo did it. Not once, not twice, but it looks like 3 times in a single end game.
Yeah, they definitely were trying to go for the fight, trying to secure eliminations as opposed to just building over them and kind of keying up, locking up the positioning. No, they wanted to contest anyone who was willing to go for a victory royale in that game. You got to
Most
appreciate
definitely.
that. One thing I did notice about Clix and Higgs' early game was that they seemed to be very well off on Surge in comparison to a lot of the other top teams we tuned in with. Now, this could be due to zone factors. It could be due to
See,
other
that's what I
things.
said.
We'll see,
No
though,
one was
Jacob. They
worrying
can keep it
about
up.
Surge.
Yeah, we saw a little
And
bit of Peterbot
the
and
teams
Pollo,
that
a
were
little bit
worrying
of
about
Aegis
it
and
definitely,
Ritual that the
you
Surge
know,
plan may not
had
be
an
going
advantage, but
according
then
to usual.
they
But
took
game
that
2 is here,
advantage and
plenty of
didn't
time to
like
change
take
up,
it
so
well.
let's jump into it.
Game 2.
With game 2 now to be written, once again, I continue to bring our focus on top 13. That land qualification being the most important part of this entire
Clix
thing.
and Higgs
Obviously,
look
winning a championship is
on
fantastic.
time. It's hard to tell
However,
because, you know,
continue to keep
there's
pace,
people
playing
going
as well
very
as we
close to
saw
them,
some of our
but he
favorites
still
do,
does look
is
on time.
exactly what we want as we start leading our way towards Germany.
Seeing if anything kind of switches up. too much here. This is one of those spots we saw was going to be possibly double contested, triple contested, but this is the thing. When FNCS does roll around, those drops only mean so much because, hey, you might have a little bit of an inkling. You might want to drop somewhere else. Maybe you play roulette to try to keep teams surprised just a little bit. G-Money Magma got a whole range of space uncontested. Down low towards the south is going to be another team, and right towards the north at Dark Dominion is going to be Cold and Rapid. So even though they have space in this early game, Monster, doesn't mean it's always going to stay that way.
Yeah, I saw in the feed. Really curious about what happened there with Paper. Maybe we can get a highlight from the House of Sales or something like that, but we'll catch up. A lot of fall damage happening all weekend
I
long.
think this guy's partner
This guy
didn't
is
load in, or his
going
partner's
time and
over
again.
there. I can't tell.
G Monster Magma, you can see
And
spinning
then
across one another.
that
as well,
guy's
throwing
really
heals,
low.
etc. Now we jump in with 7 names.
I think someone died off spawn. I don't know. They're not really showing off spawns.
Down with Noisy and his duo down low, and then you
Because
have
I can see,
this
like, on the
lurking team
thing,
here
it
to the
showed
north in the
people were
feed.
dying, but... Oh,
Towards
Oh, wow,
Studios,
nice
Vivas
tags.
usually travel too far away from his drop spot. Almost everything you need from brick, metal, wood, and even a mending machine. But for Naves and Teeks kind of landing in the open, split drop. Got to make sure not to get pushed. Teeks looking like he was almost getting approached there for a moment. And this is kind of an interesting decision for Teeks and Naves in this split area because they don't really have a lot of extra heals. They don't have a ton of materials, and now they have to go elsewhere, but you can see how contested the surrounding land it actually is. This one is not going to be an easy early game for Teeks and his duo.
things are going to settle out there. A little bit positive damage, though. That's all you can really hope for. Meanwhile, back to Irvin. Veno, as we know, they take the north side of the boulevard. Then you have the Sanctuary having a full-on fight. As we jump in, it ends. Void, Zifta there. Finish this one up pretty quickly. They have attracted a couple other duos here to the sounds of the battle, but not near close enough to go ahead and jump in and add any influence. So nice little 8-point swing here for Voids and Zifta.
Just counting right now, around 12 teams, Monster, just land on that bottom right quadrant of the map. Basically from the east side of Battlewood to around the north side of the new Sanctuary, and that's over 10% of the actual lobby, maybe even close to 20, so you can see how stacked that edge of the zone actually is. What makes it hard to rotate into the north, like you actually see it kind of shifting the zone, forcing everybody towards the top side of the map. Chance and Tyler, they went ahead and left their contested drop early on, maybe getting some loot just to get what they're missing in
They
their
officially are starting
kind
to
of a
show
necessary
Pete.
evil when you're going ahead
So
and
it
triple
looks like they
contesting
were
this outside of
uncon,
Battlewood.
and
yours. Yep.
yeah, they were uncon.
Computer pot.
I just want to make sure
here.
because y'all,
Scribbly Shores.
we
all
don't
to
know.
himself. Not a solo
Someone
site
might
either.
try to, you know,
Just look at
jump
that
on them.
map.
But
No
so
one
far they are good.
looking to come close.
I
to
want to
their
see Clicks and
territory
Higgs
right
now.
Last game though, Oyo continuing to just keep that tension on the rest of the lobby. We've seen him, for whatever reason or another, really shine in the heats, and now shining to start things off here for the game one, the grand finals. But one thing's for certain, Peterbot, Boyo, you start to take away a big lead on them, they're gonna make sure they influence the lobby to try to fight back as they want to play for that championship.
Yeah, one of the few teams I feel like that can single-handedly close the gap with the eliminations. We're probably waiting until their back is up against the wall. Those there in Isho, familiar fight here, north side of the map, with the changes from Treetop Terrace going out and this spot kind of replacing it. Most of the loot is a little bit more focused towards the north side, which kind of causes a little bit more contested fights rather than splitting it. So for those there in Ishu, they've been landing here almost all season long, even throughout the changes. It'd be crazy to think they would leave anytime soon, especially with finals here. So for Raiden, CDZ, they're having a pretty good run from the play-ins to the heats till here. They just need to keep that momentum on their side against a team like those there in Ishu, who have also been playing pretty consistent in Division Cups and so on.
Those are issue are experienced as well, so Raven and CZ just have to take note.
Vino
learn
and
from their
Storm
previous games, but
hiding from a
with this Veno
solo.
curve
Well, it looks like a
working
duo,
on
but they're a
Electro
bit
and Oak.
split up.
Electro and Oak seem to feel like
No,
something
they're not
is
split
up,
up.
though.
Never mind. They're just
fully
kind of
based
scared.
down. They might have heard.
I would try to get
or caught
some
visual cues here,
Surge.
hence
off
the
them.
waiting. Veno
What servers
curve
are you
won't
on?
be
I'm on
devastating
NA
much longer.
Central.
They will
I mean,
have to
I'm
start
East,
healing here
but
soon.
I only play on Central,
Afraid
and I
do
get
think
good ping
CDC
on
found a
Central.
rotation, so we'll
So-
have to
I
Watch that
only play on
update
Central.
here in a second.
Like, I haven't even played East.
What do you think's happening here?
I don't
Oh,
even
this
know.
takes a lot of patience from
Ever
Venom.
since I
They're
started
camping the
on
mini
PC.
machine right there. They're hoping
So.
that they kind of lost Electro.
Oh, wow,
and ult.
so they
Yep,
were just
like
camping
this.
this
They
team.
peek through. They try
So
to
yeah,
access
they
the
were
mini
trying to get
machine.
surge
First
off
shot's
this
gonna be
team.
fired, which is an important amount of damage. You said it yourself. Curve and Venom have not healed just yet. Full shield, but it's the HP
That's
that
smart.
is drastic here. Curve
I
using
thought
the
they were
splashes by
scared of that
himself. Not
team.
sure
No,
what
they
Venom
were
has
trying
on the
to-
other side,
no,
but they're
get
keeping
some shots
pressure
off that
onto
team.
ult, not letting him try and heal up. And even though Venom just took a second there to heal up, it's that second of difference that allowed for Curve to get pushed off of his current position, take some damage, and almost reset the fight.
Yeah, I was going to say, he was definitely limited on heals, so they had to get those pieces there, but this fight's not going to end here now. Veno, Curve already have a little bit of a damage advantage in the exchange, but they were trying to hope to secure those elims. This is that fight with CDZ and Raven, so what they learned from the last game is we got to finish this one up quickly. Once we attack, we got to finish the job. It looks like CDZ and Raven do just that. And that's going to be their first big 8 points earned here in the finals.
Looks like Veno might be fighting
they've
this.
done more than
Oh,
some
yes,
as
he
far
is.
as the
Oh,
finals
wow.
appearance
He
goes,
whiffed
and
shots, but
see if
his
they can
teammate
keep it
was
up.
right there to
Meanwhile,
help him
Veno
out.
and Curve pushing aggressively to finish the battle like we knew they would. They do come out successful.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it
Wow.
for CDZ and Raven. I think in a good way, they've been the biggest refresh and the biggest surprise to competitive this season. And honestly, I hope
Except
they
Clicks
continue
and
to show
Higgs
off and
are
show out
finally
as one of
being
the new
shown.
teams.
They
We always
got
talk about the
a
new
big
guard, but
surge
this-
tower,
this is a
and they
crucial
have
chance
height.
here,
This
'cause
is
we
nice.
could
I
see a
like this.
first-time finalist
I love
qualified to
this.
the Summit land. I think
They have
it said
perfect
something
heals,
about, like,
rotations.
78 players are
Clicks is
trying to
really good,
qualify
and
for
I
their
just
first
hope,
land. And if
you
the
know,
math just
if they're
checks out,
taking-
right,
if they're
Monster,
taking
there are
height,
13
do it,
spots up
like,
for grabs. That means 26
do
players
it
will go
when
to
you
the
have
Summit
enough
land.
mats.
And if
Like, I don't think they
78
had
players are
enough
trying to
mats
go
or
to the
heals.
first, that means
They were
roughly
fine,
2 to
but
4
they weren't for
players,
that height,
no
and then
matter
it
what
just went down
happens
from
here,
there.
will qualify for their
just hoping the
first
map
land
pulls
in
their way.
Fortnite. Exciting times.
Yep, the possibility is definitely there. I think 13 spots is very generous.
Okay, this is scary.
Very
Why is
generous,
Higgs
you know,
all the
most
way over there?
finals
That does scare
lobbies,
me.
When you look at the
You see
overall
that?
leaderboards,
Higgs
you
is
think,
pretty
like,
far
okay,
away.
You can drop a game or two each
I mean,
day
Clicks
and
is all the
still
way in
be
a
up
surge
towards the top
tower,
10,
and
so that amount
Higgs
of
is all the way
grace and
by a
consistency,
zip line. Like,
for
if Higgs
sure, a
gets
new
cooked,
team can
or
just have their moment here
someone
this weekend
drops Clicks,
and
I
see
mean,
their way straight to the finals.
they're
It happens
cooked.
every
But, I
year.
mean, I think they
To
know
see if
they're
it's gonna be
unconned and
Raven
no
or
one's near them,
CDZ this
that
time
they
around.
can do that, but
Red Severe, though,
I don't know.
making do with their opportunity right now. Seem to be positioned pretty well. Last game, they were, of course, making it just past that mid-game now. Early game looking relatively decent for Muzz and Sphinx.
Muzz is
Great
just chilling
ending
in a
showing from
wooden
their side.
box.
Obviously,
Wow.
a second place. Nothing
Wow.
to scoff at.
Congrats, bro.
But one thing's for certain.
I think they're
Team
just
Storm
really trying to
Citrus
get
is
that
one
placement.
sad way to
They
go
know
out
they
at
have,
the
like,
end.
an advantage on most people.
They're one of the teams
And
that
they're
they
literally
deal a
just
good
trying
amount
to-
of
They're not
damage
wasting mats.
overall throughout the
Yeah.
course. Muzz in game 1 had the
They're just
most
holding their
damage
mats for
dealt
right
out of
now.
every
I think Wood is
individual
still
player
kinda
in
crazy,
the game.
but-
Just goes to show that they're really just kind of
For
building
being
that
where they
storm
are,
surge
that is
cushion,
a
no matter
little
if they're
odd.
positioned high
I
up
mean,
on a
but
mountain, not far
it's
away from
some.
their
Oh,
drop,
now they're
or
changing.
here where you think
Kinda.
it kind of
I mean, but
disadvantageous
they
to
do
box
got
up
a
next to
brick
one of
one
those
too.
mountains. They
So.
are very, very
But
calculated
it-
about how
it's all
they approach
good,
each
though.
and every
I-
one of
I
these
don't think
zones, whether
anyone's
the
actually
max pull is
gonna
far away or kind of
do
goes and
anything.
turns in their favor. They're ready for whatever comes their way, and this could be another team that's a very, very similar case, especially to start the year.
Didn't
You had
Cold have
Rapid.
a
No
mythic
matter
shotgun
who
last
he
game?
teamed with, it seemed like he
Yeah.
could not be stopped.
Okay,
Even
so
in the
this game he has a
solo
gold one.
finals competition, Rapid was at the top of the leaderboard. And Monster, let me tell you, when Rapid was reading zones like he knew where it was going to go 100%, he was almost never wrong. And now you bring that to duos when you have Cold by your side. So if you have somebody that can lead the charge, open up opportunities for someone like Cold, this could be another one of our big contenders this weekend.
Yeah, Rapid and Cold now on teams Twisted Minds. You know, looking back to Globals, I remember the last organization that he was on, you know, the leadership over there was telling me, like, Monster, keep an eye out on this guy. I'm telling you, Rapid is next up. And look, he's only continued to do better and bigger things now leading into this first major. You know, it doesn't get any bigger than working with one of the best on the region.
I like how they're editing
Visuals
that and
Brave
then
Tail.
getting
Talk
their
about
heals.
a
That's
way
really
to
smart.
start their tournament run off. You know, this is not a new guard team. This is an experienced duo here that has been playing side by side for quite a few years now, it looks like. And just really nice to see them start this off so strong.
And rightfully so, because you not only throughout the heats, For the last chance qualifier, that high ground, especially in the win in your in-type format.
It looks like this game people are going more off of Surge a little bit, which,
you guys want high ground, you guys can fight for it. We'll control the low ground here. While everybody was fighting for high grounds, teams that
I think the other thing is they need to know that they need to have over, like, probably, I would say, 400 Surge, because if their teammate goes down, that's 200 if they're 200 health, and you want to be up by, like, 200. You don't want to be up by, like, 50 or 100. Like, that's not bad, but you're obviously going to need more. You know, if you're up by 400, your teammate could die. Obviously, you don't want that, but, like, if he does die, you still are up by, you know, 200, not by 50 or 100.
You have to back off, being a little bit more passive. Don't want to get caught too long in the storm here now. You can see Aloe and Listen. Not too sure if the opponent's actually backed out of the fight just yet, so keeping that.
I think Clix and Higgs are going to pull a lot of zones. Actually, I don't know about this zone, but they did pull, I think, 2 zones already.
Now before just super padding out here.
I like when you say that, the super pad. The super pad. If you guys don't know, if you guys are tuning in, maybe you missed play-ins, heats, and the last chance qualifier. There are 2 launch pads at the north side of the map, this being one of them. On its own, Monster, it takes you higher and farther than regular launch pads. Now you combine that with the Fizz. Now you
wow, they are super high. Imagine if a team just shot them. What?
In some cases, you're out of render distance. Teams literally can't even
I
see
see
you to
it,
get
but
those
I want to
shots.
see the actual thing.
In
But it's all good.
they kind of
I do not think Clix and Higgs pull.
They went towards the south. This time around, they're taking a slower approach.
I don't know.
Different mountain ranges and edges that they
It's
can
like,
access.
it's gonna be...
They only earned 6
'cause, like,
points in game 1, so they have
wait,
a lot of space
wait,
to make
that
up
might have
for.
just pulled to them. You see that?
Looked at anyone's
That might have just
kind of
pulled to them.
lobby list of who's going to perform up towards.
See,
the
they're not
top.
showing.
Surely
That's
in that
slightly, nah, it's
conversation,
slightly. You see
he's done it
that?
before. He
It's
did it
kind of
last
wonky.
year.
Nah,
Let's see if they can
no,
pick
it's
up
not.
the pace now for Major
It's
1.
not. It's like kinda, but not much. Not
Stepping one
much.
down after game 1 is a little rough. It's not over just yet. Veno Curve though on the other side. Already 2 elims. Still once again going from
Veno
machine to machine
and
now.
Curve
Just trying
are
to
just on the machine,
stick
just
to that
chilling.
same strategy.
They
I think
are
this is
good
too
on
much
creeping
trust
up
there,
on
but you
people
have to
because,
also
you know,
have
they
it.
did that at the start of the game and
Start
took out a
picking.
team, so.
They're actually exposed.
Oh, just a quick peek. Veno and Curve. This time around,
Okay,
we saw
so
them kind of made a
Curve
play
and
similar to
Veno
this in
did
that
kill
last
one,
game. They made sure
or
to
knocked
heal up
one,
first,
but
now
they
have
definitely
access to
took,
the
you know,
machine. The
some
patches
damage
are in.
too.
With Magma down, G-Money looks like he's going for a revive, but
They're trying to get
he
that
might
refresh
end up
so
in that
bad.
Same situation, but luckily Curve goes up.
Curve seems a bit lost, but luckily Veno does help his teammate out and kill them.
They fell asleep for
They're
just
up
a
by
second
600
too
surge.
long,
Like,
and
this is the
Curve
kind
and
of
Veno
surge that would be
strike the
amazing.
elimination and
Like,
build that
600,
cushion for
bruh.
Storm Surge, almost
Like,
700
they
above
can
that
get
threshold.
so many tags. They can get hit by so much.
Probably bet that they're the
And there's still 38
furthest
teams in
ahead
here.
when it comes
Yeah.
to overall surge right
There's not
now.
even points
Their
being
execution just
given
couldn't
out
be
yet.
better on those 2 ambushes that they set up.
The thing I see happening is,
Veno playing
like,
as great as
they all
ever.
come.
Obviously
Mud.
coming from EU
the
to
thing
LA,
I
you have
see
a lot
might
to prove.
happen with
A
Clix,
huge investment in
Higgs,
yourself,
Peter,
right,
and
to come
Poyo.
on
I
over
think,
and do the thing here on
I
the
don't know,
field.
it's still the second
Doing
game,
it with
but
someone like
I don't
Curve.
see them winning
Hasn't
only
really
because they're
had
not
that
going
much
after
of a
kills.
chance to show
I
how
don't
good of
know.
a player he could be, right? We've seen him
Clix
play
and
with
Higgs, like, they
folks
need
like
some
Reed
point.
and
They
a
need
few
some
other top
kills,
tiers,
and
but
Peter and
Veno,
Poyo,
I
like, they
would say,
did
is
decent on their
definitely amongst
on their
the
kills,
most elite
but
of his duo
they still
options
do
so
gotta
far.
get kills. Like, I'm not.
I think everybody's quite pleasantly surprised. I want to give a
As long as they
huge
stay
shout out to
within the
Mom and
top
Pop Curve, really
10
believing in
by
their
the end of
son and
today,
just allowing him to
you
follow
adjust
this
for
dream.
tomorrow.
Of
Yeah.
not only just playing and competing
Yeah, and I
in
think
Fortnite, but a
I
chance to
think
be
if
one of
they
the
like
best
consistently
players in
play
Fortnite,
placement,
get
they
to
can get it.
travel
But
the world if
I
they're
do
able to
think
qualify
like
here inside the
people
top
that are
13.
team,
And
like
talk about
Veno,
history
they
being on
killed
one
2
team's
teams
side.
just this
Acorn
game.
has that major 1 history. I think you called it the major
That's like
1
16
magic. I
or-
like that. So if Acorn can pull it off here,
Acorn and
definitely
Bolts
would be a
have no kills.
magician. 38
Yeah, that's like
points in
16
game
points just
number
off
1.
kills, and
So
no one
already a
else has
slow
got
start
points
for
yet.
them, but you could see
So,
Zone pulling
I
on
definitely
over towards the
think
north
that
side of the map,
could,
almost 300 above
You know,
the
I'm
damage
talking about
threshold.
like
Just to get one
tomorrow,
step at a
end
time.
of the day of
Looking good,
FNCS.
love
I
the
think
positioning here on the bottom
kills
edge of
can
that
come
mountain.
down
Should
to the
have
end
no
of it.
resistance from any other team. And then they go with the full metal base, so that's just showing us they're not looking to move anytime soon. Jumping on over to Clicks Higgs. Ager's Ritual side to side.
Clicks
here.
and Higgs only up by 200. That is not terrible, but also not the best.
Right now, just fishing for opportunity. Nothing available just yet. Mud Sphinx is going to be the first that they put a little attack onto, but Clicks unfortunately misses those shots. And look at this. This is not actually looking too good for Muzz and Sphinx. They're just barely holding on right now.
Yeah, blessing for them to kind of make that quick rotation onto a slower side of the zone, kind of allow them to peek and get a wide variety of options here. The curse is going to be everybody's fully boxed up already in both brick and metal, so it's going to be hard to spray your way through. But they're 142 above that damage threshold, and they're not a team that goes in desperation mode just because they're below the damage threshold. And that's a huge focal point for their game plan. Peterbot and Poyo.
So Peterbot and Poyo how to use some of their heals. Poyo is low. They are just getting sprayed. They might die because they are low on some mats. It's gonna take them a minute to use all their mats, but they are low. Oh wait, never mind. Peterbot has 50 builds.
He's still trying to scramble around, but not really finding an open opportunity here to get back.
It's very winnable for Clicks. Well, if you heard what I just said, I think it's gonna come down to kills. And Clicks Higgs don't have like a lot of kills right now. But as long as they play placement and they get like top 10 like my dad said today, I think they're good. Dude, they are 300 below. Oh, they're 100 below. Peter is dead. It is just up to Poyo. They are 262 below. I think they might be dead this round. Oh, Poyo barely wins this fight. Wow. But they are still 200 below. Like, that is crazy because Poyo got hit by a lot. Wow, that is crazy. Hold on low ground, spraying a solo. Wow, just killed him. Oh, that was not a solo. It was a duo, and they just took them out easy. Oh my gosh. Poyo by himself, 80 points. Has about 100 health left. Let me see where Clicks and Higgs are. I can't find them. I can't find them. I can't find them. No. I cannot see them. Poyo is getting just obliterated right now. Has 300 mats. He's going to have to play very carefully with these mats.
I hope you're ready for this ride.
Yeah, this is going to be crazy. Now, he does still have a couple shockwaves, but with Acorn here to the side, I mean, these are dangerous teams on high ground. Clicks and Higgs already looking out in the distance as well here.
Clicks and Higgs in the distance, I heard. Oh, Clicks and Higgs. I see Clicks and Higgs trying to go for height. They have the mountain. This is perfect right now. This is perfect. Now, they cannot sell this right now. Oh, they are just getting that surge. That is very smart. They're just getting that surge. Higgs already got like 50 surge. This is nice. I love this idea. Yep, 20, 20, 50. Oh my gosh. Yes, yes, yes. Surge. Surge is very important, and them taking advantage of this is very important. Guys, just watch. Trust me, bro. I'm telling you.
And you see they're focusing not only on the players kind of rotating around, but the ones that are in that fizz mist. Those are the threats to that high ground, the second height. They keep putting down
Except Muzz.
Muzz and Sphinx might be one of those teams as well. They're not dropping down unless they have to. You see Poyo trying to shockwave off. Probably only has one shockwave left in his inventory.
Now Poyo is still alive for Peter. Wow, this is insane. He is still alive. He was like 1 HP and he's still alive. Like, this is crazy. Clicks and Higgs do have this height. Are they going to win? I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. They might win this. I feel like they could because Poyo's not in, or Peterbot and Poyo are not together, and I do not think Poyo's just gonna shock up to go try to 2v1 Clicks and Higgs. So I think Clicks and Higgs. Oh, they dropped down. They dropped. No, they dropped down to rotate, and now they're going back up. I do not know if they have the mats for this. I do not know. Poyo is dead. Poyo is dead. Poyo is dead. Chad, so many people are dying. So many people are dying. Cold in Storm.
Cold and Rapid. Front side of the low ground, just playing for an ultimate end.
Fink's teammate is dead. Finks dies.
They think you're out of pills, but Muzz gets in the box, ends up with one elimination. Wager sends him right back to the lobby, and this goes to show for second place there.
Vino in a box with a mythic shotgun is insane. Clicks and Higgs still have that height. That is kind of insane. I want to see their mats though. Curve is still in.
We're going down into the divot off the side of that mountain for Clicks and Higgs. They have
Clicks and Higgs might be fighting fighting for height? They're only 300 mats. Yeah, they are very low on mats. I don't know why they're going for height. I mean, I like it, but at the same time, it's losing their mats. I think they're doing it a bit too early. But if they don't do it early enough, you know, they don't get it. Okay, Clix and Higgs are finally leaving out of Storm. They are coming back in. Clix is very low on the health. Higgs has no health.
Loses a lot of shield here, forced to miss up, and Clix
okay.
as well. Very desperate situation for Height now. Acorn and Bolts finally attack, and it's theirs to secure.
Wow,
yep.
Clix and Higgs read the curve, and Veno played from
Clix and Higgs lost height. It's all good. They don't have the material. Higgs, bro, Clix is trying for that height so bad. Wow. Wow. Higgs is going for height. Oh my gosh. Yes, sir. This is Clix and Higgs' FNCS. You hear that, guys? Do you guys hear that? Oh my gosh. Wow. There's 8 teams left. 7 teams left.
That was disgusting. Clix goes up. Higgs,
wow, that is tough. That is tough.
They actually take that team down, and now it's their high ground all over again as it bounces back over their original investment here.
I do not like their mats. I do not like their mats. He is in Storm trying to get his refresh. He gets his refresh, but he might be cooked to Storm.
Anything with the high ground, but they are running things on the low ground. 8 eliminations for them now. But look at the
Clix and Higgs at 100 points. They have more points than Pete and Poyo. This is definitely going to help them majorly. Clix just got a kill. That kill is going to help so much. That is 4 points. Clix is going in Storm to fight. Clix is about to get another Elim. Clix gets an Elim. This might be their game. This is Clix and Higgs' game. Game 2. Wow.
It almost feels like back-to-back performances.
That was insane. That was insane. Wow. Wow. Come on, show leaderboard. Come on, let's see that. Yeah, I know. They're not going to show it for a while. But let's go.
This is what I was waiting for in finals.
Wow.
Fight for height. Clix and Higgs.
Clix and Higgs finally executed height.
They're like, hey, remember our plan from game 1? We're doing that again, but this time, no one will take height from us.
Yep,
and now we get a game 2.
He made sure no one took his height. Like, they took their height, but he wasn't going to allow that. Clix shockwaved up when he had no max. Took them out of height. Higgs just took the height, and boom. It was done from there. It was done from there. Like, I already thought they won.
Literally just over the last 2 weeks, the little adjustments that they're making in controlling height. And this was honestly a masterclass of those changes that we've seen.
133 points. I know that is going to help so much. That, like, Peterbot had 80, I think. But, you know, Peterbot did die pretty fast, and they were in a shambles place. Like, watch this. Watch this. Oh my gosh. Clix was frying. Like, you see how he's frying these kids in the air? That's insane. Same with this. Watch. He breaks this height. He breaks this height, and Higgs takes the height. Like, that's just insane. Clix gets that Elim. Like, he just drops on this kid and easily takes him out. And boom. He gets that guy white. He gets that kill, and Clix just drops down and goes fights. And Higgs is on height. Clix gets that kill. They shoot at Clix, and he already wins. Wow, that's insane.
They ended the game with 4 eliminations.
We like that. That was insane.
But then if you also take a look at the natural terrain
that's only game 2, guys. We still have 3 more games. We still got 2 more hours. Let's get it.
Like dips and elevation, so you kind of have to account for that. It usually takes a little bit more builds to build over something like that. So not only did Clix and Higgs fend off like 7 different teams amongst like
4 more games, my bad.
Amount of chaos.
This is what I think. If Peterbot is like, I think if Peterbot and Poyo are always shams, Clix and Higgs are going to do very well. But I do think, like, if Pete and Poyo are doing good, they're going to try to go after that height, especially because they know Clix and Higgs just won. Like, they know they just won, and they know they won off of height. So, them knowing that, it's probably going to tell them to, like, try to fight them off height. So, Clix and Higgs just gotta, you know, I think they're locked in now. They got more kills, which I was talking about how they had no kills. But that game, like, they started fragging out. Clix did, which is surprising because Clix is the IGL, but I guess he just dropped down and started fighting, and Higgs just stayed on height. It's a very interesting, you know. Clix is not IGL. This is a fragger? I thought he was a... Oh... It doesn't seem like he's a... I know why I think that, because, like, Higgs gets a lot more elims, I'm not gonna lie. It's all good now. That was still pretty impressive.
Yeah, definitely helped them.
I think they're probably third right now.
Probably, yeah. Eighth to third, probably. Because how many total?
Like, I still think now, if
You do realize the better Clicks does, the more Peter gets pissed.
I know, but I'm also thinking because Clicks was, like, killing people on height and felt better on height, I think the first game, they weren't really feeling height, and then they finally realized it. I think Clicks and Higgs can fight Pete and Pollo on height and win that. Like, the way Clicks and Higgs just took height like that, like...
No, they did good.
I forget who was trying to steal their height, but he immediately took them out. Like, he immediately told them to, like, get off that height. And they had no choice. So I think
it was Agers.
It was Agers? So I still think if Peterbot really tries to, you know, go for that height with Clicks and Higgs, I don't think he wins. I think it's going to be a good battle, but I don't think he wins. Like, Clicks and Higgs practice height a lot, and... They just proved it right there that they practice height a lot. The first game, they didn't execute it right, but second game, they knew exactly what to do. And I do think that was probably, like, something they messed up on. Their coach definitely said, and they immediately switched it up. And I think that mess up that his coach told him is going to help them so much that, like, I think in the next fight, if Pete and Pollo try going for that height, they're going to lose. Dude, Ianzo had a 1,900 surge.
Ianzo?
What?
Oh, in that game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Fortnite fam, to Major 1 FNCS Finals in day number 1. Game number 2. Clicks fans, rise up! Our time is now. They get themselves a victory out in game number 2. Kelly, they went ahead and put the whole lobby on notice. We're here to play. We are here for high ground and high ground only. But there was more that happened in that game, right, Kelly? A bunch of things as we get ready to look at the lobby list. You'd think Clicks and Higgs would be in first place, because I would think that, right? Like, oh yeah, they got a big.
I would not think first. Yeah, second. That is even better than I thought. Even better than I thought. I thought they were getting third.
By 1 point.
Peter and Pollo in 8th. Wow.
And yeah, for
that's crazy.
2 games,
Look,
13 is actually
Agers
quite
and Rituals
high.
will win by
Of
1
course, that's
point.
Agers and Ritual.
Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier on at the start of the show,
What's good, bro?
They have a higher amount of average eliminations in their Div Cup finals over Peter and Pollo. Agers and Ritual understand what a win condition means. And I don't mean a victory royale condition. I'm talking about the whole tournament. They know exactly what they need to do, Vivid. And they're showing it in our first 2 games.
Zeke completely destroyed Kelly's train of thought right there. That was awesome. Anyway, 10 eliminations.
I don't know if it is.
For the duo just there in game number 2. As you can see it, 7 on Agers, 3 on Ritual. And this is exactly what me and Kelly were kind of talking about. That elim heavy refresh style of gameplay where they try to make it work
I don't think it is.
The mid ground. Gotta give a big shout out though. You want to talk about fighting in the early game?
That was insane though. That was a great fight. Clicks and Higgs doing that is just insane.
Their drop spot situation over there, it's been a little bit weird. They kind of
like I said, I know Clicks and Higgs are probably gonna go for the height, and Peter and Pollo are probably gonna try to get them off of that. So I'm excited to see what happens this next game. Or Clicks and Higgs just know that Pete is
And it's
gonna
just
try
been
to go
working out.
after
You
them and
imagine
not
if they're
grab that
taking 2v2
height,
fights,
but that is very
you know,
unlikely.
the way
I'm not
the
gonna lie.
Stormforge works now, it's a damage ratio. So they're taking these 2v2 fights, and they're just not really taking damage in them. How cleanly are they winning those fights?
I mean, if we're taking a look at this height still right now, it definitely was not too clean when you're kind of a little focused on a certain player and everyone else is looking up at you saying, oh, hey, he's just in the air. I'm going to take a few shots. It definitely makes it a little bit harder for you to defend yourself. But you talking about them fighting in Storm, I love that play we got to see from them fighting next to the mending machine, which actually allowed them to fight even longer in Storm and eventually get one of those eliminations. And they're, again, it's, you know, Veno, he's so smart when he plays, and to see them kind of handling this this change to their drop spot situation and still being able to come out on top, I love to see it.
Yeah, as we're bringing up those standings, the reason we wanted to highlight them is we just talked about these 13 elims, and remember, we're getting 1 more point per elim, right? First place, Aegis Ritual, 13 elims. But as we look at Curve and Veno, they already have 12, right? So we're just missing a handful of like consistency points, and then suddenly we're starting to run up that leaderboard. Cold and Rapid, though, again, I feel like, Kelly, we have so much star power, right? We can look at any duo and just be like, yo, they're going crazy, and we probably would be right. But now we're kind of starting to pick up, right? We kind of talked about in that first game, maybe a little slower, a little like subdued. And even now, it's a very similar place, right? 7th place, 4th, 8th place, 5 elims. I'm kind of waiting, you know, Kelly, I'm kind of waiting for that ice cold game out of Cold.
I think how they play in tournaments is similar to kind of how they play in the end game. They kind of like to play in the mid ground. They love to play for refreshes. And if they need to go for kind of a heavy elim, they'll lock in and they'll go on the low ground. And then that's where we really see them tear. But for me, Cold and Rapid, it's less about how consistent they are and more about these insane pop-off games, Vivid, that we know that both of them individually and as a duo can pull out.
Yeah, so it'd be scary stuff for the leaderboard when we do see one of those games. Got to give a big shout out to Acorn and Bolts. I feel like that game is rough because we saw a little bit of life of them in that game where they actually attempted to go for high ground right there. So it'll be interesting to see over the course of the next.
It's crazy that, you know, they were trying to go after height, and I think because they didn't get the height they wanted, I don't think they're gonna go after height again. I do think Clix is gonna go after height, and you know, everyone else is gonna try, but I do think Clix and Higgs are going to make sure no one else gets their height. I know Pete and Poyo are probably going for that height, so that's gonna be a good fight.
Just have high ground for free, kind of something to think about.
Yeah, man, like you're pointing out the amount of players that have gone up to fight for it. Like, I think in any other circumstance we've seen that, it's like that team usually just like, okay, hey, my bad, like you guys can have it, but Clix and Higgs, they are holding on, Kelly. It's looking nice.
Yeah, exactly like they're saying, like Clix and Higgs, you know, they just didn't let go of that height that game, and they got to do that every game.
Starts now.
Here we go.
Thank you. And yeah, just like that, we're approaching game 3 already. Finals days tend to go pretty quickly, but one thing's for certain, Jacob, it's too early to call anything just yet.
Yeah, I'm already kind of getting my wish. I said I just want game 12 to matter when it's all said and done. Already a 1-point difference, proving that history lesson we gave might come true. And this is going to be
see, that would be cool. Like 1 point different or a 4. It would be cool if it was a 4-point difference because that means you missed it by a kill. That would be cool.
Yeah, one thing's underrated is those elimination points are starting to rack up. You're earning more for your value here when you get eliminations. So seeing someone like Aegis and Rituals
yep.
top just because they
yeah, 4 points for an elimination is a lot. Like, I don't think people get how much points that is. Like, that racks up fast. Oh, what did I just hear? The battle bus. Here we go.
Consistency coming out of Clix and Higgs so far throughout 2 games. Aegis and Ritual as well, their first place on the leaderboard, already locking down a 2nd and a 13th with 13 total eliminations. You gotta like what Curve and Veno are doing as well, just kind of keeping it close, and that's going to be the interesting thing of how the day ends today. Really has control of how you get to play tomorrow.
You know, one thing about Fortnite is there is a little bit of luck involved. You know, when you went back and saw the highlights, I actually can't.
You saw my video? Would you see my video on TikTok? Oh my gosh!
Curves
Someone's already dead? Wow. What'd you see? Oh, TikTok? Yo, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, we're watching today's Fortnite FNCS Grands. We're also going to be watching it tomorrow on, you know, YouTube Live, Purple Live. Like, we're going to be streaming on everything. I'm streaming on YT, Purple app, and Green app. Actually, I don't know if I could say, like, I don't think any platform will actually care. W, I appreciate it, man. Add me. I'm not adding anyone right now, bro. I'm trying to make sure like everything's good so you can see FNCS right now.
The elimination, that's Toronto and Slips. Further down south,
I can add you later though.
Drop down there towards the bottom. Just kind of take those little opportunities while you can. That's kind of the name of the game.
Nice little Elam for them, given that they're playing the coastal line.
See, this is crazy, bro.
Paint the palms here. Blanks and Mako again managed to find a nice little victory there coming out of their heats.
I really hope Clix and Higgs, you know, keep doing good.
Their north, though.
They're doing really good. Like, they just won last game. Their first game, you know, they didn't perform like height as much as they wanted to, but they did perform it well in the second game. W content creator.
Coming off a hot little victory of an early game battle for themselves, but wasn't
appreciate it, man.
Anything else after that game too?
And I played your 1v1 map, bro. Thank you so much, bro.
Been almost 3
That's literally the best way you can help me, bro, by chatting, watching, and playing my 1v1 map, bro. You're doing everything to help me out. Thank you so much. Yeah, they have like 140 points. Yeah, they're doing great. And I think this game, Peter and Poyo are going to go for height, or to fight Clix and Higgs on height. Because Clix and Higgs are always going to go after height, or most of the games they're going to go for height. So Pete and Poyo are probably going to fight Clix on height. So I'm excited for that fight. But that's not going to be for a long time. Like, that's going to be endgame.
See what Raven and CDZs can take away from this finals as a whole. Because they're starting to notice, I think, that you can't just be too flexible on the lobby. You will encounter incredibly talented players everywhere you go.
Yeah. Yep.
Even now, one might argue
like fights, like just like the commentator saying, like you have to get kills, but you have to be smart about them. They're not going to be any bots. Like there's no bots in here. And like he was saying, like players are starting to realize that. Yeah, I mean, you're not just going to get a free kill. Like it's actually going to be hard. These are all pros.
It's just the early game Storm Surge. You can kind of see cut halfway through Battlewood Boulevard, the zone is already pushing teams towards the north side of the map. And that gives a little bit of a cushion here for Veno and Curve to do these lurk plays just like this.
Dude, I wish they would show the map more, man. I want to know if Clix and Higgs hold. Oh my gosh, do you guys see this Surge base? Oh my gosh, they're building the same one they built last game. It's honestly crazy because
I always keep eyes on what Veno's up to. It's one of the most decorated players, one who tends to come in with an extreme amount of preparation. It's always something to
so, I mean, yeah, I do agree with that because I am a Clix fan. I do think Pete and Poyo are, like, falling off a bit. I don't know, they're up to something, though. They're not falling off. They're trying to mess Clix and Higgs up. I think if Clix does good, Peter's going to start going wonky land and is going to mess up his own grands so he can mess up Clix. Which is just messed up, but he is going to do that.
Up above, you got Curve lurking around, so they got basically all the important exits locked down. Veno watching the whole other side of that building.
So Veno is lurking right now. Veno is really good at that, and so is his teammate. Last time they lurked on someone, they literally killed them. It was pretty insane. Peter and Poyo fell off. I mean, I wouldn't say they fell off. They're still good. They're up to something. They're up to something. They're being weird. They're like, you know, they're not caring. But realistically, I do think they're going to start conning Clix if he does really good. And he's going to fight Clix on height every game. He's up to something. Like, my dad was saying that, like, I thought Pete was going to be a nice guy and just let Clix, and, like, be nice to Clix. But then he was like, but then my dad said, like, Peterbot's a mind player game, so he's probably going to try to be nice, you know, and do all this stuff and let Clix be uncon. But realistically, Like, Peter's up to something. He's up to something, and, you know, we just don't know. And I don't think we'll know today. I think we'll know tomorrow. I think he's going to do something tomorrow, not today. And he's definitely going to go Wonky Land a couple times to, you know, off-spawn Clix and Higgs. And that could definitely mess up Clix and Higgs from, you know, Grand FNCS win. But that does not mean, you know, Clix and Higgs won't beat them.
They're just going to have to hunt for that.
Yeah, I'm spectating Peterbot. How are you spectating him? Are you watching,
a couple highlights
watching, like, replays or something?
This one from Listen and Aloes duo. Oh, they find...
Wow.
Fresh off the reboot.
That was free.
Quick finish there, and then of course they're gonna go into collapse on the solo. Just like that, they earned their first set of points here in the finals lobby.
First set of points just came through.
Paperweb from early eliminations have to drop now to fight Bucky and Zen here. Bucky's in big danger. Zen forced to back him up.
Bucky only having 32 points is really bad. That is really bad. Like, first place, I think, has like 160 or something like that. I don't know, I'm assuming. Clix had like 140 at second place, so I'm assuming. But them at 32 points, y'all gotta really lock in. Y'all gotta lock in for these last couple games for today and then lock in tomorrow. See, what I just saw was Bucky went like probably 5 seconds before his teammate did, and I think if that's in endgame, hopefully they don't do that in endgame, but if they do, that second teammate that's going 5 seconds after is probably going to get beamed like crazy. Like, they're rotating 5 seconds. Like, they should be only using 1 shock. They used 2 shocks and spent 5. And like they, like, I don't know. It took them longer to rotate, and if they do that in like an end game, I feel like that's definitely bad. Poyo and Peterbot are fighting and just got a kill. They just got a kill. I don't think Bucky's qualifying. He might not. I don't know. He definitely has to lock in. It's not going to be easy. I don't know.
They're going to be able to claim that drop to themselves and maybe even move
so,
back to their POI.
Peterbot and Poyo are at like, yeah, they're at 92.
From them to the more
this is interesting.
Pro team.
It's very interesting.
Cold and
they're showing Cold. So Cold gets that mythic shotgun most of the time. See, this is my question. Like, I don't think mythics really matter anymore because
Cold with the quick two piece right there. That's a plus 50 for them.
Wait, why was I gonna say that? No, I was gonna say that because every time he has a mythic gun, I don't know. Like, Cold always has a mythic gun or a oh my gosh, I'm like blanking on my words right now. Either has a mythic or legendary, and I don't know. I just don't think that matters right now. So they are playing Storm to get their mats up, so they actually need a lot of mats. That's interesting.
Disadvantage fight, so they went ahead and went elsewhere.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like mythics or legendaries are really mattering right now. I think it's what's like what they need to be worrying about is actually hitting the shots. Because like he's had mythics and legendaries every single game, but I don't think it's really helped them. It might have. I haven't been really like checking that much, but I've been seeing him have a mythic or a legendary shotgun every time, and I don't know if it's helping him with fights or.
Light and Flex are on a timer. I mean, obviously we know Light's by himself. He's got to wrap this one up, or Nut's got to fight back, but they can't.
So Nut only has 8 points. Yeah, he might be cooked. I'm not gonna lie. He's definitely. He might be cooked.
Big advantage though for Light. In terms of the solo players, he does have a lot of the HP healed, but Power and Penta crouching, hiding, but they get a big Elim onto Light. A worthwhile Elim. Look at Power's inventory before and after. Now they're getting a bunch of
he like AFK? He was AFK for 5 seconds. I think he was taking a stretch.
Chug jug. Even though they don't necessarily stacked out in terms of shockwaves, they came for what they wanted,
he only got 8 points. He's definitely not qualling.
Hopefully they can find a safe spot in zone, so this is actually worth it.
It's winnable again for Clix. Yeah, I see that. I see that. I definitely see that. They got height. But did you hear what I said about
He bailed out.
why
Desperate
Clix and
spot
Higgs
there.
like
You
need
know
to
he's
really
got
lock
the
in this
card,
game?
so
I
he will
said
get to
Pete and
continue
Poyo are
to
definitely
life
gonna
here.
try to fight Clix and
Acorn
Higgs on the
Bolt's
height.
completely different.
And Clix and Higgs
Much
better
more chill
keep that
scenario
height
on hand.
like they did last game.
Pretty much
Like
just
if they
can't
play
do
like last game and
launch
don't let
pads
anyone take their height,
with
they're
the zone
going
on
to
top
win.
of them, so
But if they
nothing
let
to
Pete
worry
and
about right
Poyo
now.
like drop them, that's not gonna work. Like Clix had 100 builds and he shockwaved up and took height.
They have the slurp trucks that's there, the mending
Like,
machine, and we saw Peter
he
Bob
did
farm
not
out
care
a
about,
lot of
like, he
his
cared
metal.
about that game,
Quick
but he
moment
took
there
the
where
biggest
said
risk
himself,
ever.
looking
He
dangerous
said,
with Curve
I'm gonna
and
shock
Venom
up
rotating
and I
the
could
five. We
die
saw the sheer
because I
amount
can't
of
place
work
any
throughout the first two
builds,
games so far, using
or
the
I'm gonna
mending
steal this
machines
height.
as a
And he
distraction
did
for
exactly
teams,
that.
and
So
that's
I
how they
think
picked up not only
if he
damage,
plays
but
exactly
possessions.
like last
Probably
game
seeing how far
and
the zone is
locks in
actually
and
pulling
really
towards
wants
the
that
north
height,
instead
he
of
can get it.
leading, they probably realized they
Only
already have
40
some
above
good
surge.
surge.
Wow, this is gonna be
Elimination
risky.
early.
They
They're
can
trying
either
to
be
every
on the.
other team
They're gonna be.
punch.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna be on the edge of
Spider senses like Curve
surge.
Veno reading the situation like, nah, maybe not this team. Let's just go go to this storm. It's gonna be the best decision.
It's definitely winnable of Clix, but I'm also looking. Like I know Peter gets mad when Clix does way better than him. Like Peter is in 8th, Clix is in 2nd. I already know Pete and Poyo are probably going after him in height. And if Clix does good this game, he might con him. Peterbot might go wonky land for the last 2 games or 1 game. I do see that. And if it's not today, it might be tomorrow.
I'm always a what have you done for me lately type of guy, and honestly, in the short span that Jargu and Kerillian have played together, Monster, they have won 3 games in set lobbies.
And some people, I'm just wondering, how did they even make it? Like, Nut had 8 points, and then, who was it?
They're sitting on 40 points.
Bucky only had like 38, and that's just like, bro, come on, y'all gotta lock in, let's step it up.
And victories, just unfortunate. They are contested the far eastern side of the map, going against Sniper Dude and Avenger. So not every game is going to be guaranteed. Just goes to show Kerillian taking advantage of those little opportunities while you can. Peterbot and Poyo, they did clean up a few eliminations here. We saw 1 early, 1 in the feed, and you can see they're rotating way
Poyo,
Thailand
wow.
chance. Already up towards
Gets
the zone, but they're
blasted.
going to where they think it is going to open up and give them a little bit more cushion in terms of spacing.
Nice little find right there to get the chug barrels. But I did want to say, 40 points is still in the race. Like, remember, the real winners are who's going to land, who's in top 13 when this is all said and done. So if you're 40 points, you're 60 points like Cooper and Ree. I mean, you're in the conversation right now. Your shoes are tied, you're on the track here. You gotta respect it.
I mean, I guess Bucky then?
But again, this
Because
is only
Bucky's
game
at
3,
38,
right?
maybe
We're about
40
halfway
now. I guess
day
Bucky's
1.
still in it? I don't know. That's what the commentator's saying.
Quarter of the game's already completed. You can kind of see Cooper, Reed, trying to see if anybody
Where's
else is gonna
Clix
make
and
a
Higgs? I didn't see them on their
side
tower.
of that mountain. They're
Where's
ready,
Clix and Higgs?
waiting for it to happen.
Where's Clix and Higgs? Yo, what's good, dude?
The damage threshold. Right now, it is going to be a 2-tick. That's going to quickly switch on over to a 5-tick. So timing is of the essence to get in towards the zone. So they don't necessarily have to rush for the Storm Surge. QK does anyway. Not only get
50 above surge, 40 above
the
surge.
damage
Wow.
threshold.
That's gonna be
And
scary.
it's usually when you're on that line, Monster
not gonna
teams
be
get
good.
desperate and start to make mistakes. So glad to see them already answer the call.
Yeah, their timing couldn't have been better. Like, the zone pulls to their side. So many teams are exiting from the Wadki land, storm into the edge, kind of congested positioning there. And I want to
Where's
update from
Clix
Clix
and
and
Higgs?
Higgs
I
as
did
well.
not-
Like, this
Yes.
is their
Where's
drop,
Clix
right?
and
This
Higgs?
is the dream scenario. You're in the lead point-wise. Then you get the whole zone to land on top of your POI. When you normally play natural high ground, this is a crazy development happening in general right now for Game 3. Bolts and Acorn.
Can we show
invested
Clix and
a lot
Higgs,
to
though?
get to the
You were
safety
talking
here.
about him, but
And look at
didn't
this,
show him.
a lot of heals to work with, so the pizza box comes out. This is obviously, I'd say, the best heal, right, like in the game right now, for sure, as far as quick heals are concerned.
Look at the background. Creon went down. Almost held my breath. Thought it was somebody else for a moment. Paper is going to be knocked as well. A couple of players left as solos in some big moments here. No bigger moment than this for Rezzy. 348 below.
Wow.
Rezzy literally put the team on his back just to get this spot in finals. 2 games gone already. 341 quickly has to start to make a play. 15 players need to go down. He might have an opportunity to out-heal this monster. 2 pizza slices, 3 med kits. He does have a full chug jug as well. I just wouldn't necessarily advise it as a solo.
This is crazy because while we've been watching Rezzy, just to his bottom left, you have Veno and Curve, and I saw Curve pick up 2 eliminations, by the way. So Rezzy's trying to find opportunity, and then you have someone like Curve just lacing up the lobby, and all the chances that might have been his in his general vicinity. So it couldn't be worse for Rezzy right now.
Now we're showing Clix and Higgs. They're 5-5. Wow.
No worries.
500 above, no, 400 above.
What a clean rotate here.
Wow.
They're not quite safe just yet, but
that was a nice rotate, yeah.
No pressure right now.
Get it, dude.
For
okay, Clix has the truck splashes, so they might win. Not gonna lie. Can't give them the Higgs.
Start to see an interesting end game. You see all the trees, Monster? You see every single one of those trees. Well, the thick ones, they have a huge amount of HP, and you can connect to them as well in this end game. And more of them as we go towards the south are going to be in play. So we're gonna have teams that not only can contest the high ground, can hold on to it for longer than usual. Cold and Rapid try to make their way in, moving forward, almost running.
So what I don't like here is that Pete and Pollo have 1,000 surge right here.
This is one thing that you wanted to pay
a whole
close attention
1,000.
to, and right now, from one game to the next, this is night and day here for Peterbot and Pollo.
Yeah, definitely. They're playing aggressive right now. It's almost as if they say, or are feeling like they need to earn a bunch of points if they want to stay competitive for first place. And they're playing like someone owes them something right now, big time. Meanwhile, Curve, though, as exceptional as he has been, he's lost Veno on the rotate here, so he's now left by himself. Meanwhile, you look to high ground, and look who it is. My, it's not a bird. It's Clix, it's Higgs up top right now, getting positioned.
Just like in a couple of the other games,
they're getting it just right. Let's get it, dude.
Players going up the high ground. Is it too
Clix
early?
and Higgs going for height. Let's get it.
Too early for them
yes,
to
sir.
High ground, especially in a zone
yes,
like
sir.
this where you
Let's
have
get
all
it,
those
dude.
trees that you can actually attach to maintain your position on height. But for now, Clix and Higgs just continue to look down below. Realize
they have that height.
Players not only out of their
when Pete and Pollo are out, I think they have a really good chance. But Pete and Pollo still being in and having 1,000 surge is insane. I'm not gonna lie, they can take a lot of damage.
Fortunately, ends up on a different layer there for a second, but reunited now. Looking to kind of reposition, refresh up. Up top, Clix and Higgs have this juggernaut of a position.
I mean, wow,
over
they
the
got
lobby, connected to that big trunk of the tree there, and they're just so
Clix and Higgs are just chilling.
Gonna be able to contest them, I don't think. So they
no way, no one's actually gonna go fight them on height. It's still early.
Sphinx here
Trust.
For what they can do right now.
I hope they keep height, but it is still early and there's still a bunch of teams. I'd be surprised if no one goes. Wow, they have height though. That is height. And Pete and Pollo are already fighting, so like they might not be able to go up. So I actually like this. Wait, this is actually good. This is good. Pete and Pollo. Oh, Muzz is out. Muzz is entirely out. Yeah, they have height like crazy.
Seeing threats going down in the corner just goes to show that these players that are on that mid layer are just bumping heads back and forth just to get inches in a game that seems a mile long.
Finally, Cold and Rapid get their first eliminations here in the end game.
First elim, wow, in the third game.
Wow. Several set of elims right now, given how they like to play aggressively in these end games. But don't count them out just yet. Peterbot Pollo continue to turn up.
Yeah, they're on low ground.
Living
That's interesting.
Refreshes right now. They have Osid in sight. They take them down
so
quickly. You can run, but
Pollo just got hit for 150.
Peterbot for the first time playing side by side in the end game, and what feels like the entirety of today. Visuals, Braids on the other side, coming off that victory royale.
Wow,
now.
dude.
Still trying to maintain
they still have
here, but
height like crazy. Like no
ground,
one. I don't even know if anyone knows.
Just yet.
Like, they gotta know, but like, just not fighting that is crazy.
Well, that one's clean. Poyo almost gets blocked off away from Peterbot, but he's not letting
Poyo's
go. He's not giving up
30
on
health?
his teammates, saying there's a huge
Cold has that
numbers.
Mythic
We have
still.
to make it count. Cold gets another elimination as well. You
Let's
said
see if
it,
that
there are
Mythic
4
will really help.
eliminations here, and they're looking
30
for a
builds
couple
on
more top
Rapid.
14 situation. There are 5 solo players running around this lobby. Make it 6.
Wow, they still got that height, Clix and Higgs, and they just aren't getting hit. I love this.
Or even built a single box higher, and that's because of Clix and Higgs, a constant pressure from above.
I'm just looking at Cold
Yeah.
right now. He went for no
Now,
else.
Clix is on the low.
Down below,
He's
he
getting
thinks that
low.
site's gonna turn online.
And Higgs is
But
definitely getting
now,
higher.
if
Oh,
he wants to
Clix
stay
is getting
alive
up a
here,
bit more.
there goes the mini
Right when I
shift.
say that, bro.
Meanwhile, Peterbot in the bottom right is by himself, trying to clutch this one up. right
Peterbot's
now.
just by himself.
The solo show all week long, and now it's up to Peterbot to show us what he's got.
Yep, one
50
shockwave
builds.
left, 5 builds, definitely.
Yeah, they are
trying
not
to
going
take
for
the
height
perfect
this game.
moment to strike.
Let me tell you that.
Using the Fizz for the utility, not necessarily the shield. Cold
Rapid
is
and Storm.
finally gone down.
Just
Rapid's
Rapid.
outside of the zone. Acorn trying to cut
Acorn's
off the
dead.
path of Brave,
126
but Brave takes
points.
him down. These trades going
Rapid
back
has
and forth.
180
8
points.
teams remain, but that's making 7
90
teams
points.
remain. Monster 9 players in this game. Almost everybody.
Rapid
left
just got a
alive.
nice kill.
Solos. Rapid probably
Peterbot,
feels the pressure.
10
It's a
health,
huge
or 20
elimination.
health.
Peterbot as well, but he's out of build.
Peterbot's out. Let's go. Clix and Higgs are on height. Come on, show Clix.
A sliver
Come on,
of HP.
show that.
Peterbot
Oh.
had it and earned a little bit more,
They still
but
have 300
Clix
builds.
and
They
Higgs
still
are
have
here on the
300
high
builds.
ground. They're
Oh
gonna
my
get
gosh.
another victory royale here and now.
Rapid
They want it
is
more
on.
than everyone else. Rapid's a solo.
Clix and Higgs win game 3. Let's go. Let's go, bro. They win game 3. Is Peterbot going to land on Clix in game 4?
Victory royales from Clix and Higgs. They got their wonky land uncontested, and they're putting it to use, Zeke.
This is not a drill. Clix and Higgs won back-to-back games in major
Yes,
finals.
sir. Back to back. Keep going for that height. Keep going for that height. And you know what's crazy? Who was it? Those kids that won? I forget. That didn't qual.
I mean,
What's
I
his name?
appreciate the pizza party. Who doesn't love that? But
Dad, you know what I'm talking about? Those kids
are having a party for 2.
that
They
won
are just
last
absolutely
FNCS?
dominating. And Vivid,
you
you
mean
called
from
it out. You
Global?
Yeah.
said the word
Crazy and all that?
conditioning,
Yeah.
and they
The fact
conditioned the lobby.
it's
only
crazy
doing
that
number
no
3.
one like looks at
Absolutely.
Queasy and them always went for height, no?
Yep.
Like you mentioned,
They
it
always
seemed
went
like
for
it was
height
so
and won.
chaotic over the course of game
And
number 1, game number
no
2,
one's going
everybody
after this
wanted
height
a
besides
little
Clix
piece
and
of
Higgs.
pie
I
that
think
would
everyone
fly up. It
knows
seemed impossible
Clix
to
and Higgs
control.
are a threat.
In game 3, it was a breeze. Nobody looked up. I don't even know what was going on in that lobby. We were so busy watching the eliminations that were kind of happening on the lower ground. People were going crazy down there, and Clix and Higgs, you know, again, one of those situations where what did they end the game with right there? Like 3 eliminations. I know I saw they had 2 in like 11 zone. No real refreshes are coming in, and they are somehow tarping the entirety of these end games from 8th zone throughout. Nobody's looking up, Kelly.
I will say though, they're not tarping, and they keep doing that where they're actually split and they're kind of creating these 2 towers where Clix will launch forward at the front of zone and they don't tarp over, which kind of saves their materials. It's now allowing Clix to kind of get these refreshes or at least get some shots onto low ground. It's amazing, Zeke. And again, this is just halfway through day 1.
Can we get the back 3 back? That's all I want. That's all I want, back 3 back. Fortnite fan, we hope you are enjoying all of the action. That was game number 3. We still have 3 to go. First, a break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at this lobby list. You're about to be in shock. We'll see you in just a moment.
Chat, that's insane. I can't wait to see that leaderboard. I already know who's in first.
They're in first now.
Yeah, but like, it's tough to see. Let's get it, bro. Yes, sir. I do think Clix and Higgs are a threat right now.
You should think.
But that's not good.
It's
scary.
They're definitely going to be targeted.
That's crazy. I told you they were gonna win again. Yeah, Yeah, you did. I was surprised. I was definitely
That's
surprised by that.
nuts.
I was surprised by that.
That's nuts.
I was surprised that no one went for that height. Nobody besides Clicks and Hicks.
They couldn't. There was too much fighting on the bottom ground. You couldn't look up.
That was nice.
Yeah, they had no opportunity to look up.
The
There was
fact
way
that
too much
Peter,
fighting.
the fact that Peter and Pollo didn't have to worry about Surge and still like messed it up is crazy. They were up by 1,000.
They were stuck on the very bottom the whole time.
What if they win Grands? Fortnite's, I don't know. Fortnite's gonna die a little bit because Clicks already said once he wins, he's gonna quit. So he'll definitely stop grinding as much, and that'll definitely, it'll take a toll on Fortnite. I think Fortnite will, I don't know.
Well, he said that, but once you win and you get that taste,
But that's the only thing he really needs. He got a creator code. He's made millions. He's 21. I mean, IRL, when he does IRL streams, he looks like he has fun with Lacey. I mean, I do think he would be an IRL streamer. I don't know. But Dad, you even said leaving out on a win is the best way.
oh, 100%.
So, I mean,
Always best.
I feel like Clicks would do that, though. That's like the last, maybe FNCS, maybe? I don't know. Clicks has said that a lot of times, though.
We are back.
Okay, now we're talking.
Really
Here
quickly,
we go.
I said lobby list. What I meant was standings. In case you're just tuning in, you've missed the fact that Clicks and Hicks got 2 back-to-back victory royales.
Yes,
in the
sir!
major finals lobby. Now, I told you that you would be shocked. Now, remember, after game 2, we're like, Clicks and Hicks should be in first place, right? Well, you know what's crazy? They are kind of in first place right now. As we bring up the standings.
Uh-oh.
But interestingly enough, Kelly,
What?
we are actually tied currently.
210 to 210?
Golden Rapid decided, you know what we're gonna do?
Yo,
this
I'm back
last
here with
game?
you, bro.
We're gonna
Yo,
get
Clicks just won
scores
last.
with
That's 'cause
11
'cause they have 20
eliminations,
to their
and here
9.
we are.
Oh, jeez.
Scores are tied.
Clicks and Higgs just won back-to-back.
You're asking how, but between 9 and 20 eliminations, that right there is a 44-point difference. And if we look at their average placement, yes, Clicks and Higgs do have a 2.33
Can you
average
add me
placement,
real quick?
but
Fast,
Golden
fast,
Rapid
fast.
are right behind them with a 5.67 average placement. So we talked about it. We'll talk about it again, that it doesn't just need one facet of your game to do well. You can't just grab a bunch of eliminations, or you can't just grab a bunch of wins. You have to be able to do both, and that is what Cold and Rapid are doing. They're making sure that they are making it to the end game every single time. For some reason, someone's giving them the mythic reloader, and this is what is allowing them to just have so much damage and so much control on the low ground.
So maybe
teams
that mythic
are on
does
high ground, like
definitely
Clicks,
help.
is not even able to get any eliminations.
Ew. Oh my gosh.
Disgusting.
Rapid fending off, winning. 1v2 there on low gun. I didn't even catch that. But as you can see there, when we actually tuned into Rapid, when that solo clutch started, they were on 180 points when Cold went down. So Rapid himself, just being a solo in the end game, picking up 1v2s like that, picked up 30 points to put them on
Where's Peter?
210. So an incredible
he's fifth.
performance right there
Yep.
from Rapid. To kind
Dang.
of keep them at the top.
I thought he was off that.
And that was the game that we were calling out for, right? Like right before this game, we were saying, we're kind of waiting for that big pop-off Cold and Rapid game, and they just had it, right? And it's enough to go ahead and tie up first. We have a competition on our hands that is so crazy. Man, even Agers and Ritual right now holding on. And I think what's crazy too, if you look in 5th place, Peterbot and Pollo, right, we've kind of continued to see Pete and Pollo get in the situation where one of them is left solo. But even in these tough situations, they're only 60 points behind. Like, this isn't like, hey, first place is like 100 points behind or like over 100. Like, we saw what one good game can do for Cold and Rapid, right? Peterbot and Pollo, they just need that one game. And then suddenly, like, that gap closes, right?
Yeah, Peterbot and Poyo right now are kind of just, I think they're failing from too much success. They're doing too much on the mid ground right now, and that's kind of putting them into these a little bit of rough positions because they're being so
Let's
aggressive.
go,
because
Clicks and
they're
Higgs.
looking around
Yes,
all the
sir,
different
bro.
angles on
They
the
won
mid ground.
back
They're
to
getting
back,
kind of, like, chopped
but
up.
I'm
They're getting
scared
pulled
that
back so
Clicks,
that they're ending
like,
up being a solo over
like
and
I'm
over
scared
again.
that Peter and
And
Poyo are
it's
gonna
Peterbot, and if anyone can run a
are
solo
going
game,
to
it's
try to
gonna be
fight them
him.
off spawn,
Eventually, you are
game
gonna need to be
6
a
or
full
game
duo
5,
going into the end game right now. And I
or
think
they're
that is
gonna
just
try to
a
fight
slight
Clicks and
issue that
Higgs
we're
on
having
height.
with Peterbot
Clicks and
Poyo.
Higgs
But
on
I say
height,
that,
they're gonna
if
be
you look
targeted.
Historically, Peterbot and Poyo are a day 2 team. They're already climbing up the leaderboard, Vivid. So although they might not be having the first 3 games that they want, it is definitely not the end for this duo.
Yeah, I think the larger theme here of the fact that still towards the top of our leaderboard, even like the top 10, it still feels like an incredibly close competition, even though we just had, over the course of 3 games, a team win 2 of those games. So crazy stuff kind of happening over here on NA. Every single team, every one of our top teams is picking up points some way, somehow, and they're keeping themselves in the fight.
Oh my gosh, dude. Viv, talk to me about the damage numbers right now. You looked up a
this is
stat.
cool.
I love you're the stat guy. Hit me with these stats right now. Oh man.
Over the course of the first 3 games, this is how our damage ratios are kind of breaking down. Clicks and Higgs individually both find themselves in first and second place, which I just think is crazy because going into game number 3 right here, it kind of panned out like this as well.
Clicks in
It was like
first,
5
Higgs
points.
on
I was like,
second,
oh my gosh, I want to take a look at
Peter
the
in
damage
third.
ratio
Wow.
after game 3.
I feel like typical
God
gamer
damn.
would
His
honestly
damage
do better than
ratio
Pete and Poyo.
increased somehow after game number 3. And if
They're
you
not
remember how
doing
game
bad.
number
They're
1 and
still
game
they're in
number 2 kinda
5th.
panned out, how
So
many people were going up for
I mean,
how many
the
people
problem
were
with the
fighting them
point
for it,
system is
and they
like
still
kills
had,
really
these
do matter.
incredibly positive
And
damage
if you
ratios.
get
Again,
kills
game number
and
3,
some
that
placement,
one, yeah,
you're
it's kinda
like
justifiable
you're right
because,
there.
we talked about how nobody looked up to
Like
those high guns, so it
if
makes sense
Pete
that they
wins
didn't
a
really take that
game,
much
if
damage,
Pete
but
wins this
those
next
guys
game,
are
like
playing
he'll be
super good.
in like
That's just-
second.
that's
It just
wild
depends.
to me
Like
because we would talk
it just
so
depends.
highly of Cold back when he would get like a 3.0 damage.
Also,
ratio.
why are
That
we
was
hating on
almost
typical
unheard of.
gamer?
And yes, we are only halfway through. I'm sure those numbers are going to be adjusted as the tournament goes on, but absolutely incredible showing from Clicks.
Yeah, and I think if we could just get nitpicky for like a second, right? And this is kind of like we're
gosh.
kind of like talking about this a little bit before break, but yes, we love that they're getting the victory royales, right? But we're not hitting those like Elim thresholds that we need to be seeing, right? That's why
Yeah,
Cold
just
and
like
Rapid
he's
suddenly
saying, like
shoot
Clicks
up
and
the
Higgs are
standings, right?
winning,
Because remember, we
but
have that extra point,
those
Kelly, and it
kills,
doesn't-
like
again, it doesn't sound like a lot. 1 more point, okay, big deal. But these Elims, they will very quickly stack up, especially if you hit double digits.
I
yeah.
mean, when you consider 1 point is, I said 25% before last time I was wrong. 33% increase is a huge stat increase for any number. And of course, when it's eliminations, when there are teams that focus on eliminations, having you just eventually just go up to them and be like, hey, that tournament that you just did, let's give you 33% more points for your eliminations. And if you look at some of these Div Cup finals, if you have it in the format for grand finals where it's 4 points per elimination, it would be very different teams in the top of our leaderboard.
Yeah. Zeke's greedy, man. He wants more. He's like, yeah, looks like I got 2 wins. I want Elims. Like, dude.
Don't, why are you putting my, you know what, Casters help. Just take it away.
I mean, this is crazy, bro.
Yeah,
And
I'll
I'm
give
super
credit to
excited,
Clicks
bro,
and Higgs. I think
because
we're
this
watching
next
the
game is
best
gonna
team
happen
as far as
soon.
positioning
I can't wait to see what happens this game.
decision-making, going
Clicks and
against the
Higgs
best
win
team
back to
at
back.
eliminating and running things on a low and
They
mid
do
ground
gotta
right
lock
now.
in tomorrow
Again, it's
too.
only
I
3
think they're
games
gonna do
right
great
because-
today.
but the
They're gonna be in a
idea
great
to
position for
is
tomorrow.
gonna take shape for these duos.
I think
Yeah,
they
it
take the
almost
break for
seems
the
like
whole night
Clicks and Higgs is they are going
and
to
then wake up
win
tomorrow
this major one
and
or
lock in.
lose this major one
I
for
think they're gonna be
something
fine
they
today.
did or didn't do
I mean,
in their
obviously, they
own
still
right.
gotta
have full
play these
control
last couple
over
games,
their own
but
destiny here. A little
I
bit of a
still
passive
think,
game plan here. That's how
you
they're
know,
able to get
tomorrow
to the
will
victory
really
monster,
show,
and
like-
they're tied
Like
for
today,
first
they're
place. I
doing
don't
great.
wanna cause any
Tomorrow's
kind
gonna
of
know if they are
speed
going
of
to
danger.
win
We're already done with
Grands.
half of day number 1. We're jumping into game 4 to start the second half.
Here we go, game 4.
This game 4 is going to be an important one. It's going to be the solidifying factor of how did you do generally here on the day. All you need is a good 4 games to be very much in a race to contest a championship weekend. And we are already 3 down. Well, one thing's for certain though, Jacob, no one's playing super perfect just yet, right? Every duo so far has a little bit more to be desired in one area or another.
I was gonna say Sniper Dude and Avenger reaching on over to this side of the map to try to take on Jack and Enpen. Avenger and Sniper, dude, they were landing on the eastern side of the map, almost triple contesting their drop. I thought they were maybe going to make their way on over towards Wonky Land, because that is where they have been playing time in and time out, whether if it's a divisional cup or the actual finals lobby.
They know if they go Wonky Land, they are cooked. They know that.
Paper and Rezi. Split drop here. You can see the two differences. Top of the mountain, inside of the house, and Teeks already getting a good amount of damage onto Paper as he tries to make his way down.
Yeah, great amount of damage right there being secured. Rezi just opting to back up and get to the usual plan here for the loots. The opponents back off as well. Anyway, Clix takes on the other side. Still, so far, no team has decided to give them any friction just yet. Everyone's somewhat sticking to their strategy, sticking to the game plan, if you will. Just a quick highlight, though. We're at the Sanctuary. Nice little elim here for Sinwatch.
Got Chimp over here on this side of the map. This side of the map is just so stacked. Even if you're uncontested, it's never easy to make your way on out. Chimp sees a battle in the distance, easily third parties in for a good amount of damage, forcing Ruins to go down low. Catman getting knocked all together. The team actually officially eliminated thanks to more than one team looking on over in this direction. It's not slowing down either. Zypta, Void making their way on over, hearing some of the noise, and they're just trying to figure out what is it all about.
I was going to say, remember, Zypta and Void were just putting some shots onto Paper and Rezi there, so interesting to see how many teams are willing to quickly rotate towards the Sanctuary to get in on the action here. In the end, though, everything seems to settle down now, Jacob.
Ooh,
what's this?
Different approach. You know, they must have been listening to the stream. Zeke was like, I want elims. Kelly's saying 4 points per.
Clix and Higgs fighting. They know they need
points.
points.
It's going to be. Clix and Higgs say,
Clix and Higgs know they need points.
Things have been decided by less than one elimination. The majors have proven.
Oh, they're going after this. Wow.
Last year, Monster were all decided.
Oh, this is interesting. Clix and Higgs trying to go for some fights.
Proving that it could be
why did we do this?
Here, even with 2 wins, tied in first place.
I honestly think they get more kills in endgame. Oh, this team backs away. Wow. 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 I don't know if they know that, but they just, wow. That's crazy. That's aura right there. Like, they straight ran away because they knew it was Clix and Higgs. That's crazy.
Quite super important. But more importantly is they recognize, hey, the zone's right on top of us. So they kind of pull this card out of the books there. They love to see it. Back on over to Veno and Curve. Also staying relatively dynamic. No lurk plays for this one. This is another just full-on clash happening here in front of us. Great tag so far. Curve thinking about going in for the shockwave there for a second. Oh, those are some big tags. Wouldn't be surprised if now's the time.
Yeah, I was about to say, now it's Shockwave. Shockwave, just thinking in my head, Curve does exactly that. Shockwave's over. Close the distance, reunites with Veno, trying to take 2 different approaches. Electro just trying to hold him off, but the persistence is there, not only from one, but both of these players. But Veno goes down. He enters into the box, 2v1. Electro and Ult get that elimination. Curve with no
Veno goes down early. Wow. That's the first game he actually went down. They were doing great on their kills,
they're coming in
but
quick. Tyler and
in
Chance
game 4,
moving
they
in fast
unfortunately
as well
went
here.
down early.
Curve, though, doesn't get caught out by the visual audio cue there while he was eating pizzas. Lucky for him. And look, he actually had to ditch what was left of the box just to stay low here. Take a look, though. We haven't seen Veno lose a fight like this here. Not today. He's been winning these for the most part, but Electro...
Yeah, just like he said, Veno has been winning a lot of his off spawns, but finally caught up to him.
Replay Monster, I saw them stealing his pizza. Curve, man, how can you let them do that? But hey, sometimes you just gotta let them run away with it, or at least think they can, so that way you can hopefully get Veno back into the game. Consistency is definitely going to be key throughout the weekend. Yes, we do have our top 2, but you see a little bit of a gap start to open up from 3rd and down, and honestly, that's going to continue to be the case here for top 13 overall is what's going to make it to the Summit LAN. So you see not just first place FNCS, not just the mountains of prize money, but just to keep your journey to globals alive.
You know, we were all curious on how Rituals and Aegir Storm Surge strategy was going to work out in the early game. So far, we haven't quite seen their definitive route But we are seeing a little sample of it. Ager's just playing that high ground right now, looking to tag any teams in the general area who are boxing and or rotating around, and they seem to be playing their drop very deep into the storm, and so far it's working for them, right? As they're finding themselves in the top 5. Peterbot, Boyo, different strat for them now.
Yeah, they're doing a
last game, they were
wow, that's interesting.
boots on the ground, keying into boxes and teams anywhere in the vicinity.
What's interesting is Peterbot made a surge tower and is sticking to that, which he's referring to height, which makes me think when Clix and Higgs try going for this height, Heat and Poyo are going to make sure they're going to con that height. I still think Clix and Higgs are probably going to win that height off spawn though, because they've been winning them like all day.
Doesn't matter. Peterbot's not trying. Guess what? Divisional cups roll around. The same type of conversation continues to start up. And guess what? Peterbot shows up. He shuts down the talk. But now that FNCS is actually here, we got Clix and Higgs proving that, hey, maybe teams were calling it a little early, but they could be right with the way they've been playing so far, but you have to watch out. Not only those 2 teams I mentioned, but Cold and Rapid as well. Rapid has been on an insane hot streak to start the year. He's even had a 2nd place in
What's crazy is Cold this game has a green shotgun, but every single game he's had a mythic or he's had a legendary. I wonder if this is going to impact him or not.
Reputational like Codes where it's like, don't worry, he's going to show up and do what he needs to do is actually just incredible. He is doing it so far here today. Again, we're only 3 games in. It would be silly of us to call it, right? There's a lot of Fortnite ahead of us, and I'm sure we're going to see tons of adjustments, especially not only for the last 2 games, but leaning into tomorrow. Who's going to pick up their replays and come up with some new strategies? We will, of course, have to see that. Visual and Braids continuing somewhat of the pace, if you will, right? Game 1 was a victory. Obviously, the last 2, not quite so, but they've still managed to stay very much in the competition so far. They're looking like a shoo-in potentially for the land spot.
Yeah, I think that's one of the benefits of their drop spot here. A little bit of a split drop just outside of Dark Dominion. You see the Fun Factory, the Carmine Lodge. It's kind of the split in between the 2. No matter where the zone actually pulls, they set up on that mountain, because whether it pulls north, south, east, or west, chances are teams are going to have to rotate through them, or at least the paths where they can get shots. And we tune into Curve, still forced to
XX, Clix and Higgs fighting people that are in Wonky Land.
Curve is just left with very
Let's
few
see
choices
this.
here.
Let's
Avenger
watch.
and Sniper Dude. I talk about them possibly making their return to Wonky Land. It wasn't at the start of this game, but they're still making their presence known over
This
here.
is interesting.
Clix already looking to
They don't pull
secure some
zone
elimination.
and there's someone at
Nothing
Wonky
has
Land.
come of
This
it
is
just
interesting.
yet. There's a team there. Obviously, Higgs is eyeing them up. I'm pretty sure they recognize there's that duo behind that wall there. Clix, though, has a lot to be desired when it comes to the overall loadout.
See, Clix is trying to get the mats and Higgs is trying to make sure that team don't do anything.
Comes the big super pad set up right now for Acorn and Bolts.
What?
There's 2
They're
teams
playing-
involved.
Is there?
Yeah.
Rotate through the dead side of the storm. They actually want to opt to stay in the storm. You can see the marker coming out there.
Yeah, and because we saw what Clix and Higgs, Sniper Dude, Avenger, even saw Cole and Madden all converging over towards Wonky Land. This is going to make it essentially a free rotation towards the western edge of the map. All the teams that could land those shots are already busy, focused on entirely something else. Just trying to stay alive, trying to get surge, so we should see Acorn and Bolts in a good position this game around. And better late than never in the second half of the day, trying to play catch up to what's been going on around you throughout the game so far. Listen and Aloe, same thing so far, 16 points. Half of those coming in this game alone, contested towards the new Sanctuary. They're able to pick up those 2 eliminations, and sometimes you just need a big moment like that to get things going.
As we're watching this, I'm still thinking about Curve, who was sitting at the reboot card while Electro and company were just lurking, holding it down. Talk about that team. You can see in the distance here, Threats actually putting down some shots onto them as they thought they were slick hiding out there.
Nice sky base by
and Veer,
Threats.
They might have just saved Veno's tournament here if that distraction's enough for Electro and crew to have to make a move.
Luckily still relatively early, 1 tick, storm damage, plenty of time to decide. See, listen,
16 points is crazy, bro. Y'all gotta pick it up.
Say from this side of the map, you still do got a couple more over towards New Sanctuary, but they're just kind of making a pit stop here, healing up before they make their rotation on out. And you see the zip line, they're not necessarily going to carry that into the end of the game. They're just going to use it for right now. That way they can make this rotation just a little bit easier. As Penta spots an opportunity in the distance, he immediately goes after it.
This is crazy. Curve is actually 300 damage above the Surge somehow. Still as a solo, it looks like he might have been putting up a strong defense against Zyfta there for a second, and now contemplating if it's time to go for the reboot, but of course he's going to make a quick pit stop here for the Machine. See if he can pick up some heals to go in and sustain himself here in the Storm. I mean, odds. What do you think the odds are looking like right now for Curve here?
I believe in Curve. I believe in Curve. I think he's the new era when it comes to NA Central. He's had some big moments in the past, even before teaming with Veno. It's just Neo, it's just lurking around. You see Noisy, you see Listen, you see Aloe. And so, yeah, you might think they have to go to zone, but for Curve, he's still being hunted down. Look at it in the mini-map. They might have spotted him out. You hear the shockwaves going
wow,
on. First shot's
that's
gonna
crazy.
connect on the Curve. The second one as well, less
dead.
than 5 HP.
Wow,
Time is
GG's,
not on
man.
his side to get the medkits off. Neo and
They
Noisy.
really chased
I'm
them.
not sure where they got a glimpse of Curve, but they really made that little moment count.
Yeah, Curve needed to just overbuild right there, get a couple splashes out and try to survive. But unfortunately, he couldn't put up the offense needed, and they fall in 10th positioning now. That's going to be a really tough one to deal with now as we're in game 4, so we're getting deep into the tournament day 1 here. Rapid, on the other hand, just kind of healing up right now. Still haven't secured any new points here, nothing fresh earned.
I think that's the difference between Cold and Rapid and some of the other teams is they not only get all the gold, they don't necessarily wait to access the vending machine. They buy their med kits early, so it's much safer for them to sit up there and wait the storm out before they start to rotate in.
What I've been seeing lately is that the Surge is up to 400 to 500. It's definitely higher. But
everyone learned from the first game.
Yep. And the second, I feel like. But it still is very early, and there is going to be more tags. So let's see.
But at least they keep themselves moving.
Sphinx dropped here on this moving zone right now. Smuz is getting chased here. They're looking to try to finish this
Peter and
one up.
Poyo trying to fight up by
their healing, but they definitely have
643
influence in it.
Surge.
You
They
can
are
see the
great on
loot just
Surge,
sitting here.
trying to fight.
The lobby all kind of focusing in here and now. Poyo and Peter
They're trying to lock
be careful,
in.
though, not to end up like game 2, fully focused by the remaining
What I'm
lobby.
realizing is like they're
Muzz
still on the low
barely
ground,
skates
so
out of
maybe
But, you know,
just
I wanted
maybe
to say one thing about
Peter
Poland
doesn't go for height
last game.
today,
They had no elims
and
in
just
going
something
into that
happens.
game, and then
From
all of a
Muzz
sudden they just took
140
off,
below.
rocketing their way straight up. So that is going to be where they shine the most so far. This game is looking exactly like that.
51
Meanwhile,
below.
Angels and Ritual, though,
Unfortunately,
taking
some
are
people
50 damage below
can't
right now.
get
Yeah,
above
first
Surge.
thing that popped in my mind as we tune in, uh-oh. Not where I expected this team to be going into FNCS. Constant struggles here at 4 Surge, below the threshold for sure. Depending on where the next zone goes, they might have to go up the side of the mountain, but they see solo players trying to work their way in. They do land a couple of shots, but I was gonna say not necessarily enough to get above, but they do jump 65 damage above that threshold. Not enough to continue to hold that confidence, but for now it's them grabbing a breath of fresh air, letting the lobby kind of settle. They have almost a max pull, just like a few other teams, so they're just trying to pinpoint where they're going to start using those shockwaves to make it in.
So a little glimpse of CDZ and Raven still in the game right now. This is their first mid-game that we've seen them develop in. But eyes are on Muzz right now. 40 damage above, no Sphinx in sight.
40 damage above. He's above, but he really needs to lock in on that Surge.
It's not a 0-point game. It's a big shockwave here, though. He's got to find himself in a position to actually take a fight or something. But no, look at this. Clicks and Higgs. Higgs is down.
Uh-oh. Clicks, Higgs is dead, and Clicks is
he's got the damage, but
like
he
105
needs a siphon.
HP. Clicks just gets a kill. If he gets that siphon, he will be 200 health.
Muzz kind of go crazy as we tune in.
Clicks just got the
Higgs is all the way
siphon.
down.
Oh,
You can see
Clicks can clutch
in his
this up
struggle here.
and
He's
get
already
a
picked up the
decent
elimination.
amount of
No, he
points.
does not
So
make
close.
it over
It
in
is
time.
all
Higgs
good.
goes down.
Listen,
That kind
this
of makes
is
a lot of
fine.
pressure onto Clicks.
I promise you,
Top
this is
34
fine.
Monster.
As long as
Placement
he
points
gets
have
some
yet
placement
to
off this
set
game,
in, so
uh-oh,
this
he is
only a
getting...
4-point game so
Wow.
far for Clix and that one elimination. You see he's looking for more
He's
opportunities. No
getting
shield, no
keyed.
HP, not even a shockwave
He does
to
not.
boost himself forward.
Clix
So he has
and
to burn
Higgs
through his
die
material
very
before he's
early,
eventually
unfortunately. Wow,
taken
that is
down.
sad.
The back-to-back
That is sad.
will not be a back-to-back-to-back.
Yeah, and that was
That
crazy
is
for him to
sad.
get the Siphon right there
Wow.
to kind of stay in the game. It was looking like there was hope for a moment, but it's just
Yeah.
not going to be enough. So down goes Clix very early in this game before the positioning gets to get
all
rewarded
good.
for the rest of the lobby.
all
Cold and Rapid have a chance now to
Yeah.
break away. Everyone else inside the top 10 has
It's all
a chance
good,
now
guys.
to jump
All
up.
good.
Peter Bob,
Listen, we
Pollo
just
need to
need to
take
lock
advantage
in
of this
this next
opportunity.
game.
Buzz still holding on.
We're gonna
Hey,
see how
let's
bad
count it
that
down.
really
He's at
hurt.
roughly top 6th or 7th there himself.
It's gonna be a big moment right here. About Foil just gearing up, ready, and I was just kind of thinking with Clix and Higgs down, it's not only Cold and Rapid in which you were talking about, it's Agers and Ritual as well. It's about a 50-point gap between that
50
first
point
and
gap,
second place tie.
so
Agers and Ritual are sitting
hopefully
in third
Clix and
place,
Higgs can,
with only a 4-point game for Clix and Higgs,
come
they're
back
gonna try to
on the
close that
5th game.
gap, hopefully try to take that top 2 spot after this game. Acorn and Bolts, a couple of speed bumps in their journey so far, but they're looking like here in the second half of the day, they finally figured out how to make things work, rotating underneath the bridge, but you can see not a lot of material or resources left on the Agers.
This is what they do best, though, finding eliminations right now. These big, pivotal moments here where placement points and elims are going to start propelling you up the standings. Cold and Rapid at the front side of zone, nothing to worry about right now. They're
Cold
going
and
to
Rapid
surely
there.
be breaking away here if they keep getting this amount
Okay,
of runway
wow,
to work
Cold
with.
just found a Cold shotgun.
Waves
I
deep
feel
into
like
the
Cold
storm
always
there.
has a
It
really
was
good
worth it. He
shotgun.
picks up a bunch of
I don't know
extra
how many times
heals,
I've said that, but
material, and
I think I've
everything
said
else
it every
now. So
game. Like, he always
Rapid and
has a
Cold,
really
like
good
we
shotgun.
said, just at the start of this have proven to be the strongest low ground team so far here in the lobby, and they're not switching up the strategy at all right now.
Yeah, they get the front side of the zone and immediately return back, starting to build up, giving them time to work with. Even with Acorn and Bolts trying to go ahead and shockwave over, they have a little bit of elevation advantage. Acorn and Bolts going to be stuck underneath. Quick couple of shots going to fire off in their direction. They're going to hold their position. 336, though, above the damage threshold. No real reason to peek, but they're just trying to build that cushion. 4 players go down. Storm Surge no longer in this game. And for Agers, it's not necessarily Storm Surge he has to worry about. It's the lack of HP.
Wow.
It's the zero
Wow, he's
builds. He
very
needs
low.
a miracle here.
He is,
I
yeah,
still
he is
saw
very
Buzz
low.
playing solo
That's
as well right
not
now. Look at
good.
this, talk about solos. Pollo is by himself.
Pollo's by
in
himself.
this end game right now.
Okay.
So close to making
So,
it out the edge of zone.
this
He
is
gonna
what I
make
see
it.
right
Could
now.
find elimination here potentially, but no, not enough
Wait.
shots inside the magazine there. Still though, does
This
need
could
to splash
actually be
himself here,
really
goes for
good.
the material first and gets shot while going for it. That little bit of shield
Because
being the
Pollo's
difference
not
maker
gonna
keep him
get
in the
a
game
lot,
right now.
unless
He knows the danger
maybe.
ahead of him.
If he doesn't get a
Forcing
lot of
himself to
points
build
this
right now,
game,
use the shockwave to give himself that unlimited stamina here.
yeah,
now,
they didn't
too.
get many
Agers
points that
falls on
game,
the left. Boya
which
falls shortly
means
behind them.
they're
And the
gonna
runway,
be
the
like
opportunity to
lower,
catch up
and so is
comes
Clix,
to a close
but
there, and things
Cold
remain
Rapid,
competitive now
what you need to
on the
worry about
standings.
right now.
Meanwhile, Bolts and Acorn get off the low ground into the high ground here now.
It's a good chance for Bolts and Acorn to play a little catch-up. Coming into this game, Monster, they were at 9th place, 126 points. No Clix and Higgs in this lobby. For the past couple games, it's been them going for high ground, which opens up an opportunity for anybody else if they're daring enough to take it. Reeton Cooper almost picking up an elimination. You can see the desperation in their materials, almost fresh
Cooper is
out. You
very
see
low.
Reed going down, just kind of leaves Cooper by himself, trying to hide in that mist. Make sure
King
no one can see him.
something is
Maybe
dead.
pop off a big shot while he can. Cold and Rapid,
Wow,
though, this
Cold
is their
just
chance
got
to extend
obliterated.
their
He has
lead
4
in
HP.
first place. They were tied up when this game started. Now they're almost at 250 plus points.
Big pressure coming in from Acorn up above. That's almost the decision maker to send Cold back to the lobby.
I want to know what happened to
Pressure's coming in. They
Higgs.
see the
I'm
miss
not
as
gonna
well, so
lie.
that's
Yeah.
why the shots are focusing
They don't
in
really
on
show
them.
Clix. They don't show
Bolts and
fights
Acorn are
like
recognizing
with
this
Clix
is their
and Higgs or Pete and
immediate
Pollo.
competition right here. This is the threat in the lobby. Who's daring to hold the second height? That's the team they want to send back. Great tracking so far. As now we get to see Braids and visuals in the bottom right. So far, so good for them. They are slowly creeping their way back up the standings here. From that game 1 victory royale.
Yeah,
to a
someone has height,
strong
and
game 4 right
I
here.
wonder if they'll
They're
go for it
positioned
next
very
game
well.
too.
They're just a couple elims away from being inside the top 3 now. Meanwhile, Jacob, look at this. Cooper is by himself here.
Yep, Global
Cooper
champion here.
by himself
Fortunate
trying to
enough
clutch
for
up
the
some points.
situation.
Wow, that
Good
was some
damage,
great.
unfortunate enough,
That was
not
some
enough
crazy
to get
tags.
the elimination. Would have been helpful for the Siphon. Wager Slepsy getting approached. They're forced to scramble outside of the box. They go 2 different directions though. So they don't necessarily have the strength in numbers anymore. Slepsy gets tagged up. Wagers goes down into the wrong
Restart
box. He
Grand?
goes, and
Yo.
what a perfect elimination
I'm
for Cole.
not
Only
restarting
thing he was
Grand,
missing
brother.
there was the HP, and
You
now
could
he
VOD
picks up the
review it
Siphon.
or something.
Looking for more Slepsy in his path along with Veer. They get good damage. No eliminations just yet, but they're staying persistent, making sure to push them further and further outside
If
of
you
the
got-
Blake and
The
Preston are
problem, if you were
33rd.
hoping
Huh?
Gold and Rapper were gonna fall early, well, guess what?
Well,
They
don't
made
tell
it
me what
deep
clicks and
into
eggs
the
are
top
in.
10. Now
Bucky's
Rapid is gonna fall
29.
here.
No on X?
Clutches
What?
get the full elimination there
What
too.
happened to Clicks?
And the
Clicks and
Siphon
Higgs
keeps him in
died.
the game.
It's
Meanwhile,
a
back to Acorn's
movement on
perspective,
X.
just 30 mats now. That's not a winning
I don't
amount
know.
of material
Yeah, I
just
don't know,
yet.
brother.
So don't count just
Clicks.
in.
So Higgs unfortunately died, and shortly after Clicks died, unfortunately they are out. Peter and Poyo are out, and Acorn has height right now, and I'm wondering if Acorn will go for height next game, which could mess up Clicks.
Veer and Cole down below. Their clash, and Bolts is ready to steal away the elimination. Remember,
What I think, I don't think, I think
Clicks
Clicks and Higgs can do. I think Clicks and Higgs can win next game. You know, they didn't die because of height; they died because of something else, and I think they can easily fix that. But yeah, Clicks and Higgs are unfortunately out, and so
his only chance to make it in towards the zone. He gets coned off again,
basically
and
they
that
said it
opportunity
was
goes out the window. Acorn and Bolts have finally woken up here in the second half of the day to take the VR.
And if you was looking at the standings, you wouldn't have even thought they
oh,
were in
pros
the
are saying
race at
restart Grants.
128 coming
Read
into this
that.
game. Acorn and Bolts do it
Yeah.
in game number
Clicks
4
would be
there,
so
Zeke.
mad.
You see,
Acorn and
you
Bolts.
see it. Every time you think like, oh, it's all good.
Yeah, nah, they wouldn't
It just
reset
takes one
Grand
game,
unless like
a
something
single
really bad
game,
happened.
and we knew going into that game that 210 was tied at first.
Yeah,
They
that's
end
crazy.
with 211, so we know they're probably going to be in the top 5, if not even higher up the leaderboard. Oh my gosh, Acorn and Bolts, let's go. Like the casters point out, they are alive. Guys, this is a live situation. Everything is going crazy.
It is going quite crazy right now, but I do love to see Acorn and Bolts, as we heard Jacob say, finally wake up right now. And it did seem like in that game, a lot of our top teams were struggling a little bit, potentially going down.
Yeah.
So that top 5, as you're saying, Zeke, it's quite possible, Vivid.
Can we watch how Clicks and
Crazy stuff.
Higgs
Obviously,
died?
we did see.
I know how
unfortunately,
Clicks died, but
our
can we
top
watch how
teams,
Higgs
those
died?
that
They
are
didn't even show.
typically found on the high ground
What?
over here on this region did go down early, so
I'll read Fortnite's
good
statement to you.
recognition there for
Yep.
Acorn and Bolts
Go
to
to it
realize,
now.
hey, listen,
Yeah.
high ground
On
might be our
stream.
opportunity to kind
Let's
of
hear
go
the
up there.
chat.
As soon as
So
they secured
Fortnite
high ground, they never
We realize
lost
that there is a
it for
legitimate
glimpse. So
confusion
great
whether
work,
Fortnite
Acorn
competitive
Bolts to
rules
kind of go
allow
ahead
for the
and take
use
the
of
high
drop
ground.
calculators,
And I
which
gotta
have
tell you, this
evolved
game,
from being statistic
like
websites
casters are kind of
to
calling out,
real-time
all the
tools connected to
solos,
the game
everybody
you're
was
in.
kind of tearing
The
themselves
confusion
apart
stems
off on the
from
low
the
ground.
current
I don't know
phrasing
what happened
of
to this
our
lobby, but it's like everybody
prohibition
ran out of
using
mats
any
super,
kind
super
of
fast.
cheating
There was even
device
like a
program or
minute
similar
left
cheating
to this
method to
game
gain a
before the
competitive
storm
advantage
fully
from our
closed
official
in, and the final
FNCS
elimination comes in.
rules.
Like this was
We'll
a
be updating this to
win here for
reinforce
Acorn and
these
Bolts,
devices, programs, and
ending themselves
methods
there
are
with
prohibited
211
if they have
points
any
after
access to
that
real-time
game. That one
state
is
of
gonna
the game
put them
being
in the
played,
race.
i.e. through memory, screen
Guys.
recordings, screenshots, audio,
I
network
got a
traffic,
sneak
and
peek.
files,
I got a sneak peek.
overlays.
I got a
This
sneak
will
peek.
include
Are you
overlays
guys
that
ready to
feed
find out
real-time
where they
screen
are?
information from the Fortnite client to the competitive
We'll have to wait
advantage
till after
analysis,
this break. When we
whereas
return, we'll
things
take a
like
look at the
informational web
standings.
pages
They're
that
in the
don't
top
access the
5,
current game state
but you're
are
going to be
okay.
surprised.
Given
yet
the
again.
confusion
See you
on
soon.
this, disqualification of these players was a mistake, and the DQs will be removed from their record. The bad news, due to the tournament timing, the lobbies are now full for this event, and it's too late for them to continue in the current tournament.
So that's
All future use of these tools is banned if the tools have access to game state.
so Arc.
Wow.
So
Not Arc.
yeah,
Yonzo, Josh.
yeah, they
all
got to
of
be
them,
really mad.
They've got to be so mad. right
That's why
now.
people are saying restart Grands.
Wow.
That's sad. That is sad.
Hey, Uga's live reaction to getting disqualified from the FNCS 1 hour before
They're not gonna restart, bro. Fortnite just made their official thing. They should, but they're not. That sucks. that's the problem with Fortnite though. They're having so many issues. It came out like what, a day ago? 2 days ago? Like 2 days ago it started happening. They can't fix it in 2 days is just crazy. They're $1 billion company. And then same with the Reload Cup. You can't fix the Reload Cup. I don't know. Fortnite doing this many things. I'm always thinking Fortnite, I don't know. Them doing all of this feels like Fortnite's gonna die soon. Realistically, if that happened to me, bro, I would stop playing the game. I'm not even trolling. I feel how bad those pros are. What if the players refuse to play? They wouldn't, though. The people that are playing right now, they're not going to refuse to play. I think Fortnite's going to die, though. Their player count's going to go down because, yesterday, the Reload tournament, why wasn't that working? And then this is 2 days, and they can't fix a ban on the people they banned? I mean, that doesn't make sense. They're $1 billion company. Come on. That is definitely pretty annoying. If I was one of those pros, bro, I'd quit the game. I'm not even trolling. Because that definitely sucks. That's definitely weird. But they're not going to restart Grands for that. They already made their official announcement. The only thing is that, now everyone else can play. The movement going big, not gonna lie. What?
It's not changing.
Huh?
They're not doing anything for this one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, bro, we're just gonna have to suck it up. I'm not gonna lie.
Welcome back, Fortnite fam. So, Acorn and Bolts got themselves a victory royale in game number 4. Now, as we called out, we knew going into the game 210 was tied at first, right? So they end that game with 211 points. They are
just show the leaderboard, come on.
But it's just a little more
okay, let's see. I'm locked in.
Than that, because you see, they're currently in 4th place.
Clix is still in 3rd. Okay.
Clix and Higgs, even though they had
Peterbot is in 6th. Okay, I like this.
A handful of points. Visual and Braids in that game as well. Managed to find themselves points with a 5th place and 4 elims, and look all the way at the
I don't know
top.
what you're saying, bro.
Cold and Rapid.
We're just gonna have to suck it up. I'm not going.
Oh my gosh, guys, this is as unpredictable as it gets.
That's kind of
insane.
insane.
Visual and Braids, we'll start with them. To come out with a game like this, a 5th place, 4 elims, we're starting to hit that consistency factor right now, Kelly. It's looking really good for them.
Yeah, this is definitely what Visual
Clix is still in 3rd.
is known for. We saw them do this all throughout last
that's good.
year with Aminished. They are doing such a good job with consistency, and especially being able to be consistent on the low ground when you have huge names like Cold and Rapid running through it. They're playing this so smart and so safely, kind of sticking to the back end of front zone.
Clix in 3rd, okay.
Instead of
Peter in
front, which is where
6th,
all
okay.
the chaos
Cold
is.
in 1st.
Gotta talk about it. Cold
Okay, not
and
terrible.
Rapid now with a 51
Not terrible, like I said.
lead over 2nd place. And you said that we couldn't have predicted it, but I got a tweet that I sent out earlier or not a tweet, but a text that I sent out earlier that Cold and Rapid are going to end in 1st place in day 1. You all can quote me on
Clip's
that
gonna
right
finish
now,
in
because
no.
Cold and
You're
Rapid,
lying, brother.
honestly, when we
Not gonna
saw
lie. Nope.
how they've been doing during the scrims, some of these solo clutches that Cold's been able to pull out, I knew that he was locked in. And sure enough, Vivid, we are seeing them today. Show
Whoever
everyone
thinks
up.
that, I mean,
You can
that's
say
kind of
that Cold
crazy
maybe
if you
hasn't
think they're
played in
getting
the
fourth.
last
I'm
few
not gonna
months,
lie.
but it doesn't matter because he's playing now.
Yeah, I think the big storyline here in this game is that we did see, going into this game, that Cold and Rapid was tied with Clix and Higgs. With Clix and Higgs kind of going down early, only able to pick up 4 points. This was their big opportunity to go ahead and create some sort of a lead on our leaderboard. And as you can see right there, they picked up that 6th place.
Restart Grant, yeah, bro. I'm not. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they're not gonna restart Grants, brother.
In any of these games, so
I know all y'all are gonna say that, but yeah, they're not gonna restart Grants, bro. It's already the first day's already over. You know, Epic already made their announcement. It's not going to be restarted, brother. Like, it sucks, but I know it's not being restarted. They don't have the time. You got to realize Div Cups are in, like, 2 weeks, or, like, what, a week or two? Yeah, they're in, like, a week or two. Like, they have tournaments already set up. They can't just adjust. I mean, they can adjust it, but it's not fair for any of these people. I know, but maybe we can get a Clix win at least. We already got 2 Clix wins today, though. Clix is doing really good. Clix is doing fine, and I think if they reset the Grand, Clix would do bad. I'm not gonna lie. Peterbot would go after Clix more. You know, different stuff would have happened. They know Clix is a threat. So, it just, Clix would do worse. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like the whole FNCS. No, because people would go after Clix. They know Clix is a threat. Let's say they back it up a week. Let's say it's next week. They're gonna know.
That game as well, which is, you know, another one of those teams that we do expect.
They're not resetting Grand, bro. Zyrex. I'm telling you, Zyrex. You can keep talking, but it's not gonna happen.
But even though they went down early, Peterbot and Pollo, they're still in 6th place right now. So, like Zeke mentioned, one game kind of closed the gap immensely. But right now, about 100.
I don't think he would land on him, but he would go after height, making sure Clix doesn't have height. He would make sure, like, there would be different strategies. Let's say there's a week before Grands, and they know Clix is good at height. People are gonna go after height. Clix would do, I think, worse. Clix are, I don't know, guys. Fortnite already made their announcement. I think they're settling on that. Oh, Dad, here's Higgs' POV. He died the storm. He died the storm. They didn't rotate together. They just didn't rotate right. Yeah, they just didn't rotate right. They played Storm. They never do good. I'm hoping Clix gets his first FNCS win looking good. It does look good, and I do think the same way. I do think Clix deserves an FNCS win. I think he's doing great. He's done great today. He just needs to do great tomorrow. He needs to do better than what he's doing now. Because, like, last game, he could have been in first by a lot. And that would have helped so much, but again, like, we're not all perfect, and you know, it's all good though. I'm excited to see what happens this next game. I want Clix and Higgs to be second by tomorrow. They're in 3rd right now. If they can get second by tomorrow, like, tomorrow's gonna be really good. I'll be live for tomorrow too, probably. Yeah. So it's gonna be fun.
When it comes down to emotion, Ritual and Agers are able to stay cool, calm, and collected. So I think although they might not have had kind of,
it's gonna be interesting tomorrow though, because people do know Clix is a threat, and people are gonna go after that. People know Peterbot and Pollo are not a threat right now, but they could. So they might do something about that, but I don't know. I don't see anyone really worrying about Peterbot until, like, the final 2 games. I do think Peterbot might come back up to, like, 3rd or 2nd, but do I see him getting 1st? No, and it depends on what he places today. Like, these 2 games really have to be good for him to actually, like, do good, I think. Like, either he's going to have to do really good today, or tomorrow he's just going to have to lock in and win games with a lot of kills.
Man, Cold and Rapid are on such a hot streak right now, Monster. I'm not sure what anybody in the lobby has to do to slow them down. They land mid-map. They get a chance at a Mythic. They had Rapid IGLing, who's on the insane streak to start.
Yeah, I heard that. You told me. And Pete 4th. Pete might be 4th or 3rd. Pete's gonna be up there, but I don't see 1st. 1st is not there. And Cold in 1st right now does scare me. Like, Cold could be 2nd. It's either gonna be Clix, Cold. Like, Clix is definitely up there. I'm not gonna lie. I know Vino was doing good, but I don't know if I seen them on the leaderboard. I don't know.
Into the top 5, and this is where it starts to get interesting, Monster. As we said, 2 games left. Where you end on day 1 really plays a part in how you get to play out day 2.
Yeah, no one's played perfect so far, other than Cold and Rapid's incredible level of consistency.
Wow, he instantly killed him. Loki most likely Clix or Cold. I do, yeah. It depends tomorrow, like I said. Like, Clix can be in 5th, and anyone can be in 5th or 6th or 7th. But tomorrow, like, if they win a couple games, boom, they'll get 1st. So it just depends. Like, it could be a couple people. Like, I still think Peterbot has a chance, but he has to really lock in. I think,
putting themselves on
you
the
know,
board here.
Vino was doing good, but he hasn't really made it to end games. If he makes it to end games tomorrow, he might, you know, cook up a third or second.
They're gonna have to find him.
I don't see him getting first, but he'll get something.
Trying to get out. He's hoping to hit the rift here, even if he does. It just puts
Wow,
him in
he
the
got killed
sky
out
right
of the
now.
air. Wow.
Almost looks like Jack's
Bro has
persistence
some
there to
crazy
make sure he
vision, I'm
cleans
not
that
gonna lie.
elimination. That's their second one on the board. And it's gonna be raining loot for a little
By the
bit.
way, guys, if you guys are watching, please hit that subscribe button if you guys are new and like the live. Thank you, guys.
We know that
Yeah, it
this was,
happens
of
a lot.
course, the team that kind of threw
Yeah,
Venom and Curve
day
for a loop
day 2 is good,
after
but
getting
like
Venom early.
anything can happen tomorrow.
Play their game
Not gonna
out,
lie.
but not
And it
exactly
depends
at the
on
pace
what
that they
Clicks and
probably
Higgs decide to
would
do.
like.
If they decide to
Either
like,
way, can Venom and
just
Curve
depends.
find their way back
I
on the
think,
tracks here, push themselves up
you
the
know,
standings?
they're gonna have to do some strategies tomorrow. People, it's a whole night of rest. Like they're gonna, every pro's gonna be able to think. And every pro is going to be talking about how Clicks probably got hype. I'm not going to lie.
Surprisingly well so far.
And because of that, I do
All
think,
you gotta do is keep
you know,
yourselves with
hype
certain
might not be the option every
right?
time.
For some players, it's
Yeah.
for
That got
first
everyone
place. For
banned.
Yeah.
others, it's that
Just
simple
posted that both
top
Peter and Higgs
13.
have it.
And right now, if you look at the
Oh.
leaderboard, there's still plenty of games left to go, of course. It's Aviv and King
Oh.
at 136 points, so they're not far off from that threshold, which is a spot at the Major One
Oh
Summit.
my.
Oh, so
you
you-
where you see teams kind of trying to switch things up.
Yo,
others
chat.
taking it a much faster
So, like,
approach, others
But
slowing
but
things
like
down.
Peter uses
Howard,
it too. So
all
y'all
he knows
know
that
the
Prince
people
is
that
not
got banned for
no
the
goal. That
like
means
cheating
couple
thing.
of shots,
Apparently
running
Peterbot
people
and
on this
Click
people
and
are the
Higgs have
shots
been
in this
using
entire
it.
tournament so far.
Most definitely.
Clicks
no.
and Higgs were,
off he goes,
or no,
trying to
Clicks
look
and
about
Peterbot
here.
were using
Zifta,
the cheat.
Void obviously
Well,
watching the
that's
exits.
coming from the third-party company that released it.
Yeah, that's the company that made it, right?
Back to the lurk.
Yeah, so that's almost confirmed. Unless they're just trying to start drama, but that doesn't seem like it. I feel like, unless they are, maybe they are, but I think
Couldn't help it.
it could be
Fast open
true.
fire
I don't
there.
know.
Not the biggest opener that he was looking for, but Curve's already playing a side angle. Did he see him? Oh, he did.
This is going to be one of the biggest lurks right now. It's almost like flip-flop of what they've been doing with Veno approaching close, Curve being in the distance.
Yeah,
Chaos
Vino really
Reloader
has to
here.
lock into that.
1 second of distraction. Nice shot on the Oak. Curve not fighting off more than he can chew, though. Instead of getting full on aggressive, getting the
That's
box, he
crazy.
approaches from another angle, trying to keep the pressure on the Electro, not wanting to let him heal. Veno doing the same thing, but it's only going to be a trade in shots between Oak down below as Curve finishes off the elimination there onto Electro. Now it's going to be a 2v1 situation that does not last long. This is Veno and Curve. This is their get back from that last game.
That puts him at 3 eliminations.
Vino
right now. A
wins
very strong
an off
start
spawn.
here.
Let's
Again,
go,
Elix
bro. They
rewarded
did not
so
win
much more in the current
an off
format.
spawn. They did not win an off spawn last game.
Love to see it. Back with Higgs and Clicks, man. This is tough, right? Because now they have to make up for the lead that they lost, and they pretty much handed up on a platter to Golden Rapid there in the last game.
Yeah, they've been blessed the past couple of games. Zone going in their favor, up towards the
Clicks and
north.
Higgs are
Outside
uncon. This is crazy.
To see how they handle the pressure if the zone pulls away in the last 2 games. Maybe they can actually utilize the wheel to try to rotate in. But at least they don't have a first place target on their back like Golden Rapid might. Center of the map is Reed and Cooper. You can see them straying away from Latte Landing, doing what some of the other teams are doing. One person is kind of on a hill, trying to distract, shots from the distance, while Cooper is just trying to walk up, hide the audio visual, and get a sneaky shot. Yes, it's going to be the Thunderburst on to QK. No knock just yet, but that in its own mind is a little bit of a success for Cooper and Reed.
Oh, for sure. Mistakes were made from QK, leaving a sidewall open there, allowing them to just get free tags there. He didn't even realize where the shots were coming from for a second there. Saw the hesitation on the builds. QK Contract have also earned a fair amount of points, right? These are all teams that can still jump their way into top 13. Back on over to Cold right now, who clearly is in top form here. And they're just ahead of the pack by over 50 points right now. Really respectable tournament run so far. Jack and Npen, though, not looking too hot. We're started off super strong for them, earning some points now.
Acorn dead is crazy. That is actually crazy. Yeah, Acorn's dead. Wow, GG's. That is crazy.
Jack is forced to retreat, and he's going straight into Reed's team, so he does have to be careful.
Yeah, Yeah, maybe he just doesn't have the timing there. For Reet and Cooper, who've almost done something different every single game so far in terms of how they've been rotating.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Acorn being dead this early is actually crazy. That's actually wild.
And Braids talk about sticking to what works, 250 points, sitting in second place. This split drop outside of Dark Dominion. Just like I said in one of the previous games, no matter where the zone goes, they're more than likely going to be center map on top of a hill. So it gives them the luxury to kind of sit here. Yes, they might have to tank some storm damage, but every team in this game rotating in from the east, rotating from the south, will have to pass by visuals and raids, which gives them at least an opportunity to start accumulating that damage.
Bolts has an insane tower. Holy.
Better now than later. For Bolts, Acorn, back to the high ground they go. This is their trusty strat. Again, they started off pretty slow, right? We were looking at them like, okay, so decent game one, and then things kind of fall off pace, but you have that monsters coming.
Chat, my bad. Acorn is not dead. I don't know who was dead. I'm going to look at that, though.
Look at this. They got eyes on Clix and Higgs from up top. You would think that'd be out of render distance, but they could just barely pick up the names there. Meanwhile, Peterbot doing the same thing, has Spoyo down low. He's kind of playing the base here. He's continued to do this as well, being the kind of the sniper in the tower for the duo.
Some of the best aim in the game. Kind of see why I connect with 2 tags there, 40 damage. It all adds up over time. Some extra heals not too far away, and then the mending machine down below. And with the zone pulling in their favor, Monster for Peterbot and Poyo, they have options to rotate. They can shockwave, they can walk it in, or simply hit that rift that's not too far off next to them. They're going to have kind of pick of the litter, essentially, about where they actually want to end up after this next zone.
Backing over Threats and Veers. Highlight here. Catching a free Elim onto Muss out the sky there. Liquid in the distance, too. Meanwhile, Minish, Javi here. Based out, camped out right now. 152 points. So far on pace to send themselves to another LAN event here. For Javi, it'd be his first. Exciting times. But look at this, Jacob. Threats and Veer just trying to finish what they started with.
Is Clix still in? Yes, I'm pretty sure Clix is still in. They need to lock in this game. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you can rotate the zone, let him reboot. Maybe you can go ahead and try to attack that later. They just don't want to get beamed for free trying to rotate on out. They create some distance. Now they start using the shockwave, so Threats and Veer continue on with the rest of their game, which gives hope for Liquid to try to get his teammate back in. Hopefully they have some gold. There is a free mending machine or some scraps all around they can try to access. Only time will tell, though, how well they're able to make this game count with only 2 left.
What?
Curvin.
Look at their Elims.
What?
What's going on?
Okay, so we got Electro Oak. Maybe Tyler Chance. They got a
Vino is playing Storm.
I'm not gonna
This is
say
interesting.
what went wrong, but like what went right for Veno and Curve since the last time we saw them. And honestly, depending on how much damage they take, they might not have to worry about Surge for the rest of this game.
Yeah, that's crazy. 6 eliminations. Obviously, I'm more impressed by the amount of points they've managed to earn after coming up short last game. So they're on their way back up to the top. Meanwhile, QK Contrap just a sleeper duo so far as you know how well they've been able to play for what it's worth, right? This is their first time in this level of competition, going against this level of competition, and they seem to be holding their weight just fine.
LMAO, they just rage baited the pros. What do you mean, bro?
Rotate on out. I wouldn't say the farthest pull by any means, but it is going to start getting more.
What do you mean, bro? I mean, did you see that they just posted that Clix, or Higgs and Peterbot were using it?
I don't think they're going to be leaving the zone itself anytime soon. Maybe rotating towards the north. You see another team in the mini-map towards the outskirts trying to do just that. Maybe trying to utilize the Latte landing launch pad, but that one's still locked down by Reet and Cooper on this side of the map. Even with them having rotated in just yet, it's almost no worry when they finally make that play.
Cooper, Reet have the nice high ground here as well. But
Bro, why are you guys hating on Epic so much? Chill, bruh. They said they're not restarting Elite Series. Why? Wait, they said we not restarting Elite Series soon though. What?
Might just be a wrong decision for them. Meanwhile, Kerillian and Jargo set up the ambush here. Find Aloe
rotating behind what looked to be an abandoned base, but no, sir. Had this duo still sitting in it.
Darko hasn't healed yet. It almost seemed like they had some extras there to try to get the HP back on up. But timing, sometimes of the essence. Beating other teams to a rotation is going to be important to jump back on board Khan and QK. 243 below the damage threshold. You're going to see why they're getting aggressive in this moment outside of zone.
243 below by Surge is actually insane.
There's a chance they're still below the damage threshold here. So depending on how long this fight continues to go, how much Listed actually heals, they're still
170 below Surge. This is actually really bad.
Continue to close off any exits, take control of the pieces, spotted out Listen again, and instantly going right to the top of those builds. First and second shot is going to connect for Khan, but as I said, still below the damage threshold.
Yeah, nice clean elimination there, but they definitely need more damage here. Kerillian in the distance there, kind of listening to the fight go down. Meanwhile, Muzz and Sphinx have built their own additional
Muzz above
layer
240 Surge. This is actually insane. They're good on Surge.
It's the first time we've seen an end game position up here, and look at this. It's going to pull right on top of them for the 50-50. It's a perfect spot to be in. 244 above, not too bad. I think they'll be probably just fine, so long as they don't do anything too rash here. This is actually a really good spot for Sphinx and Muzz to be in.
Especially rotating it early.
Yo, what are you saying, bruh? We all know you didn't make it.
For now, but depending on where the zone continues to pull, you can see a rift in the end game, creating some unique strategies. We go on over to Clix and Higgs. You see them chopping their tower out just so they can do the long one. You see them attaching on over. They're going to glide their way in. Peterbot and Poyo waiting for the moment.
Peterbot and Poyo trying to get Surge on Clix and Higgs and fail terribly. You guys are terrible.
Definitely theirs because they can go ahead and do it on foot as well. But for now, it just seems like they want to make the fast and easy glide into the zone.
Yeah, definitely, but lucky for Clix and Higgs, the way they set it up, it sends them so far up, they do end up...
This is actually insane. Peterbot and Poyo just took Clix and Higgs' wheel.
End up landing. The fact that they're on this same kind of warpath here means they might just end up colliding here shortly. Keep close tabs on them. Jumping in with Encrypted and H-Cube again. Another team we haven't quite got to see much of their journey. However, they have been very much...
Yo, Zyrox, you seem really good. How many FNCS wins do you have?
To be upset about this late into the tournament here. Game 5 right now is in front of us. 98 below though, Jacob. They're hoping, hoping to find teams rotating out from outside the zone, but there's no one in sight. They are quite literally the last ones on the edge here.
And this is where the mind games start to play, because you saw the leaderboard when it pops up. They are the line in terms of top 13 going.
Chill. You've been hating on Clix, bro, recently.
Currently 2 beats. So going down
I'm just saying, bro.
1 game left and a whole day tomorrow. Leave you with a bunch of regrets in the back of your mind. See multiple teams rotating.
42 below on Peterbot. That's actually crazy.
Yeah, I saw that lightning come down as soon as we were panning over. 42 below now. A couple tags get put in there, but Peterbot and Poyo have a lot to deal with right now. Pressure's on, not only for them not being
17 below, they're still taking ticks. This is actually insane.
Into a tournament run, but also now having to deal with the Surge. Already though, you saw there, Clix Higgs to the south, other teams in between them. Great tags here putting on
50 below. This is actually insane, but they get a 33 tag. They are still 33 below. Oh my gosh, they are getting teamed on. 100 below. They actually might be cooked this game. Oh my gosh, if they go out now. If they actually go out now. Oh my. Oh my. They are almost dead.
Here comes another lobby focus. Luckily, they get just
they're above Surge, and wow, they took that lobby. Oh, now they're on low.
It's not for long though.
Yeah, it's like a miracle right now, one after the next. You don't necessarily hear that someone's taking these ticks of Storm Surge Monster, but you hear the shields getting cracked when it does that much damage.
Your
teams all around getting a huge signal here of what's going down. They're just trying to take part, make their jobs that much harder here in terms of survival, but they're constantly on the lookout. Peterbot
6 above. They need to get this Surge up.
Barely above 29. They're going to increase that just a little bit, 69 above the damage threshold. It's not a feeling of safety here, but for them, exactly that. We're going into the next zone. It's a moment of fresh air, but instantly the wind gets
60 below. Wow, they went from
60 below yet again.
No, they were 69 above.
And they do
And
have
then,
some heals to work
yeah,
with.
they went
but
lower.
the clock is ticking. 30 seconds remaining. Duo's right up above them. Into the box. Poyo goes.
Wow,
He hits
Poyo
the monster
is
grab,
very
gets
low.
the knock, and Peter
Poyo
Bot's
is very
here
low.
to back
Poyo is
him up.
very
The
low.
zone does the
Peter
rest.
is trying
And
to
just
fight.
like that, 2 more elims,
Wow.
and
Where
they
is
are
Clicks
safe
and
for
Higgs?
now.
I think
Big
they're
heals
still alive.
to be found as well. Now the Chug only has 40 in it, but that is plenty considering where they just left off from. Meanwhile, we pan over to the other side. Visual Braid still in the running. Clicks and Higgs there in the distance too. Much different story for our second and third.
Clicks and Higgs still alive with 218 points.
Them, so things are
Clicks and Higgs rotating.
pace,
Hopefully they do not die to Storm this
pressure
time
is starting
while
to slow
rotating.
creep here.
This is a very
Looking
good
at Clicks and
rotate.
Higgs
They're
might
about to
be
use
going for
some
another high
shockwaves.
ground positioning.
Yeah, this is actually a smart rotation by them. We saw Buggy down.
Put
rolling
broadcast
around
on
at the bottom. Zen was
Clicks
trying to save
and
the visuals. The
Peter.
Braids were pushing up. Instead of
I mean,
focusing any
they don't
pressure in that
focus
direction,
Peter and
they
Poyo,
immediately
though. They
rotate
really
the zone,
don't.
Jump on board rapid,
Or
less than
Clicks and
25
Higgs.
HP, luckily has Cold by
Yeah,
his side.
same with
Holding
Peter
on
and
to those
Poyo,
builds,
though.
making sure they don't
They
get
don't
pushed
really,
for
they're
free.
not showing the
Actually
usual people.
separated
I don't
right
know.
now. They're in 2 different boxes. That would have been a perfect time to strike onto Rapid, but Cold is looking through the cone, gathering information, waiting for Rapid to make the rotation on over into the same box.
What a
Meanwhile, he
find.
finds another big Elim onto Magma. This is how you create moments instead of waiting for them.
That timing couldn't have been better, and Cole's got the right idea. He's thinking this guy has to get knocked somewhere close by, but unfortunately, is going to be out of reach, and they could have used that little bit of loot right there, but the fact that Cold and Rapid have managed to kind of found a stable ground here, that's going to be a problem for the standings. Meanwhile, Visual and Braids is like the sleeper duo we're not talking enough about right now. They have just remained so competitive, and while all eyes are on Cold, Rapid, Clicks, Higgs, Peter Bot, Poyo, you have Visuals and Braids slowly working their way up the standings as well.
Yeah,
It's kind of crazy how Peter and Poyo were being lobby focused, but now they're in a perfect position.
Find these perfect eliminations down below as another one spotted out onto Wagers. No Slepsy in this game, which means that team is fully eliminated out of the game. Braids and Visuals are continuously heating up here in this game. Peter Bot as well. I did see Preston go down. Luckily, we get a huge view of how Peter Bot and Poyo were able to pick up another elimination.
I like he captures Preston, opens the edit, and Preston tries to jump out the box immediately.
Just never know. Meanwhile, Higgs and Clicks tanking Storm to get some ultimate.
Clicks is one tap.
Collapsed on by
Clicks is dead.
And just like that, he is slightly out of position.
Oh, I just thought, yo, you are not Clicks, Zyrox. You are Zyrox.
It's Bolts who goes up for a cheeky little high ground play there, and it's all up to Higgs now to try to play this out for positioning here. This is gonna be close, but hey, he's got
Yo,
this
Poyo
one,
did not
which
kill
is
you,
all
bro.
natural elevated here.
We
to
know
work
you did
with.
not make it.
Dozer Issue know that they've taken one out from the top. Up they go. Peterbot and Poyo bounce their way back into the game now. 5 eliminations for this team, and finally now big placement points are being earned here.
Yeah, if you didn't watch the last couple of minutes, you would almost not even
When
know
we
Peter
finna
Bot
play,
and Poyo
when
were
this is
such
over.
in a drastic situation, forced to literally fight their way out. Cold and Rapid as well. They finally
Yo, bro,
reunite
we
into
all
the
know
same
that's
box,
not
but
you,
get pressured
Zyrox,
on the
bro.
other side. Rapid's trying to hold on for dear life. Cold is there. They're just trading shots back and forth, but Rapid is taking most of that brute force. Luckily for him, Cold is there, just trying to push that team further and further out towards the zone. There's really no time for Rapid to heal. He has to make this rotation with barely a sliver of HP before him and Cold once again reunite on the front side of the zone.
Cold is just playing so well. He is taking like no damage while all this is happening. Meanwhile, Peterbot and Poyo, if you blink, you missed it. They went up for high ground. They contest the team. They take down Dozer and Eshu. Eshu's already knocked here. Peterbot now shockwaves down to connect with his teammate, and they are on high ground looking to make up for lost time. 7 eliminations and going. Meanwhile, Cold continuing to find Elims as well. It's all a runaway train though if you are Rapid and Cold.
Peterbot dead.
But Ritual Agers, they made a play for a high ground and they get the knock onto Peterbot. Nobody is now solidified as that team up above. Cold is even trying to retake it. Rapid shockwave up. One team's loss is another team's gain, but they get chopped yet again. Agers and Ritual, the persistence is there. They're ready to fight for it all. That fight for that first place spot on the leaderboard doesn't matter who's in their path. They're ready to bulldoze their way out of the lobby.
It's only a matter of time before someone else gets a victory royale, but then you have Visual and Braids here at 8 eliminations. Again, the team that no one is talking about is running things on the mid-ground. Make it 9, make it possibly even 10 here in the coming moments. Meanwhile, Cold is on the ultimate low ground, no mass, nothing to work with, and he is just earning placement points. The one
Cold just got a kill on low ground.
From really breaking away here, and now he's inside the top 6, and another elim is all his.
Yeah, the zone passes over Cold, allows him to cut back onto Kerillian. Now he has another player in his line of sight, which is Madden, but there's still duos.
Can Click still win? No, he is out. He has been gone for a while.
Hitters that are looking to end the run of first place here, but he gets 5th overall. Cold and Rapid continue the hot streak, but there's only 2 duos left alive. Visuals and Braids, winners of game 1. Agers and Ritual inside of the top 3. They get
wow.
onto Visuals. Braids fall shortly after. Agers and Ritual take the game
in a great fashion there too, but Visuals and Braids now a second place.
No, I mean the whole tournament. Yes, yes, they're
doing
good. Tomorrow they do need a lock in though.
In the end game here for game number 5 there, Zeke.
Yeah. It like if Clicks can get up like if Clicks is first tomorrow by 60 points and he just stays consistent, he could win. But like maybe even more than 60. What?
Fighting in the front side of the zone, bottom of the zone, mid zone, it doesn't matter. There's chaos everywhere. But in this moment, Agers and Ritual have found themselves a victory royale in game number 5, and in the process took down the Titan that is Peterbot. Kelly, I feel like if that doesn't give me a boost of confidence, I don't know what will.
Yeah, I need to apologize. I was kind of questioning how Agers and Ritual were in 5th place with a 21st and a 17th. I'm sorry. I'd like to apologize.
Chat, I just heard some bad news, and we're about to see soon.
You're walking away with a victory royale in game number 5.
Yeah, chat, I'll be right back.
The chaos, Zeke. You're talking about how we weren't able to really follow along. Well, they were kind of able to just forego all of the chaos, Vivid. Agers and Ritual just kind of allowed themselves to sit in the mid ground, saw all the chaos happening on the high ground, and then waited for everyone to kind of get that out of their system before they went for height and then able to hold it.
Yeah, patience being key here for the duo. Yeah, all that chaos, I couldn't even keep up what was happening. We had solo clutches going on. Low ground was fighting for this. High ground was fighting for that. And yeah, at the end of it all, Agers and Ritual somehow not only impressively got the win, but got it as a duo. Sometimes when those games get so chaotic, it's really, really hard to stay healthy as a duo. But from the high ground, it was easy for them to do, and they got that game win. And I can only imagine what the leaderboard is going to look like.
Oh, man. One game left to go, Viv. When we return after this short break, we'll start taking a look at that leaderboard. We'll start setting things up because remember, we have 6 games today, and then after the 6 tomorrow, we are crowning champions. Fortnite fam, we're going to take a step away. When we return, prepare ourselves for the last game.
So, yeah, like you said, bro, they are, bro, they, I don't know. It's not looking good. It's still possible.
Oh, it's definitely possible.
If he wins this game right now, that would help a lot. And those other kids get 30 points. That's good.
They need to get
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, chat. for clicks to win. Can you add me? No, bro. If you want to add me, you gotta add me. I don't add anybody. Search up Chieflin FN. It's gonna be interesting, chat.
They will definitely still be one of the teams as long as
Yo, what time we playing? Yo, bro, you just asked me this, bro. It's the last game, bro.
Yep.
When this is over. And I'll probably take a 20-minute break because I've been talking for 3 hours.
Fortnite fam, welcome back to the FNCS. This is Major 1. This is day 1. Kelly, don't laugh. I'm panicking. I'm stressing. Much has developed after this last game. In case you just tune in, maybe you're just like, oh man, I've had a long day coming in. I'm watching the FNCS. Welcome. Happy that you're here. Game 5 went the way of Agers and Ritual, which is massive for the duo. They ended with 267 points. As we take a look at those standings, this now puts them in fourth place. This is huge for them. Now we only have a single game left to go here. I don't know how, but Cold and Rapid continue to hold on. They just continue to just find these little consistencies. They just chain together these situations, Kelly, and it's enough, right? A 5th place, 6 elims, and still they are ahead of the pack. It's only 20 points. But if we just keep doing that, right? We just stay
so
ahead
Clicks
of
is in
everybody
5th, but
else.
here's the problem. Like, first place has 334 points. They need to do bad, and Clicks needs to do great. Honestly. And Peterbot being in 6th, I mean, I don't know. It's looking interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting tomorrow. Honestly, this game's it isn't going to really say anything or do anything, and I don't think Peter's going to con Clicks today or tomorrow, unless Clicks is in 1st tomorrow. But I don't see him going lucky. He doesn't have to. Yeah. This last game isn't gonna, like, it's gonna matter. You obviously don't want to do bad, but it's not like it's a game decision.
It's crazy watching back some of the replays from that game. You can see a lot of the times how close their game is to being over, right? They were kind of walking around on the mid-ground layer. They had 0 builds to their name, and that was top 16, right? There was 16 teams left alive when that actually happened, right? No builds. It seemed like the game was pretty much going to be done. And somehow that game ends up being a 5th place for them. Like,
except Muzz
guys
in
just
10th.
will not lose. They will not go down without picking up a plethora of points to keep them in that 1st place spot. Now, they are in 1st place, but hot on their heels right now. Visuals and Braids, they did close the gap. That game for sure. Visual and Braids picked up a 2nd place with 10 eliminations, which, I mean, dude, that is huge. As you can see, I mean, yeah, they're winning out on the placement points right now. Those eliminations is probably all of the difference between them in 1st place right now.
I mean, Visuals and Braids is, again, we talked about it at the last year. They were constantly getting 4th place in 2 different majors when they played with Aminish. And before we went live, Jacob PR said that they are the best duo that we never talk about. For whatever reason, they only lock in when it comes to the grand finals. But when they do it big, and they're always in the top 5. They're always beating out some of the bigger teams that we talk about. So I would love to give them the flowers that they deserve. And finally, by being in 2nd place after or towards the end of day 1, they're just grabbing the flowers themselves and saying, look what we can do.
It's scary, right? If Cold and Rapid make one of those little mistakes we've kind of been talking about, you know, Visual and Braids, they're ready to capitalize. They really are. It's got me questioning, guys. Like, obviously we make the joke like Cold doesn't play the game. What if, conspiracy theory, I'm going to break out my own board here. What if Cold has a secret account we don't know about and he's playing Fortnite all the time?
Weird.
Think about it. Think about
Why?
it. Let's go back
Why
to
are they? behind a wonky land POI background.
Let's go back to the standings. Kelly, don't make me laugh on broadcast.
Oh, they've always had that.
Let's go back to the standings. We got to talk about Clix and Higgs.
For every...
Yeah.
Their battle continues, man, for like a while. Clix and Higgs were like, they were pulled away. But look at this. We're just separated by 10 points. Oh, man. Even after those 2 victory royales, Kelly, I'm looking at those 10 elims being the difference maker right now. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Well, this is the moment right now that we can see the misstep from Clix and Higgs. We know that they love to take an early high ground, and they saw zone folding towards this mountain, and so they kind of thought, let's get an early aggression onto this high ground. We're going to claim it, but they stayed in Storm just a little too long, taking a little bit too much damage that Higgs and Clix were not able to recover from Vivid.
Yeah, I mean, they looked like they were in prime position to go ahead and win that game, right? Kind of launching up on top of the hill right there. Just a little bit of an over peak from Clix, got beamed by the rifle. I would have to imagine that was, you know, on the receiving end from Ishu, who was going to be the player that ended up aggressing towards him. So Clix and Higgs, yes, 234 points in 5th place. Right behind them, like we talked about, Peterbot and Pollo, 6th place, 224 points. Honestly, not a terrible game from Peterbot and Pollo, right? It doesn't really feel like that because we didn't see them in the end game. We don't really see them fly up leaderboard right now, so we're kind of like, okay, it doesn't really look like they had a good game. They got 12th place, so not the best placement, but picked up 8 eliminations, which is their most eliminations so far throughout the day in a single game. So super cool to see. Really liked the high ground play from them, by the way, because as you can see, the elevation changes that were kind of happening over here amongst the natural terrain allowed it so an overdrive grenade combined with a mist actually allowed them to float up to like perfect height to take the fight up there. So super cool to kind of see them make a good play like that. I think ultimately another team ended up getting the best of them. Yeah, that was Ritual and Aegis who went up. And I swear, Kelly, we kind of talked about it. These fights that keep happening up in the sky, it's so wild to me. Is there no other better play to make in those
Peter
scenarios?
Got real good.
What was it? Ritual launched up in the air, and then Peter followed up launching in the air as well to shoot Rituals, but then Aegis followed Peterbot and shot him instead. And you gotta wonder just how distracted everyone is that there's just 2 different duos floating up in the air having their own Dragon Ball Z fight, and no one else is looking up towards them. But 5 games, 1 more for day 1, Zeke, and it's just so much has already happened.
I know, Kelly, this is it. Okay, this is the final opportunity for these duos to cement their day 1 performance, because they're gonna have to look to pick up the pieces that they laid out tomorrow, right? And bring whatever they've learned into tomorrow's 6 games and fight for either spots going to Dusseldorf and the Summit or an Axe of Champions and a title, right? Like, this is so crazy. 1 last game today before we say goodbye. Casters, for the last time, take it away.
Honestly, Monster, I feel like we're just sitting down for game 1, starting the day, and we're in game number 6. The last chance that these duos have for today to try to get as many points and close that gap as possible.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have had another coffee before this all started. I really didn't need it. The competition is that good right now with Cold and Rapid in such a monstrous lead. Let's just see if they can hold on to it.
It might be too early to start making a little prediction. Who's landing on who's ready to take it by force. But this is game 6, and honestly, where you stand at the end of today, you're going to have to go elimination crazy tomorrow. You're going to have to get consistent top placings if you do want to win this competition, as Jack and NPen do fly down at their drop spot uncontested this time around. They got to watch out for the mountain ranges with Cole and Madden, Acorn and Bolt, and even Frigid Fortress where Osin and Scare land. But for now, it does look like they're going to have a good early game.
Still can't believe Paper's trying to 50-50 this weapon here, considering he fell
Wow,
off the
this
mountain
guy
before,
lost
but
50-50.
this time he
man.
does win the exchange there. He is up 1. He's got full control here. Other fights happening in the feed. Seems like a little bit of a mix-up. Saw Ritual take down Raven. Wonder if that's because he put boots on the ground first and took him out the sky. We'll end up getting some updates there shortly. Jumping in with Cold and Rapid, though. I mean, Jacob, talk to me, dude. What do you think needs to happen in order for the Kings of Dark Dominion to fall?
Honestly, they just need to have a game that is unlike any other. Their worst game today is in 8th place with 5 eliminations. So it's going to be hard to topple over a team like this. You see Max, you see Moppings. No, I know by looking at this point of view, you'd think they're going to run into each other. But Max
Clix and Higgs
Moppings
really got to lock into them.
those little turbines to
This
try
last
to
game,
a little bit of a split
if they
drop,
can get
hold the
second
rapid,
and get
don't
up to like
typically
200
go
and
underneath
what,
there.
60?
So it does look
They've
like
been
both of
very
those teams,
conservative
you know,
to
I'm
try
going
to
air
make
quotes
endgame,
here,
but that's hurt them
uncontested
because
in
they
this
don't have
game.
Elam
Not too
points
much
now.
to worry about.
Yeah.
Visuals and Braids, we've seen them at the start of some of these games so far. They don't
And I'm sure that
really
was
stay away
Lex's,
from their plan. They
you know,
are in
thing.
the
He
center
wanted
of
them
the
to play
zone. They just
conservative and
gotta
safe.
hope that they get
He
the
did.
loop because they don't normally go and scoop
But 4
loot up
points
else
per Elam
from
is
anywhere
really
else.
hurt
But the
them.
other thing
Way
is
back
no
to
one's
that, like,
near
Candy
wonky
City day
anymore.
where they were
Yeah,
landing
no.
kind of split.
Oh wow,
map
Falcon
into
Peter, they
full
like
control
are
of
fighting.
the center
Wow.
zone, no problems
They
with
know they
rotates,
need
but
kills. They just gotta kill
second
them.
here. Peter bot. Boyo.
See, and that's the difference.
What they need to
They're
do
going
for
after
an
it.
early
They know what
elimination,
they need to do,
rotating
and they
out.
just go after
This is
it.
almost looking like a repeat
And they say,
performance
look,
of
if we lose,
game
we lose, but
3
we're going
and
to go down
4,
swinging.
where they wanted to play
Yeah.
hyper aggressive.
Yeah,
start
they're
making
no
up
matter
their points.
even their place is
That
ungone,
seemed to
but they're
play off
finding
for them
kids
for the
somehow.
most part, right? Like all they're missing
Oh,
is
well, they're not even in there, but look
closing
where they
things
are.
out and making
No, but
some
they-
big
I
Oh,
think-
wait, they're by Clix and Higgs.
positioning points,
Yeah.
but the elims are definitely there.
But they're gonna go back to their POI. They're
You know, they
close
can
to the
pop off
POI
at a
too.
moment's notice. Between an Acorn and Bolts. This is one of those drops where you don't necessarily get contested if you're Acorn and Bolts because it
Yeah.
usually narrows
No one
down
would
to just
con
kind
them
of like
over here.
2 separate 50-50s on top of the mountain for those chests where Acorn and Bolts usually, more times than not, have beaten out teams like Peterbot and Poyo to kind of go ahead and claim this drop as their own, which kind of means they're safe for the early portions of this game. 20, not so much.
This
And
guy
that
has
goes
to try
already
to
down. So the
2v1.
world is literally on his shoulders for the last game of today, but luckily for him, there's still so many other teams right by him battling it out. It's going to allow him to disengage for free.
Yeah, he gets saved by Bucky and Zen, who just come in and then get crashed on. They thought they were going to set up the big alert, but it seems like they were spotted out. Meanwhile, Listen and Aloe seem to have been fragmented apart as well. Well, he's forced to play by himself, so quite the messy start for all 4 of these teams or so. Meanwhile, Braids, though, falls here. It's all up to Visuals. Big problem here. It's Magma and G-Monster who come crashing the party here. Visuals, though, gets collapsed on. It's not looking good. G-Monster's in the box. Visual forced to back off, and I don't think he's going to be able to get away, but G-Monster fails. A little edit there. This gives him some time. Visual gets a little heal off, and this is so close. Just like that. Second place is down and out. They thought they were safe on the mountain here, and it's just all over.
Luckily for them, they have a 36-point gap. They are in second place, like you said, 311 points. Third place is Acorn and Bolts at 275. So a little bit of a cushion. You got to imagine they're going to fall from that second place spot. But how high
Agers
they
went
stay
down.
on the
Wow.
leaderbord after this
Agers
game
went
is said and
down.
done, so it really going to
Peterbot
matter.
fighting
Start
in
five
their
being a
own
little bit early.
POI,
Peterbot Spoil
Squibbly,
continues their
There goes
rampage,
Peterbot.
returning
and
back to Squibbly Shore, Drapov
they
getting the tick.
killed
This is
him.
where they
Wow.
went to try to
Who
get
went
that reboot
Squibbly?
off. Maybe they're gonna pick somewhere better.
think
because
someone
they
that's
just
not
get
doing good,
eliminated
I'm
yet
assuming.
Again. The tick is literally going to be left by himself. Not sure exactly where he's at, but he has to be close by because the reboot just went off.
Nice little pickups there, but you know what? Last game they did this too, and they still found themselves not exactly in a position to, you know, outpace the general surge damage. So these elims are just coming across as super quick, but it will come down to can they pick apart other teams, and the rotates there as far as positioning is. But Curvin, Veno back into the mix here, back in the action. Last game was generally a decent one. This looks like a little deja vu as they take down Chance and Tyler once again here. When we tuned in like Zone 4, they had 6 elims. We'll see what they end up doing this game.
Yeah, really just taking quick advantage of the teams that are contested on the south side of Battlewood, whether it's just damage or full-on eliminations just like that. They have their game plan set and ready to go. Acorn and Bolt, similar for them. This time around, you see them get off of the mountain right away. They have a feeling the zone is not going to pull over in that direction, so they want to get one of these priority positions over towards Painted Palms. A little bit of a mountain.
Cold
They go ahead and
was
replenish
from-
some of those builds, brick and metal.
Oh.
And they're going to sit Bolts up
I see.
top, and he's going to be the
Cold
primary
was
source
surprise
for their
bomb.
search.
Got the split once again from Higgs and Clix here. This time, not
Clix and
opting to sit
Higgs
right
out
on
of
top of the
W.
Wonky land. They
Oh.
want to be a bit dynamic
Wait, Clix
here,
is in a
so
bush and then Higgs
the
is in a
mountains,
tower.
This bush
I
here it
see.
is. Creon and Dragon there, based up in the distance. Looks might find some tags here shortly.
Because he's in zone. I think. Higgs is in Storm. Pretty sure.
What's the
Right there. One of them in the
They don't
bush.
know.
Knows Higgs is going to be able to watch his back. Got to make sure Clix doesn't get lurked on for free, and vice versa. Throwing threats and fear. Riptide, uncontested. They've been able to get the Mythic more times than not. Just having to put it to use. 220 points. They're in contention of that top 13 spot. About 114 points away from first place as well. So one good game here to close out the day for a good chunk of the teams. And possibly bounce them into first place as Bucky does go down. Blake and Preston are able to get both of those eliminations.
Wow,
and even
Blake and
third
Preston
top.
finally got some kills. Dude, off
7
spawn.
points right there. Keeping them in the conversation so far. Again, there are still teams fighting for that top 13 to make it to LAN. Jacob, you want to take a glance at what's the threshold, just so we can continue to kind of bake that into the story here, because I know we're looking at, obviously, who's in the championship race, but remember, there's so much more on the line for this first majors.
Yeah, right now it's at 158 points, and that's being held by Slepsy and Wages, barring any eliminations early on in this game, of course. And it just goes to show how close it is, because below them, Scare and Osid, 156. Tyler and Chance, Jargo and Carillion tied at 150. H-Cube and Encrypted at 138. Literally, one elim separates so many teams from the next placement point. A couple of actual placement points throughout the course of this game could really change the role. And last time we saw Threats and Veer, it looking like clean rotations through the zone, but they get spotted out by Curve and Veno, and in an instant they go down.
And they were in 7th coming into this game, so that's going to open things up for sure.
He was in 7th
Everyone
place.
else
Wait,
below
Threats?
them.
Yeah.
He went down 7th place?
Are one
No,
of those
no, he's
teams
in
inside the
7th
top
place. He
10
just
that
went
are
down.
just trailing
Oh,
behind them.
dang, man.
It's
Before
quite
8
the
points.
jumps too, from
Oh,
8th and 9th. It's
that
20-point
sucks.
jump.
He
to
might
get
go
to
down a
Threats and Veer.
bit.
He's
Yeah.
at 220
Yep.
points there,
Yeah,
so
he'll go down a
you
bit.
can see that because they fall, this standings in general is going to become more and more condensed towards the bottom.
Wait, did you ever respond to my comment? I would.
William Peterbot, though, continue the aggression. We've seen them actually fight this team before and come out successful.
Nah, I don't think
They
I
just seem to
probably
be
read your first comment. though.
essentially picking apart
I don't know what comment,
the
bro.
same duos
I'll
in their
read some
vicinity,
comments
and
and
this
the
is
other
how
ones I
they're
don't
earning
know.
all these points here.
Peter
I'm
Bot
not
and
sure if
Foil.
it's planned or not.
fighting
Kind of
in
like what you're
Storm?
saying, just
Well,
one
just
elim,
finished
let
the
the
fight.
reboot go down, clean the elim up
I think they were
again.
fighting.
Only
Yeah,
3
yeah,
so
they were.
far. 2 of the elims are on
Yeah, but he got
one of the same
bandages
players.
and
Then he's
stuff.
able to get Skinny Cat, someone they eliminated in an earlier game. But all of that was going down. Guess what I saw on the feed? This here, Veno with a double
Veno?
elimination. The shockwaves
Oh,
in
wow.
the fizz.
Veno took
and the
out
interesting
2.
thing about that is you
Veno
don't
is locked
necessarily
in,
get the
trying to
audio
do his
visuals,
best
so
for tomorrow.
he's just
Trying
sneaking
to
on
get up
players
there.
left and right.
This is how they're doing it. This is how they're basically the most successful early game team I think we've tuned in with on this entire tournament day. They could just clean up their end games, get a little bit of luck on the zones, maybe some positioning. They'll be up at the top. So tomorrow could be a day of adjustment for them, and we could very well see a Veno Curve comeback.
Yeah, just like he said, a Veno Curve
In that
comeback
same
would actually
conversation
be
for quite some
insane.
time, but again, just coming up short, finding themselves being picked apart, I think, by Peterbot and Boyo in that last game there, as they fell at 23rd in the previous one, and then 8th last round with only 2 elims. So either way, they did manage to clutch up, even though they were taken out a little bit earlier.
Sometimes
Golden
being
Storm
patient,
trying to get some
not
surge
making a
tags.
rush.
Got 25.
to decide any decisions. I'm just kind of having a calm, cool, collected demeanor. It's very, very similar here to Cold and Rapid. You can see it tops this total shotgun damage out of everybody else in this game. Which goes to show that Cold, man, it's just, the rumors are true. Doesn't have to play, honestly, just the grind that he's put in the past couple years alone is paying off. It's prime time player here. One team's going to be in their path towards the south. Even though they have to rotate in towards the east, they do have the shockwaves, they have the fizz, so they can cover a good chunk of distance in no time at all.
Look at this, little did they know there was a team rotating right below them there, so a little bit of a missed opportunity for them. Meanwhile, Cooper and Reet have this
What kind of height surge base is this?
pace. I was gonna try to describe it, but I don't know what to say. Let's just set up for, obviously, some tags fishing here.
Most of the games, when the zone did pull towards the south, or even the western side, where we went over towards Wonky Land and the mountains, Reed and Cooper kind of made it a priority to rotate rather early on, but this time around, they do got Latte landing. If they do need it, they have the launch pad right behind them as well. But they're there just on the edge of zone. They can easily climb back down, shockwave off, try to close distance that way, depending on where the next zone falls. So it's not going to be too many difficult decisions for them to come up with as the game continues to move on.
Clicks die? No, Clicks is
all
still
the way
alive.
on the south towards New Sanctuary. 2 eliminations so far, and this is one of the first times we're seeing them really stray far away from Sus Studios to try to pick up early damage.
Those are some huge elims. This is going to put them right in contention.
And also,
for the
Vino got a
top
2v1 off spawn.
13.
And apparently,
At
Cold
144
got
now,
surprise
elims are
con.
just the best way, really, to go ahead and make sure you're on pace to qual. Acorn and Bolts, though, they're trying to fight for first. Targeting down Osid. Scared down low. You see up top, Bolts has clutched a 78 points as a solo, the most of all players here today. Just really showing you why Bolts is one of the better.
Can you accept my friend request? I'll accept it in a second, brother.
His ability to
I'll do it
perform
after this.
clearly has been
I'm
shown
trying to
here
make it
this
as
weekend
clean as possible. I don't
so
want to do
far.
any distractions while people are trying to watch this.
They've been able to get at least 1 win so far. Kind of woke up from that slumber. It's Veno and Curve getting aggressive. This is first.
Veno and Curve getting
They got
aggressive,
the
dude.
Elim onto Cold.
Yeah, they're scary
Rapid's
now.
by himself,
Vino's not
so
happy,
in a
and
tough
when he's
spot
not
trying
happy,
to
bro,
get
he's
out. Using
screaming.
the King and Aviv there are as
He got
well.
set,
They're
wow.
just trying to get out.
Yeah,
Now
they're
Curve
trying.
and Veno have
I
to
mean-
make that decision. Do we go along with them? It does look like that
I mean,
answer's
Vino-
going to be yes. But
Yeah,
like the
they have
King,
surged like crazy.
Aviv,
They almost have
already
2,000.
rotated around. 2,000 damage.
Yeah,
almost.
we all just said it at the same
The
time. Wow.
threshold. Veno and Curve realize the situation that they're in, Monster, taking a page out of Peterbot's playbook, saying, hey, if we have any hope of winning this tournament, it's going to be by eliminations and coming back.
The best part about that is Veno and Queasy quite literally set that trend, right? They were the first villains we've ever had in the Fortnite lore. Veno's at 7 eliminations total right here alongside Curve. This is just some exceptional performance right now. And again, it just makes you wonder. They have been the most successful early game duo that we have seen when it comes down to just the way they've managed to ambush duo after duo. It is just a matter of finding placement points in the end game for them.
I'm feeling a big Veno game here. I'm feeling a big Veno game here.
How much
Gold
bigger
pistol,
can it get?
mythic iron pump. This dude is
I mean,
going to
maybe.
turn, look at people.
Maybe
they're
Vino
going to
wins
go
game,
out
the
like
last
a
game
light. So
for
I'm
day
eager to
one.
see how he continues to perform. If he does make it into the next portion of the game, max pull though for Peterbot, Poyo, and a few others.
They can get to top
Much better
5,
off
that puts
though
them back in
in
the
this game than they have in
conversation.
previous
Yeah,
games in
and
terms of that
Peterbot
scoring
only
circle.
being at
800 above
236.
the
I mean,
threshold.
and he's what, fifth?
Curve and Veno looking
And
around for those eliminations.
Sixth, and Vino's at 206. I mean, they're definitely not. They're not far behind, but there's still many teams that have to die.
We're kind of seeing the other side exactly that. Rapid by himself, and honestly, any points here from Rapid are huge. He just needs to get inside of the top 25.
Got to give himself a little bit of cushion to work with here. Now, remember, Visuals and Braids is down as well in second place. So first and second go down. This is the perfect scenario for an Acorn and Bolts to have an opportunity to kind of solidify a lead going into day 2. And Acorn has not been someone who has often had successful day 1s. He usually comes back stronger day 2. And although he's won major 1 for the last 3 years consecutively, it has not been easy performances, no easy walkaway, no runaway performances. It has come down to strong day 2. Kind of
Except Clicks and Higgs are still in this game, 234 points.
Just keep that in mind as you watch this game go down. So if Rapid can manage to clutch up, the rest of this entire
Wow, so I just got information that the top 2 are dead. Wow. So this could be a big game for literally anybody. Literally anybody. Like Clicks, right? It'll put Clicks higher up. And then people that are in third. Who's in third? Yeah, it's definitely going to help a couple people. Wow. Rapid is only up by 130 surge.
are going to connect there in that instant. But you can see he's just trying to return back to some of these boxes, maybe even break his way in.
5 teams still have to die before points.
Behind, but he's just waiting for the zone actually forces him to move in. That's where he's going to dig in the pocket and try to pull out those shockwaves.
He's getting a couple tags there while he's at it. Meanwhile, Muzz and Sphinx healing just outside the box of Peterbot and Boyo. They're trying to see if Muzz is going to make a mistake and weaken that wall with an edit. That's all it's going to take for them to break right in. They say, nah, screw it. We're going to go out and break in ourselves. Meanwhile, Ritual takes down Blake.
Wow, Ritual just took down Blake and who? He took the whole team out.
In the race right now.
Yeah, took out Blake and Preston. Wow.
Talking about here shortly. If they go for high ground, if they go for a win,
Muzz might be dead. No, he's going to heal up, but he is very low on Surge, and Finks is only 100 above. Finks and Muzz are very low on Surge. They are below and have barely any mats. I seen Falcon Pollo is down on the ground. It is just Peterbot.
Rapid still alive, and for Rapid, with how things have been looking, this is a huge
wow. Curve has 1,584 Surge. That is actually insane. He just needs to camp in that. Except Muzz is really low, Falcon, huh? Vino is down. Wow, Muzz is down. Peterbot is the only one left. Pollo is out.
In the same position as well.
Pollo is 300 above Surge. Sphinx is only 8 below Surge. Very low, very low. Sphinx is almost dead. Sphinx is 2 HP. Curve is doing excellent. And so is Falcon Peterbot.
The world of difference that they're all going through is Sphinx literally has 2 HP trying to find his way out. Curve finds another elimination. That's Higgs. That's an elimination.
Higgs has just gone down. Wow. Higgs has just gone down. That is sad. We do not know if Higgs or if Clix is still alive. We do not know. We need to find this out. Hopefully they will show Clix soon, or they will show how he died. We need to. Clix is still in the game. Just did a perfect rotate. Just did an amazing rotate, and now it's just sitting in a box and chilling. He is good on Surge. Curve is chilling, just rotating. Falcon Peterbot is in Storm, just is rotating now. He is perfectly fine. Sphinx is still alive with 2 HP, not even moving.
He's in a strong position. Meanwhile, Sphinx is still at 2 HP. He is slowly earning placement points though here. He can't afford to play with the zone. These are some of his old builds here. He's going to still continue to go around the outskirts. Bringing focus back. To the left though.
Xat Clix trying to go up for height, trying to go for mid height. He's gonna drop down because he does not have the mats. Oh wait, he was thinking about it. Nah, he's trying to, but he went down.
Right now in terms of Curve, he's really just out of builds entirely.
Curve is very low. He has no mats. He is dead. Curve is officially dead. Peterbot is still 200 health without Pollo. Clix is still alive, doing some perfect rotates. Still has some decent amount of mats. Peterbot is getting rubbed. Peterbot is super low. Peterbot is whitened. This team is not giving up. Peter gets a finish, but dies. Peterbot is officially dead. Peter is out of this game. Oh my gosh. Clix is still alive, hiding in a box, but has no kills, which can definitely mess this up. And unfortunately, he cannot go for any kills because he is a solo. The only way he could probably get a kill is with a solo. He is trying to keep. No, he hit 1 for 100, making sure he has good on Surge. Has 300 builds.
Keep pressure on these opponents, but he's got to be careful.
Oh, Clix ran into a team by breaking a wall. GG's, bro.
Oh,
wow, GG's, man. GG's. Acorn is still alive with a shotgun and a gold pistol and 2 med kits. His duo is dead. Oh wait, no, we're watching someone else. Ritual is very low. Ritual's teammate is gone. Ritual is super low. Aegis is gone. I just heard that. Ritual is doing great. He just picked up another kill. He just got another kill. Oh my gosh, get that finish for extra 4 points. Oh my gosh, he's doing good. Oh, Ritual just went down. He got like 3 kills in that just alone.
Who's here to meet everyone with the shotgun shot? Now it's Reed's turn. Down goes Contrap. Down goes QK.
Wow, what is happening right now? Wow. Oh my gosh. Bolts is... Wow,
Meanwhile,
Bolts might win.
still
He has
alive here,
2
clutching up
mythics.
for placement points. Just doing it big
Bolts
here.
has only 100
Everyone you expect
builds,
to
less than
perform
100
is
builds,
doing it
has
here
like
now.
no builds.
Yeah, 2
Can we
solos
spectate
left
someone
alive,
else?
2
Bolts is
duos.
very
Ivan
low,
up
bro.
and
He
Saul.
has no
They're
mats.
taking the charge down
Bolts has
below.
no
The
mats,
Virages taking
bro.
the focus from that team up
I don't
above.
think Bolts wins
trying
this.
to hide the
Bolts.
audio visuals, realizing no builds left, can't continue to protect
Yeah,
himself.
Bolts
Finn, they
unfortunately
bump
does
up
not
away,
win this.
But he goes down, not able to get the max 200. So that leaves Hyman up. Another player as a solo. Salt's going down. Aminish and Javier
Oh
firing
wow,
up
they just
from
got the
above,
height and they're
trying to
just gonna
burn through
spray
those
down.
materials.
Wow,
Enough
that was
just goes
easy for
down.
them.
They don't even know where this
Oh,
last
he just
player's
got hit
at,
for
but
100
he's up
behind him.
above
It's a
trying to get-
solo.
catch him off guard. That's QK.
It's a
There
duo
is
versus a
moment
solo.
here,
Can he
Monster.
2v1 this? He
is
might be able to
almost a
2v1
minute
this. He
down.
knocks one and he wins a 2v1. Oh my gosh. He just 2v1 to win the final game of day 1 FNCS Grand. Wow.
He might have just did enough after this weekend is over to send himself to LAN. That is the type of performance we want to see here on the final stage, Zeke.
That was
Yeah, no, Zeke,
Heck
that,
yeah.
that
that was
definitely.
insane. No, Kelly, hold on.
Sorry.
That was insane. First off, Jacob PR, MDF, thank you guys so much. Fantastic to the cast. Oh my gosh. QK, first
That
off,
was
can we
insane.
just
That was
say,
insane.
That was the game of solos. Every duo was just a solo, right? Like all these high profile duos, and even in this situation, QK with Khan gets put in a solo situation and 1v2s for the VR, and Kelly and gets 8 elims when it matters. That's crazy. That's
To
crazy.
go from our last chance qualifier to getting the final victory royale of day 1 definitely is setting QK and Khan up for an interesting storyline. And there was a moment we could even hear the casters saying, I don't even know where this other solo player is. I thought it was a 2v2. It was Javi and Aminish versus Salt. I am enough. We don't have to worry about this 5th player, but no, Vivid.
Can we see the
do have to
leaderboard?
worry
I'm
because
really
it's
curious about
Fortnite,
that
and if there's
leaderboard.
anything
Come
you
on,
can
let's see it.
predict,
Let's see it.
it's
Let's see
the
it.
Unpredictable. So big shout outs to QK and Khan.
Yeah, QK just coming out from nowhere. We actually saw him pick up the elimination in the storm. So he must have been healing out there before he made the return to the zone. MDF kind of caught it out. QK, after his incredible solo clutch, was able to pick them up enough points to put them on 197. I can tell you right now, going into that game, they had a total point count of 100. So they basically doubled their points based on that solo performance.
That's
right there.
insane.
Doubled.
I'm telling you, one game, a single game can change absolutely everything for these players. Congratulations again, QK Khan. VR game number 6. Okay. This was it. So first
Leaderboard
off,
time.
We have wrapped up the 6 games for today. So before we take a look at the standings, again, I just want to remind you, we have 6 more games tomorrow. So this day was all about cementing a lead. Coming in, making a statement, and making sure you have enough points that when you start tomorrow in those 6 games, you have what you need, you have enough gas in the tank to get you over to the finish line to either qualify being in top 13 to the summit or look to hold the active champions high. I've gotten word standings are crazy. That being said,
Let's see it.
I guess let's go ahead.
Come on,
take
review.
a look and see
Yes.
what these look like.
Okay.
As we prepare for tomorrow's
Acorn in first, Cold in second.
Of course.
What?
Yeah.
Clicks
Oh, okay.
in 7th.
I guess let's
Peter in
just start top to
6th?
bottom. Let's just start. We'll
Oh
start top to
my.
bottom. Acorn and Bolts have suddenly moved in to first place off of Bolts solo, a 4th place, 4 elims. Kelly, how?
I mean, it's Acorn and Bolts. That's how. Of course, it is Acorn and Cold in first and second place with a single point separating them, Vivid. My gosh. But that's also not even to consider just how close everyone in our top 4 is. That is just 28 points separating first from 4th place.
Incredible run here. You know, I can't lie. Acorn and Bullets, they've had, I would consider kind of like a quiet day. I don't think anything kind of crazy has happened. I mean, they won game number 4, but you know, it's not like they like popped off like huge amount of eliminations. Bolts has had a couple of solo clutches where he's
Vino's
picked up, like,
intense.
just a couple
Yep,
of
Vino's
eliminations to
They did.
kind of
Muzz
keep
is
going.
in 12th,
But
so
I
he
would
still
honestly say
qualifies
it's
for
been,
LAN right
it's
now.
felt kind of quiet.
Yeah.
We've been
And that
highlighting,
team
these
came up
other
and now
teams
is in
have had pop-up
13th
performances,
place.
pop-up
He
He
went
wins.
down.
You blink and
Who?
you
Muzz.
miss it. The guys
Oh,
are
yeah.
at the top of the leaderboard
Two
somehow. I mean,
places.
yeah, it's close
Again,
up there,
they
but
only had 14 kills
incredible
and
to
not
kind of
great
see them
placements.
sneak their way up there, in my opinion.
1 point.
I
A
mean-
single point.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Of course. Cold
1 point
and
above.
Rapid,
So Cold
1
and Acorn are
point
probably going to
behind.
battle it.
Again,
Peter
so
and
let me
Clicks,
talk
it's gonna be
about,
tough
and we
for
kinda
them two
sprinkle
to
it in
move
here and
up.
there, but
Not
like,
gonna lie.
you can't make mistakes at this stage, right? You make a mistake, that allows everyone else in the lobby to make a move, to kind of like say, hey, you're out of the way. Sick. Let's push harder. For Acorn and Rapid, they fell 26th with 1 elim in that game, right? And think about how far ahead they were. And now, because of that mistake, Acorn and Bolts are at 1 point ahead of us. It took 1 game for that to kind of like fall apart, Kelly.
Yeah, it's wild just how much our narrative can shift with a single game, with a single elimination. And I mean, right now, if we're talking about single movements, I do have to look at the threshold right now, reminding everyone we are looking at the top 13 to make it into Dusseldorf. And that is QK and Khan right now, currently sitting in 13th place. So that win, if this was just a one-day tournament, that last game would literally be the deciding factor on if they're going on an international trip to compete in a LAN. So I love it. That is what this is all about, Vivid. It is about these crazy games that can completely shift the storyline.
Yeah, I mean, we run everything back tomorrow and everything pans out the way exactly as it did today. Hey, UK Con, they're going to the summit. So an incredible performance. And UK's like, man, I got to do that again tomorrow to qualify. Are you kidding me? Poor guy sweating over there. He's like, wow, that was incredible. We need a reaction to that, by the way, on socials. I'm expecting to see it.
Oh man, yeah, that's the thing, right? Viv is like, we've got another 6 games tomorrow, right? And it may not even be, hey, I need to run that back. It's
Yeah, I got you, bro.
need to do just like the very best I can to make sure that I'm just enough ahead of the other team that I can stay in that contention, right? I want to just bring up the leaderboard just one more time, and obviously, like, we have a show tomorrow. We're gonna
This
break
is
all
definitely
this
an
down. We're gonna
interesting
take some
chat.
time
I
to
think
look
it's
at
going to be
everything
hard
to
for
prepare a
Clicks
show
and
for you guys
Peterbot to
tomorrow,
move
but
up there.
just
I
look
see
at this.
Acorn,
Even in third
Cold,
place,
and
Agers
Ritual all
right?
fighting
Look
for it.
at
I'm
the
not
top
going to
3.
lie. It's going to be
It's
tough for
only
these
8
next
points
teams.
separating
Like,
first
Clicks and
and
Higgs
third.
either have
And
to
yeah, you
win
gotta
that
continue
game
down the
or get
leaderboard,
more
right?
kills.
Like,
And
Clicks and Higgs
Peterbot's really
versus
going to have to do
Peterbot
something
and
too.
Boyle,
I
they're
think them two
separated by
might
6
not win.
points.
I don't
You
know.
guys,
They're going to have to
so
really
much
do
can
good.
still
And they're going to have to
happen.
hope those
As
3
Game
teams,
6 just showed
3
us,
teams, not just
game
one, not
can
just 2,
put
not just 3.
everything on its head.
Or 3.
I would
But
love
they
to
all
sit
have
here
to
and
do
break
bad
all
for
this down and
them
start the next
just to
6
even
games,
try to
okay?
get
But that's
up
a
to them.
tomorrow
So
thing.
it's going to be difficult.
So,
But we'll definitely
now-
see what happens tomorrow.
we're just gonna wait. You know, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll break some of this down. Before we say goodbye, Kelly, Vivid, would you like to say anything to prepare the Fortnite fan for tomorrow?
Grab your popcorn and some slurp juice because you're not going to want to leave your seats once those 6 games start.
Yeah, for sure. Because
6
I already
games,
know
they
someone's
delivered.
surprising
I feel
something.
like it only
A
gets better.
bunch of
Game 2
surprises
and
are
NA
going
was
to happen
because
tomorrow.
I can
I'm
almost
telling you
guarantee
that.
We'll go into game 12 and there'll be like a 4-point difference between like 8 teams. And be like, oh, okay, who's gonna win? I don't know. This is gonna be entertaining. So yeah, definitely grab some popcorn, grab some slurpers, a beer tomorrow because NA.
Y'all, thank you for watching, for cheering, for being part of this. It's so much fun getting to hang out with y'all and just watch incredible Fortnite. The players, thank y'all as well. Till tomorrow, don't forget, actually, EU is before us. They also have 20 spots going to Dusseldorf. We need to see how they go. They also need to hand out an Axe of Champions just like we do. And of course, after tomorrow, we're gonna have a more complete picture of all of the teams heading out over to Dusseldorf. Oh my gosh, tomorrow is gonna be a movie. Fortnite fam, until then, we love you, keep yourself safe, and we'll see you on that paddle bus.
Okay, as they're leaving, I'm leaving too. Thank you guys so much for watching. Come back tomorrow, same time. We're going to be watching the final 6 games to see who's going to win this FNCS Grand. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm out.